like, we are back.
Well,
this is DRX, this is our turn.
don't know what happened
and
there.
they're here to take stage 1. They are ready for playoffs.
No, this
Tell me
was
this VOD is still here.
extremely dominant, and Buzz came alive here on Breeze and just started shutting things down. I mean, he didn't look great on Bane, and I think that kind of lit a fire underneath him. You'll see this all the time with Buzz, where he has a bad map, and then he just bounces right back and starts popping off. And that's so scary for opponents when
Did my
when
VOD die? Oh no,
he's being
man.
set up really nicely. There's some great util.
The recording died, I think, as well. Dude, I don't know. I stopped the recording and OBS crashed.
And on this map like Breeze, where he's got all this open room to maneuver, you can see why he's so highly regarded.
Yeah, there were about 5 bajillion smokes on the map with the Astra and the Viper, and they just, you know, as you mentioned, just setting him up excellently. And honestly, Bleed just didn't look quite as good on Breeze.
Didn't have to rage quit. Dude, I don't know, man. OBS has had enough as well.
But they said, okay, DRX didn't look great on this one the last time around. Maybe we can take advantage of that. Buzz was like, how about no?
Ryan thought I rage quit. Nah, I mean, the worst is over now. It's fine.
Take you down. And it wasn't a very close map this second time around, so.
Unfortunately, it wasn't. And you kind of missed that, you know, usually when you have the Jet and the Yoru, right, you have that
OBS has seen some things, yeah. Dude,
I
hope the
missed
actual
that
VOD
from
works.
Bleed because
I
there
might need one of
wasn't
you
much
to
that,
check
you know,
the
at work,
video
right? So
at one
this
stage,
might be
so
something
I'll get
that
one of you to do
still
that.
needs to go back to the playbook of Bleed, you know, maybe, as you mentioned,
A Panda Sniper, thank you for the 10 months, man. Appreciate that. And this Kea as well with the Prime. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that as well. Okay, let's check the YouTube stream. Whoa.
I mean, it's an interesting idea.
What's going on
Yeah,
today, man?
and
What's
it kinda
happening here?
reminds me
Did
of,
their
like, some of the
OBS crash
ideas
as
that you
well?
saw with, like, Flashback
That was it done.
originally, where some of his utility wasn't always quite there, and that's the only thing I'd say you're concerned about with the Astra is, like, it might have simplified the game a bit for Bane. You know, you hear players and coaches talk about this where they're like, why'd you pick this agent for this player? And they're like, well, they don't have to think, they can just shoot. And like, if he's like kind of an Astra guy, like he's used to that agent, like he doesn't have to really think too much. I did want to see a bit more with, you know, gravity wells and things like that. There were still a couple that were impactful, but for the most part, I think it was just kind of freeing Bane up to sort of do his own thing a little bit more. You saw him taking a lot of
the
halls
YouTube
control,
chat
doing
now.
stuff
We're
like
back.
that, where he's able to kind of be on his own and think for himself and play for himself. So yeah, it was okay. It worked. Who cares?
At the end of the day, it was like the story wasn't really about Bane on Astra. It was about Buzz just going and killing everybody. So like, we didn't really
Astra
get
stuff
to
was
see
fine.
him have like a amazing standout performance, but he didn't really need to. So it was fine.
Well, at some point, we were very, very happy to see Buzz pop off, but not necessarily for the reason that people think that it was, because we were happy Buzz was getting the kills and Stax wasn't, because at some point, Stax and Zest were at the exact same number of kills, and we just didn't want anybody to, like, you know, get any more, because we have our ranks over here at stake. And guess what? Everybody's happy because Zest and Stax both got
wins.
11 kills, so everybody wins.
If we'll be rewarded with a banger for Tim for that.
You get a rank up.
RRQ.
Everybody gets a rank up.
What's the thing? Do they have to? I mean, they're out anyway, right?
Salty right now. It's not ranking up.
But
we'll start with
it's all
Valdez
about
over
split
here.
too.
Ascending
Oh,
again.
God.
Wait, no, it's
Look
a
at you,
double rank up,
mortal.
It's a double rank up. Yeah, we're double ranking up.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody is double
You're
ranking
immortal.
up right now.
Yeah, really.
Yes, and
Okay.
viewers, come up with me. Oh my gosh, I have never. Oh, look at this.
RRQ need those
The view is
points.
so
Yeah,
good.
3 would be nice.
And
He's losing his
Paperson,
Al-Gaib
you
status.
get back over here to gold, and look at this lovely
Yeah,
tree over
welcome
I mean,
here.
back.
3
Look, all I
is
care about
actually
is
big
ahead of
because
Helios. That's all I
they
really
would
care about.
technically
Of
be
course,
6
of course.
Nothing else is important.
That is
once they
that is
combine
your
all the
meta for
groups
this,
together.
for this game.
And
isn't it?
it was looking really good. At one point, Stax was like 8-4 versus S.
Yeah,
right? And I
Gen
was
G
like,
are a beast.
I've done it again. Like,
But as the stats, it looks pretty good. I'm a little bit more motivated now because I hear there is a special prize for those who are, like, you know, over up here. So I see your smile over
Feeling
there,
pretty
Valdez.
good right
Yeah.
now,
if I don't win the prize, I'm just gonna steal the Tactibear and not tell anybody. So
Sure. Please clip that, viewers, by the way. So that we do have evidence for this. But going back into our matchup, of course, I think that
10 first kills,
for
4
Bleed,
rounds.
I do think that, you know, the previous map was a much better showing from them. But I still do think, we talk about this all the time, this roster does have something to show, right? This is a roster that is still very much stacked with all the names behind them.
Yeah, and even though Breeze is like widely regarded as sort of the aim check map, like a lot of people talk about it as like, oh, this is the map where you're just seeing how you match up against your opponents. But that,
I think a lot of them
when
were
you have this many
trades, to
smokes
be
like Valdez was
honest.
talking about, it kind of actually isn't the case, because you have to be really good at communicating who, what, where, when, why in those smokes, and where you need the utility, where you need the flashes and stuff like that. And whereas Derek's has
100% post plant though, bro. You can't be looking at the one stat. Don't be hitting me with the one stat.
Bleed picked Breeze today because they're like, oh, we just need to work on this map. Let's throw it out there and try it. Great.
But I got frustrated and ended stream. Nah, I'll only ever get disappointed.
What do you think about Bleed's swan song here about this?
I think it was okay.
I was like on a team and it was my own team, frustrated for sure. Watching other people, I'll never get frustrated really. Wow.
Having a
not enough to stop streaming.
Up there on the guess and gain board, up at 11 kills, but honestly, you know, the score's not really reflecting it. And like Paper Thing was saying, you know, at the end of the day, I was very impressed by what they did on Bane.
Sometimes I won't upload specific VODs, that's true.
So well drilled.
That's more just kind of disappointed as well. I've only done that like, what, twice maybe?
On the attacker side, so Bleed just never really had a chance to get anything going on this map, and I don't... You know, I don't really,
not even Fusion, man. Don't remind me of that
really
team.
Just like a big positive
don't remind me of
DRX
that
rather
team.
than Bleed, it being a negative for them. So, nice try, but at the end of the day, DRX are the team going to playoffs.
I mean, they did just come from, you know, a match against PRX, then they had to go up against DRX in just a short span of time, right? And they've had more to deal with, as we were talking about during the
Thank you so much for saying
more
that.
to deal with than most teams. So I do think that there is unlimited potential on this team, right? Just imagine if you
look
have,
back at
like,
when
you know,
they
all
triple
of these
dry
players
swung
just
through the
playing, like,
Viper
you know, to
orb,
that-
and Darien
that kind of
activated
level, and you
dash
have,
and
you know,
walked
Yay
through the
popping
smoke
off and
without
everything,
using
and you
it.
have, you know, Scary as, like, you know,
Holy.
again, one of the best controllers
Yeah,
ever.
he had a bit of a nightmare of a map,
this
man.
team,
He was
again,
missing a
is,
lot of
you know,
shots.
I think, you know, a hodgepodge of like some of the greatest talents that we have. It's just that the chemistry just isn't there quite yet. Will we see it in stage 2? That's the big question.
Well, map VODs have like, not uploaded. There was one this year. I can't remember what it was.
I definitely
There was one game that was so bad that I didn't want my viewers to watch it again. I can't remember what it was. Some Fusion games last year, I think I didn't upload. Coming from a best of 3 there. I want to say I didn't upload the Heretics Pearl game. There's 2 Pearl games that I didn't upload.
Especially in this region where we're
Koi BBL, yeah, was it that?
Tough teams to go against.
Absolutely, but it is
No, I think I didn't. I think I uploaded that because BBL had some good anti.
With Gen for our post-game interview.
One of the Chinese games last week, yeah, that's right.
Joined by DRX's Bane. Now, massive congrats, Bane. That was super fast. 굉장히 빨리 끝났네요.
그냥 쉬운 경기였고 바인드 좀 위험하긴 했는데 그래도 저희끼리 집중 더 열심히 하자 해서 빨리 끝낼 수 있었던 것 같아요.
It was easy. Bind got a little bit tricky, but we managed to stay focused and we were able to close it out 2-0 very quickly today. Now, Zest on the other side. Next to him, Yay. What was it like for DRX boys and what was it like for you playing this match?
사실 저는 예이 선수가 꽤 무서웠고 기석이 형은 친하기 때문에 그냥 재미있게 할 수 있겠고 죽여야겠다 이런 생각했는데 예이 선수도 사실 게임 안으로 들어가 보니까 똑같더라고요. 그래서 그냥 그런 거 없이 레이즈라는 캐릭터로 생각했고 그렇게 이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
Well, Zest, I was looking forward to playing against him because we're good friends, so I thought it was going to be super fun. I was a little bit intimidated or scared of Yay, of course, but in the server, he just played like any other players. There was not much huge difference, so I just tried to think of him as just a race, the agent in the game, and not treat it like it was a bigger deal than it actually is. Now, you guys made it to playoffs without dropping a single match. So are you satisfied with how the team is performing at the moment? And are you satisfied with your performance as well? 이제 전승으로 플레이오프 1시드로 가게 됐잖아요. 경기력에 대해서 개인적으로 그리고 팀의 경기력에 대해서는 어떻게 보시나요?
팀의 경기력은 뭐 더할 나위 없이 좋다고 생각하고 있고 왜냐하면 5판 다 이겼기 때문에 개인적으로도 아직 물론 잘한 모습을 보여준 건 맞지만 앞으로 부족한 게 많고 앞으로도 잘해야 되기 때문에 연습 계속 열심히 해서 쭉 기량을 유지해야 되지 않을까 생각하고 있습니다.
5-0 really proves that, you know, in terms of how the team is performing, impeccable, flawless. But for me, personally, I still have some things to improve on and mistakes to fix. So I'll just have to work on my consistency a little bit more to make sure that I can perform and step up for my teams even in the playoffs. Now on Breeze, though, we saw Astra coming in. Was this your idea? Why did this change come through? Because we rarely, just really rarely see Astra on this map. 아스트라는 또 어떤 아이디어였을까요?
그냥 약간 투엔드 제트 요루의 한계를 느껴서 저희가 내부적으로도 얘기를 많이 했을 거고 제가 요루를 못하는 것도 있었을 거고 그래서 많은 조합을 테스트했고 그중에 가장 좋은 결과가 나왔던 조합을 오늘 사용한 게 아닌가 생각합니다.
I guess we kind of decided that there was a cap when it comes to what Jet and the Yoru comp can do, and maybe partly because I'm not that great on the Yoru, so we tried running different comps and different agents, and we thought maybe Astra was the best fit for us, so we tried that comp, and today we got away with the win, so I guess it was worth the change. Now, let me ask you though, why did this change come through today and not in the playoffs? 오늘 왜 공개를 하게 된 걸까요?
사실 이 조합으로 연습을 좀 며칠 해왔기 때문에 다른 조합을 꺼내면 위험할 수도 있고 뭐 전략 숨기기가 가능할 수도 있지만 일단은 이기고 보는 게 중요하다 생각을 해서 그냥 제일 좋았던 조합을 선택했던 것 같습니다.
Well, we had, 3 to 4 days of practice with this comp, so I thought it was a little bit risky to pull something else out. We could have saved it in our back pocket for the playoffs, but for us, we thought it was worth pulling it out today, testing it out, see how it goes, and get that first seed spot. That was more important for us. Now, Bane, heading into the playoffs, I believe it's your first Pacific playoffs, so is there any pressure on you? And what's your mindset going into playoffs as well? 그럼 이제 첫 퍼시픽 플레이오프잖아요. 어떤 마음가짐인지, 부담감은 느껴지지 않는지도
사실 뭐
궁금하네요.
리그나 플레이오프 물론 중요한 건 플레이오프가 더 중요하지만 똑같은 그냥 게임이나 발로란트라 생각을 하고 어쨌든 이겨야 되는 건 동일하기 때문에 어떤 적을 만나든 똑같은 마인드셋으로 다 이기도록 노력을 할 거고 이길 겁니다.
Well, group stage or playoffs, at the end of the day, we're all playing the same game. We're playing Valorant, so I'm going to give it my best, try to win every single match, every single map, and I will make sure that I win. Now, that was Bane. Congratulations once again, Bane. Good luck in the playoffs. We'll see you soon.
I mean, he had a solid, bind as well.
First post-match interview of the day. We're going to head off to a short break, but don't go anywhere because we have Gen.G and RIQ taking the stage when we come back. So we'll see you soon.
Alright, chat, we're gonna spam some ads. Yeah, man, people just can't accept that. You actually just can't say everything everywhere. Imagine playing for nothing. I mean, it means everything, really. It's still points for champs. Like, it's still... They combine split 1 into split 2 for champs. You gotta get top 6. But it's not like it's a normal... I mean, it means more than, like, those seeding games. Actually is for getting into playoffs for champs still. That's the way to look at it. That's one of the worst things with like Bleed start, essentially. It's just like you are wrecked now. Like they are pretty wrecked. 1 to 5. 1 to 5, and so they only get 4 games. So yeah, they have to win every single game pretty much to be able to go to champs. They gotta play Gen.G still. MC group. Global T1. Yeah, they only have 4 games. Bro, they might not even be able to qualify, man. That might be their year done.
Let's go.
Dude, if you get 0 wins, so there must be teams in Americas that might be done for the year, basically.
Red Bull gives you wings.
That's crazy, isn't it? Dude, if that's the case, like if that is actually the case, you might as well change team and start looking at next year. And then just use split 2 to just find players and just confirm players for next year. Just start rebuilding? Yeah, I think that it probably is the play. I'd be tempted if I was a couple of these teams, looking at their scores. And is stage 2 work? It's these two combined, right? So these just go into one group, and then top 6 from these go in. So everyone left will have to play these. You play your own teams in your groups, but these groups kind of get scrapped, to be honest, because they just join into one big group. But then obviously you have to pay people that were in a mega or were in alpha group. Then just works like a normal bracket. Okay, chat. I'm gonna spam some ads. We'll be back in a little bit. Gonna get some food, so I maybe miss a slight bit of the pre-show. So yeah, I'll be back in a little bit.
Welcome back to VCT Pacific. We're about to get into our final series for the regular season of Pacific. It's going to be Gen.G and RRQ.
Now, Karon, last game before the playoffs. Anything you want to say?
Thank you, Talon.
Pause and effect. It's a butterfly effect here over in Pacific. Thank you, Talon, for your service, he says.
Appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. Of course, they're happy that today's match is inconsequential for them one way or another. Doesn't matter, but certainly you'd still like to have the championship points. So both teams are going to definitely give it their all today. I don't think anybody's really going to hold back too much because you never know. I mean, even though, yeah, Gen.G has those extra points for winning kickoff and all that stuff, there's still, you never know. You know what I mean? You still want to get all those points.
Hey, you never know. It comes down to one best of 3, and I think RRQ, they have a lot of experience against this team this year, so maybe this is their moment to try to come back. It's going to be interesting to see how on point Gen.G are today.
I mean, is it really VCT Pacific if we don't have Gen.G versus RRQ? It seems to be a rite of passage at this point. So, might as well, right? Might as well end the season this way. Let's find out first what RRQ are up to.
Hello! Hello! Now today I'm gonna talk to this guy. What's your name?
Husky.
Oh. Hello, Husky. Now, what's your mindset coming in today?
Woof, woof.
I don't speak dog, but I'm pretty sure that's something positive. So, anything you want to say to the fans?
Woof, arf, arf, woof, woof, woof.
Meow?
Meow.
Thank you. Good luck.
Woof, woof, woof.
Wow.
That was
We learned a lot from that.
I know, it was so insightful. I feel like RQ are now going to come out on top because of that.
Our best interview of the year, for sure. No doubt.
It was really enlightening, and it's the first time I've heard Husky meow as well. But I would say, like, okay, previously on Gen.G versus RRQ, it seems like Gen.G is forever destined to be RQ's like arch rival, right? But Gen.G, they have always won. So the big question when we all saw this matchup happening is it time now for RRQ to finally win over Gen.G?
It could be. I mean, certainly there's not as much pressure on RRQ today compared to all the other times they faced them, basically. So that could maybe have a factor in it. And obviously, RRQ does want to get that win. But even still, it might feel a little bit bad because Gen.G's beat you every time that it mattered. And now it's like, well, you know, you're playing each other for a championship point. Of course, RRQ still wants that championship point. Like, of course, they still want that. But man, you know, you'd like to beat them in a situation where you can be the one sending them home, sending them out of playoffs, something like that.
Before we continue, though, look at this. You have 3 Gen.G players over here in our VCT Pacific total kill board. Here are top 5. What are your comments on this, Valdez? Especially since you have a Saya player and Munchkin breaking past the 1,000 kill mark.
It's just a very nice kind of milestone for those players. I know that generally pro players aren't the most concerned with the milestones. It feels like more so something that we kind of celebrate. The pros are like, oh yeah, cool. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's obvious to see that a lot of the players here on Gen.G are guys that have been around forever, that have a lot of experience, and they're not going to be shook in one way or another. And you know, I would say that, you know, on the topic of RRQ versus Gen.G, I feel like this would be a series that could go to 3 maps, but that head-to-head is there for a reason. RRQ have pretty consistently gotten maps, but they have not been able to win in 3. So is today the day? Can they break their jinx? I'm not so sure.
It's the big question, right? And I would feel like during kickoff, there was still a bit of mystery around Gen.G's new roster, right? So, and it took everybody off guard, including ourselves, right? So now that RRQ know what to expect, and RRQ has been steadily improving, you know, these past few months, is it time for them to finally beat their favorite opponents? Is there now no mystery to what Gen.G could do?
I mean, it's going to be difficult for Gen.G, going back to what I was talking about earlier in the desk, that they haven't had a ton of time to kind of come up with new stuff, to maybe innovate a little bit since Madrid. So they're kind of having to rely on, you know, what has worked for them so far this year and just keep digging into those wells, kind of rely on, you know, some of your individual players, as well as you know, there are 3 players out of our top 5 kills up on Gen.G right now. And, you know, when they put this roster together, coming into last year, going back to another thing you were talking about, Mika, where a lot of people were like, I don't know what to expect out of Gen.G, and I kind of did. I was like, these guys are pretty good. Like, these guys frag out of their minds.
Individually, they're already good.
Yeah, out of the, like, there couldn't be other problems that can come into play, of course, but if there's any semblance of cohesion in this squad, they are going to dominate, and that mostly they have. Now, again, people should have figured them out a bit, but it's going to be tough for RRQ. I think it's an uphill battle no matter what. They can do it, of course, but they've looked really rocky the last couple weeks, and that's very concerning.
And I think that, you know, when we look at what happened the last time these 2 teams faced off against each other, it was this matchup that we really had our eyes on. It was Texture versus Jemken. What do you think is going to go down now, especially since RRQ, there is a little bit of a surprise to them. They have a newer pace just because they have a lot of role swaps happening. Could that be something that Gen.G is perhaps unprepared for going into this match this time around, Valdez?
I'd say, I mean, Gen.G are going to be pretty aware of it ahead of time and should know how to handle it. Again, these guys have a very long tenure. They've been around for a very long time. They should have the leadership to be able to handle some stuff like that. I do think that guys like Jemkin, they do have some big, heavy-hitting firepower kind of guys on the roster of RRQ, but I feel like some of the issues is that Gen.G also have like a very similar play style in that way, so maybe they get kind of countered by Gen.G in a way. It is going to be interesting to see what maps we do see today.
Yeah, and as we are about to head into our map select, I would be very, very surprised if Sunset comes out, especially since both of these teams have been avoiding this map like the plague.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious if it just accidentally kind of slips through the cracks a little bit, just based on what we're seeing with the bans. Like, maybe it's one of those situations where both teams don't want to ban it because they know that their opponent's not going to pick it.
You first. No, you
No, you first. Yeah. It's that Midwest politeness that I grew up with. No, you first. Oh, you please, I insist.
Ooh. Did we have? I thought we had
What's
another.
our coin flip meta today?
Yeah.
How far did it
He's,
bounce off stage? Like,
It seemed to have slipped. Was that slipping underneath Ewok's shoe or something?
yeah, it gets pretty wild on that floor.
It does. It does. We have a bit of a chaotic coin this season. But
got
those
a mind of
first
its
two
own.
bans are going to be very, very important.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
there you go.
no ambiguity. Oh, okay, just sunset right out of there.
Icebox.
Yeah, makes sense. It's been like an okay map for RRQ for sure. So Breeze, yeah, I mean RRQ have to lean into it, right? They're undefeated on it. I don't think Gen.G's played at this stage, if I'm not mistaken, and they look pretty sloppy on it, previously, or maybe they have played it, but they haven't looked great on it no matter what. So it's been a little bit rough on that map. So absolutely, RRQ should try to punish this. Gen.G doesn't often kind of recognize some of the open space on the map that they're leaving and things like that, so you could really punish that. And I think that that's going to be the game plan for RRQ.
Ooh, and we have Ascent as well. So we have Breeze and Ascent here, and I would still think it's still 50-50 at this point. I mean, especially with how closely we saw the last time, like, during kickoff when these two teams face off against each other, the scores were very, very close. RRQ banning out Lotus, this is probably, a very, very smart decision for them, given how Gen.G do rather well on Lotus.
And Gen.G have a chance to leave Bind open as well if they'd like to throw that in for a little spicy third map, but they are not going to, so we are going to split for the decider map. And I mean, it kind of feels a little bit like the draft we had from the first series where, there is the one map where I think the underdog team could get a nice little read, a nice little win on with the Breeze, actually same map, but didn't go very well for the side of Bleed earlier on. So I am very curious to see if RRQ can bring back some of that success on this map that they have shown. You see no Astra for them, just kind of pretty standard in their agent lineup when they did play it.
They aren't interested in what DRX is cooking just yet, right? But as we can see, we haven't seen Gen.G on this map in a while, and I wonder if that's going to work to the favor of RRQ or against them, just because, they do have, what could they possibly bring out on this map that RRQ probably hasn't seen before?
Yeah, I don't expect there to be any drastic changes in Gen.G's comp, like maybe you swap an initiator in or something like that. There could be things, minor changes. I don't expect drastic. I expect texture to be there on that jet as always. I don't know if there'll be a Yoru. We'll see for Gen.G.
You say that now, suddenly Clove.
I know, yeah. No, that's fine. Like, go for it. Why not?
not?
I mean, look, again, these are these matches that teams like Gen.G can use to workshop stuff. And again, there's no better practice than in a real match. That is where you are going to get your best practice.
Especially since RRQ are such close rivals to Gen.G, right? And even though RRQ haven't exactly won against Gen.G in all of the times that they've met up or they matched up against each other, I still think it's like RRQ is one of those teams that can bring a series very, very closely to Gen.G. Hence the little rivalry that we've built up here over these past years.
Yeah, I think the only reason why it's a rivalry rather than Gen.G just kind of like continuously bopping them down is that RRQ at least are getting maps, right? It's consistently 2-1, 2-1. There was the 1-2-0, but it's like 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. So RRQ are showing that, okay, we can beat this team. We have done it on multiple maps, multiple times, but like they can't just quite get across the line. So it's still hard to favor them against Gen.G.
This is kind of like a little side quest for RRQ, and I think they've acknowledged it themselves, right? It's like, okay, even if we go to grand finals, we want Gen.G with us. It's kind of like their it's sort of their their own big boss within Pacific as well.
Yeah, and it's been a tough one for them to overcome. And it'd be nice to get the win here. Of course, you want to do it no matter what. But it's still like you want to find them in a situation where it's more
back.
impactful. And you want to beat them there and really get that huge
Can
win
RRQ
that kind of,
win
like,
this?
catapults your team, gets you more confident, gets you further into a playoff scenario or even to an international event. Those are the things that RRQ is looking for. But so far this year, their coordination hasn't always been great. Sometimes it seems like they're a little bit slow to react to things. So we need to see better communication from Flips as the IGL. Things like that is what I'm looking for RRQ today.
Yes, and of course, there is that championship point on the line still. So, for this episode of Gen.G versus RRQ, can RRQ finally come out on top? We're about to find out as we take it to the stage for the final series here at VCT PACIFIC Stage 1. Let's head on over and get things started.
Gen.G.
Been waiting for the RGX for 7 months now. Which one? Wait, is it even on the Vandal or is it just Guardian?
RRQ.
Is that the one that came out that had the FPS bug? Don't you think more teams could try the Paper X style? Not sure there's teams that have the individuals that are good enough.
It's a matchup that's practically synonymous with VCT Pacific.
Like they get away with so much. They get away with so much mad stuff, man.
A very memorable season of upsets and the unexpected. So could this mean something different for this match? Maybe 5th time's a charm in this case?
Yeah, why not?
I've never seen a team have so much chemistry in so much madness. That's the thing.
No, I don't know what Asteroid did, but I mean, I always want RRQ to win this match, and I flip-flop between these two teams a lot because of how close it is when I'm making my prediction. But I'm not convinced that this RRQ is there just yet against this Gen.G. This Gen.G is just too good. Even though they lost to this team on Breeze last time they played on it, I mean, Gen.G has still dominated some teams on Breeze before. They beat Sentinels twice on it at Madrid. It's a little bit different for them in Pacific, which is weird, but they were really good internationally on it. So still, there's a lot to be concerned about. You're going to have to play
It's a pretty stacked
your
team.
best game. Here's our
Yeah, it
You're
is a
gonna
pretty
have to be
stacked
better than
team.
you have been so far this
There's
stage.
probably a few teams in
And
Americas
you
that
should
could
note
be a
as
little bit
well,
looser.
You know, even the players were like, oh,
terms
well,
of just
I guess
pure
we don't
skill.
make it to playoffs. And it's actually, you know,
The thing with Paper X
CEO
is
of
like,
RRQ, Jonathan, who was saying like, hey,
there's so
there's
much
still a
well
championship,
thought
but
out
we
stuff
still
which
have to
people
put our
don't
best
really
foot
give them
forward, and
credit
that's what
for.
you gotta love, right? You
But
know,
then
it's
they
basically
also
somebody
just do the
saying
mad stuff
this
as well.
Still matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, it definitely still matters, but it also has that effect of like, okay, it's the end of the season. Gen.G might be thinking a little bit ahead, you know, thinking about playoffs, thinking their mind is elsewhere. This is the perfect time for RRQ to potentially strike back and finally
Can RRQ make
get
playoffs?
that one
No.
big victory.
It's
I think that Gen.G
literally
are
this
gonna
whole
have to
game is
play
pretty much for
very, very well actually to beat this
Split
team.
two.
And for you and I, Mika, we predicted Gen.G at second, so you know, we would like to see them at least take this pretty dominantly against RRQ if they are going to have a chance against some of those top playoff teams.
And to be fair to RRQ, last time we saw them, right, they did have a stand-in with 2G because Estrella was sick. I see Estrella out there again today. So it may be a little bit more coordinated.
Maybe, perhaps, we're going to find out in what shape RRQ is at today against Gen.G. One more time, let's pass it over to William and to Quack.
That's right, Mika. Paper Thin and Valdez. Like, let's find out. Let's see what RRQ looks like today, because you know it's all about the championship points right here, right now. Hey, I'm Quack.
In
This
playoffs,
is
are the
William
teams
Trover.
from the same
That's
group
gonna
seeded
happen.
against
Yep,
each
yep,
other?
that's
Yeah,
gonna
so
happen.
whoever's in your
Maybe
group,
we should
that's
all
who you
switch our
play.
names. Say, hey, I'm so and so, right?
So let me
everybody
give you an
knows for
example.
sure. We're gonna roast it.
T1 are going to play against
I'm
Team
just saying, I
Secret,
think it's a
and
good idea.
Paper X are going to
But
play
anyway,
against Talon.
obviously, RQ and Gen.G, I think that Des mentioned it very well, that it's funny that we call this a rivalry, because on paper, Gen.G has beaten RQ every time. But every time it feels like RQ gets so close. So when can they finally get over that hump? Because, I mean, people thought, you know, maybe at kickoff, Gen.G coming in with
Valorant
this
for
new
1
roster.
month?
We're not
Bro,
really
we
sure
got...
if the chemistry's going to be there
I mean,
yet.
unless you're talking about the
Gen.G came
teams,
out swinging.
which I imagine
In
you
terms of
are.
compositions, we're not going to see anything big.
That's nice for the teams. They need, if the teams need some work.
Over at Masters Madrid,
The teams that don't make it there need some work, so they're going to take that month.
RQ Flips has been absolutely dominating on this Euro.
Talon's chance of beating Paper X.
To be on the front lines as that IGL for his team.
Yeah, I give him a 25 maybe.
Creator once again for us. No Sentinel
I
composition.
think Paper X are really good right now. I
Gen.G.
think I'm being generous to the
That's
25.
the interesting thing is the fact that, you know, RQ has shown improvements. You know, they're getting there. A little bit rocky sometimes, and you know, Paper Thin's absolutely right as well. This iteration of RQ, it still takes a little bit of time before we are that confident that they can beat Gen.G. But if they have a chance, it's gonna be on this map. It's gonna be on their map pick, where, you know, we haven't seen that much of from Gen.G. RQ has game tape to study off when Gen.G.
You really
played
wanted to
this
see
map
Team
against
Secret in
Sentinels.
playoffs?
They won that
I got
map
some
against
great news
Sentinels,
for you,
in
man.
fact. So
Team Secret
you're always
are
wondering,
in
could
playoffs.
that work against RQ
So-
as well? Because in all this time, Gen.G, you know, they might have changed something
Gonna be,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they come out with any new strats, because I think they'll need to. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's
bro, they came
definitely
second
a
in the
team
group.
back
You're all
when they
good.
were at Masters Madrid. And
They
even
play
then,
in
some
like
of the weaknesses, of
they
course,
play in
of
like
having no
4
Sentinel
days.
Showed through quite a bit. Yes, they eventually won against Sentinels on this map, but it didn't look so good the first time they brought it out. against
What
Loud.
maps did we end up getting?
That's why we're always trying to think about it. And if anyone's going to make that happen, you know, Coach Ewok
Let me start the recording. Let's hope,
always able to
my
snap out some
OBS
of
survives.
these little weaknesses and to
Oh,
exploit
Breeze
them.
Ascent
And it
split.
can happen,
Breeze was
especially when
RRQ's
Flips
pick.
is on
Okay,
that front
lovely.
line. I mean,
Does
this
this game
guy on
matter?
the
Yes, it
Yoru,
does.
but you
Not
also
for
need the
split
entire
one,
team to
not
be
for
right up there
champs,
next
not
to
for
him.
Shanghai,
With
but for
Flips,
champs,
Jemkin, they
this
can work
matters.
together as a duo,
The split
but
2
we want to see
playoffs,
more
which you
from,
make
like,
champs
Elkie,
with,
more Estrella,
is what
Xfero as well.
matters.
Yeah, that's
So-
definitely going to be needed. And look at this Gen.G going for a hard read on this B push. It's going to be a double swing out. Xfero, he's going to be able to buy time just
Bail
enough.
out, boys,
Back
bail
Xfero.
out.
Oh, man, that's
How
the
he
first
gets
kill for
blocked
Texture.
with the
Fuck
dash and he
dash into
still
the wall,
gets
but
the
still
kill.
able to
Like his
find that
teammates saying, no,
shot.
you're going to
So
stay and
that's
keep
the
dueling,
Sova
man.
gone now
You're going to
from
win this duel.
RRQ, and Gen.G has the information. They
Most
have
people
the
would panic
read
there.
about what
Guy
our
just stays
plan
calm,
was.
keeps tapping.
Yeah, that was, I mean, like you said, the dash, not great for Texture. Kind of
This
bumps
split
into,
in
I believe,
comparison
maybe his
doesn't matter.
teammate as well, but,
Nah, it matters
they're
exactly
still able to
exactly
get
the
it.
same
Xfero
amount.
tried to play it best he could, so now RRQ has to
You would
regain
say
some
it
space.
matters the
They've
same
already put a
amount
trick
as the...
outside of B, so they're trying to tighten the
splits
map
are combined.
towards mid, see if they can get a wraparound over.
Basically,
onto
all I would
either
say
side.
now
I don't
is
mind that Xfero's kind of
forget
working
the
up around
forget
elbow,
the
though.
splits,
He might
forget
be
the
able to
groups.
find an
We have our
unsuspecting player
playoff
on team
teams.
looking in to
So
investigate,
now
but the
forget
rest
the
of
forget the
RRQ
original
are
groups.
slowly, you know,
Everyone's now in one giant group. That's
out
the
of
best way I
that
can
space
describe it
back
to you.
into this
Forget the
A
groups.
site.
The groups
Yeah,
the groups
so-
are done.
Karen's ready.
Yeah, so
Don't even
here's the
worry
thing
about the
is that
groups.
Munchkin
Teams play
re-clears
4 or
elbow
5
after that
games,
smoke goes up to make it look like it
and
might
they're
have
all
been
in
a
the
fake
same
ult.
group.
Hey, now he's going to try to explore to mid, but little
Top
does he know
6 goes
Xfero's
champs.
still there, but the gravity wall is good from Karon.
All the other
Drops
teams
the
have playoffs
spike
for Shanghai.
right inside the site.
That's the thing about Karen. He is so darn good, and his utility is pretty sharp as well. Lakia now coming back in just to support the team, and although Munchkin fell, he got all of that
Gen.G
information.
starting
with that,
on
you know,
defense
doubling
here.
back
I
in
mean,
towards elbow. It's all
RRQ
down
need to get
Estrella
like
now.
what,
8
4?
seconds left, and I don't think he's going to be able to shoot his
Realistically?
way out of this one. Gen.G picks up the pistol.
4 considering
Just
how
really
good
step-by-step
Gen.G's been.
re-clears by Gen.G. They go for the early
Oh no, wait, they're the
contact,
ones on
and
attack.
then
Let's
you
flip
just say,
that.
okay,
Let's
they're
flip
probably
that.
taking over mid.
They need to get
We'll
like
give it
8.
to 'em. We'll give it to him, but if
These
we
have
don't
been
see them
struggling
go
on
inside the
defense.
site, we re-clear once the smokes
need
drop.
8.
So, once you don't see any movement into A, yeah, there's that dash. Still gets the kill off of it.
Dennis.
But the thing is, all
Dude,
that step-by-step,
22
right, Munchkin
months
re-clearing elbow,
with
it
the
lets everyone
tier
on
2.
focus
Thank
on
you so
A
much,
because
Dennis.
During that poison orb from the attackers, we
Thank
didn't
you
see
so
anyone
much,
coming
man.
in through double doors. It's very step-by-step.
Dude,
Still
texture
Gen.G
seems
sticking with that flow
seems
chart here.
so
That's not
funny,
gonna work
man.
out, though. I mean, for now, it is pistols.
I
just
tell
trying
you
to
what,
get
the
whatever they
Pacific
got.
the Pacific
peek on
content that
through.
they're
It's a bit
doing
of
with the teams
information.
is so good.
Sphero
It's so
might be
good.
able to
The
spot
other
out a
regions
player or
good.
two. They have
Like
an
other
idea of
regions
what
do
the
good
setup
content
is
as
from
well,
Gen.G,
but
again,
I
it's
think
that
when you get all the
firepower now.
teams
Texture
sitting
on
around
the
in a group, I
off
think
angle, trying to fire off.
some of the stuff
Now
they're
trying to
making them do is
reposition
sick.
as the pistols kind of fire through. Karen's
Questions
here
are
to
good. It
support,
has a lot
and
of
it's
thought behind it,
way too
and
heavy of a choke point.
Yeah, we do have
it's not like
Xfero coming in
forced
from the
and
side, so you
serious.
can
It's
get a
like
cheeky
fun,
kill or
but you get
two.
good info out of
Should be
them.
able to find
Lakia.
Texture. Here's the arrow, though.
I feel like they're killing it with the
Still trying to sneak
content.
through.
They're doing
Ooh,
so good.
Texture turns around at the right time. Impactful shot.
Oh, man, the whip around jump 180. Perfect with it.
Because the
That's
coach's one was
Texture
cool,
for ya.
the duelist
And,
one was
I mean,
cool.
they were just fishing a
And then
barrel
what's the
through
next
this
one?
smoke, through the
Controllers?
gravity well. So now you know Karon's always going to be ready with that. And a lot of times he's going to be stationed on the A side, but Gen.G will switch it up at some point during this first half.
And we got
Yeah,
armor
for now,
rebuy.
it just
That's
works
pretty
out
much
really
it. And it's a
well. And I mean,
bonus, so I'm
look at how
guessing
this
Texture
round
won't
went
buy. I'm just going to
flawless.
circle it in case
Putting
he
up that
could be
wall,
tempted to
making
buy
use of
armor. I don't
Karen's
think he
smokes,
should,
and
but
at
he's
the
going to
same
buy
time,
armor.
Just very carefully checking back in. The way that Karen
Does
jiggles up
EMEA
around
do
pyramids
content? I
just
don't
to
think so.
ensure,
I think
all right, we've got the information.
EMEA
We know that they're still
seems
up around
to
cave. Texture is
get
able
the
to
orgs to
confidently
do
repeat
content and then
finally,
plays the orgs
finalize that
content.
kill.
Because I've seen a lot of
RRQ now with the full buy round, hopefully able
seen
to
a
turn
lot of
things around.
Giants
Yeah,
content.
lots of half armor though. We'll see if that bites him a little bit on this on the long ranges of Breeze. So it looks like RRQ now on the default with the full buy. So they want to continue to pressure. pressure.
Okay,
A.
so
Try to
Texture
draw
does go
that
for the
utility
heavy
early
armor.
out from Karon. Karon actually didn't even
Which
start
again
with the
is
stars placed. He waits to see if
as
there's
a
movement
bonus, I wouldn't be
because
doing
they know
it,
that
but
they're on their bonus, trying to maximize the time they can gain. And by putting the stars late and still seeing no reaction, he can now save onto activating those. This is really good time usage because Gen.G, again, no Sentinel. They gotta make sure every second counts.
That's
liking
also
this
why
from Meteor as
Astro
well.
Viper
Meteor's just
works.
waiting
Got
a
the right
little
player
bit
to
before
make it
sending this
happen
out.
and
He's
the
just
right,
watching tube.
strategies,
Then
the
he
right
sends his
ideas
TP
just
out,
to
so he's going to have a
work
TP
your
pretty
way
late into the
around,
round as
some of
well.
the compositional
We go
weaknesses, like
walking
without a
and
Sentinel.
flips. I
This
was worried he
time,
was going to be
though,
sleeping a
Lakia,
little bit, but he was fully on it.
Adventurous sneaks out of Hall, gets punished by Flips.
Yeah, and Flips seeing both there is actually really important information, right? So now you know that Halls is still covered, but he's going to try to make sure that he can find value on the lurk. RQ shifting towards A because they think, okay, we've tied up Halls, now they have to be spread thin. So they're expecting someone from A to go back over there. They're expecting a 2-2 split. But Gen.G says, listen, we've got this toxic screen Munchkin can hold. It's a 3-person stack near A.
So much trust into Munchkin, so the rest of the squad has to make it happen. And again, you got Meteor
who reacts
on that
first to
Marshall.
this?
He's been deadly with it before. Can he make it happen?
There's no way. Bro's just running and gunning. Oh, what a shot, bro. Oh, what a shot, man. Oh, dude, I was hoping for a third one. Timing on this peak is great as well. Absolute shots, man.
Bonus round pickup by
Absolute
Gen.G.
shots.
Oh, that is devastating. They even tried to put in the recon, but just didn't expect him to be holding right inside on the right side. Thought it might be against the spike plant. Perhaps a bit of a mistiming as well from RQ on that peek in.
The way.
And the thing is Meteor being there helps, right? Because Meteor draws the attention away from Jemkin. Jemkin was ready for it. He wanted to peek off of that recon. Oh, yeah, there it is. That spray down. Karon's enjoying the time on stage. Oh, how
yeah, like the run and gun. Oh, that's a lovely combo. Lucky to be alive, to be honest.
A little bit nervous, but now just so comfortable.
Like this push though. Like this push with the updrafts. Fast land here.
Support him as well. Now you've got the early A main control, and they're peeking out, taking down, the duelists like Jemkin.
This is a rough one. Having to sit right back down to a broken bye here. Just one Bulldog on the side of Xfero. Since oftentimes he'll be on that lurk, he'll go for a smaller buy the next round. They'll go for a kind of 1-4-4-1 buy 2 rounds in a row. Try to just maximize any chance that they have. But the thing is trying to draw out the early stars from A. I'm fine with that, but you gotta have you gotta start to mix in a little bit more, because so far, already 3 rounds in, none of your plans have worked for RQ.
Still trying just to spread across the board, but even then,
it's been pretty convincing at the moment. See what the next buy round looks like, but
their way into the side along with a bit of
looks like a bit of a nightmare.
Able to find an opening shot, but not before Gen.G fires 2 right back against RRQ. There's the third.
That's solid. Their money is so good right now. Does RRQ do a timeout before?
Weapon a little bit weak on that previous round. But again, I expect the beginning of this round to start all the same. RQ, draw out the stars from Karon, but you gotta make him activate at least a smoke, right? You have to make sure that he's using at least 1 star, even if you can't draw out the gravity well. And then you gotta pressure Munchkin. Munchkin's been free to just kind of focus on his aim. All through and through, all rounds so far. Gotta have a little bit of extra impact across the entire map. They do have the dimensional drift though, so maybe take this opportunity.
We are just sending this one. You got to imagine that Karen's dead. Karen, get out of there.
Fire through against toxic screen.
At least they double up. Body system.
Yeah. Look at how Gen.G just plays around it. They just fall back, trying to pepper.
Interesting. Yoru's over towards short now, but it's not the good plan for short. So Yoru has to really go fast, like probably run the whole way.
Xfero and Jemkin now just watching around the pyramid, sets up a bit of a crossfire.
Okay, yeah, goes over towards door, and dude, he's so late over towards door that you'd imagine this is a done round.
The Neuro Theft comes out, but it doesn't
Yoru
matter.
should get the kill.
Still able to flick back around. Oh, Texture able to fire back, but Texture back to the front. He's trying to watch every single angle. Is he fast enough to make it happen? The snake bite, it goes down. He's managed to suck the defuse down to halfway, which is not too bad. A bit of
respect though.
With that cloud burst, but
that's a good way of doing it. It's gonna land like just as you start, so in theory it covers you the whole time. It's a really nice try.
Yeah, but a costly one still, right? Not able to really snowball as much as they would have liked given the investment that they had. But overall, I like it from Flips.
Very smart.
All he does, he's not looking for a cheeky kill. He's just pushing them far back enough so that they can stick the plant. Afterwards, he goes in as extra insurance on that flank. He TPs all the way back outside of B window. Meanwhile, I love the repositioning. Once they lose Elmimore, they reposition. Xfero actually hides right outside the toxic screen, and then they purposely wait until it runs out. They know exactly when it's going to drop, and they get the jump onto extra members of Gen.G. And off of that, now RRQ starts to pressure mid a bit. They
Jorgamo, hello mate.
Target this A
Dude,
site.
that
They want
clip,
nothing to do with
that
their toxic
clip.
screen on the B
Oh
side.
my god.
Meteor tries to
The
get a little
Bucky
bit of
clip?
information off of that as well, though. Gate crashes
That was
back
something
into
else,
B,
man.
So he knows there's a bit of presence up around this area.
Probably
Thing is,
my
how does Karen
favorite
work
clip in
around
the
it?
game so
He's
far.
getting a little bit
Not
cautious,
gonna lie.
so bit of a jump peek just to spot out the information, and he sees it on the mini-map, goes in
Big
for
win
the
as well,
drift
man.
away shot
Congrats.
against Elmimore. Karen now swaps back over onto mid, takes down Flips. He is just prepared for everything, ready to strike, and strike he will. Gen.G now fires back. That's Karen down, but Texture has the cover with the operator. The spike has been dropped. Gen.G right in between the pyramids, tries to push out front, spots out the fake out, able to shoot it down, but now has to play around the
Ah man,
timing
it's
of
so
things
so
because he
dead.
knows that operator is still looming over his head. Waits
Whoa.
for a bit of support from Estrella, but as they pick out, it's
Okay,
gonna be
well,
Meteor
Recon wins
who
everything,
shuts
and it's
down
one of
any
those
hope of RRQ
nightmares
winning this
for
round.
RRQ.
It almost feels like
And
RRQ
honestly, the
is
save
trying
should
to
be good.
abuse
1-9
the
on
fact
top
that
of
Gen.G
this.
has
Like
no
they'll,
Sentinel, but
if he
not
manages
by
to
going
save
for
though,
flanks. They're trying to
they'll
do
force
it by
into it.
assuming that Gen.G has to go for a 2-1-2 default. And they're not wrong. It is a fairly spread out default because there's no Sentinel utility. But the thing is I mean, if you're not able to draw Karen out, if you don't take him out or get rid of
This
that
team,
utility,
yeah.
you will
Dude,
get
Gen.G,
choke point, and then you have to wait. So Flips, he tries to come in.
I tell you what's
Karen
impressive
says, well,
about
you guys put up your
Gen.G.
toxic screen, I can actually
They
just focus
they
on
went to
double doors.
Masters,
I don't
right?
have to
But
worry
they
about covering my
still
back. So
still
he
are bringing
actually
new
uses the
stuff in.
opponent's toxic
It's
screen
like
against
little
him.
micro
I mean,
things like that. Their
RRQ,
whole kind of
I feel like they're
the whole kind of
currently trying to rely a little
strats
bit
and
too
just
much
how they
on
want
being
to approach
alert,
rounds pretty much similar.
assuming that the
But they
default
still
is
have
gonna
the
be
same
weak
like
from
macro
Gen.G,
for a lot
but
of their
it is
rounds, but
not.
there's a
The
few
aim is
little
just too strong.
changes that they've added,
It's
and it's
really,
sick,
really
man.
strong, incredibly impressive, especially this first kill. The way that he kind of has an idea that they might be around this spot, goes in for the jump peek, gets the fadeaway shot.
Like
and then,
Heretics,
like you said,
or
you
the
know, just
Heretics
because
are
of
probably
the
the
read,
most
swaps back
impressive though.
over onto mid. So
Heretics are coming out with
definitely some
brand new
issues
stuff
for RRQ
all
to
the
iron
time.
out in the next round.
Only one on the board for RRQ. You know, I think the previous rounds, obviously the dimensional drift comes in
If
after
Heretics
the
go
4-0,
Shanghai,
so
I'm a bit worried
no
for them,
time
man.
out there. You
Like,
said
I'm
you
a
secure that round.
bit worried because obviously they'll do
Immediately
insanely
let it
well,
slip past
but I
you.
feel like they
You tried to go for a plant.
someone there's gonna
didn't quite
be
work out, so you
completely
got a kill
wrecked.
off of it, but it didn't really
and it might be the
convert into a
coaches, and
round
probably
win.
that's good though if it's
And
just the
afterwards,
coaches.
I mean, again, unless you can draw out this gravity well without taking damage, without losing a member, this A site rush, you know, the
Heretics, the
death ball into A
Pioneers,
site is
they're
just not
probably
gonna
the
work. And here's
they're probably the
here's
team
funny
where I'm
part,
like
is that Sentinel said
over
the same
all of
thing
the maps
first
I
time
like
they
their
faced
comps the
Gen.G.
most.
They said they thought they had a good
So,
plan, and the plan
yeah,
was to
in
just
terms of what you're
barrel
saying, I
roll
think
down
so.
into A. Why? Because it's gonna be a spread out default. Because it's
Do
gonna
you
be a
agree
weak
that strategy
default,
is more
but the
important than
hold
star
is just
power?
too
I mean,
good.
yeah.
Sentinels learned that.
Dude, you can
they
just
adjusted in the finals. They were able to
I
get
think so.
some more rounds.
Like, I
sure,
think that's
it's
the.
still
I think that's why I like this
and
game so
RRQ has
much.
to
I think that's
figure
why I
out what
prefer
was
it to
that
CS.
adjustment that Sentinels made at Masters of the Grid.
Because everyone can aim to
That's
like
the
a
question right
pretty
now.
set standard.
How do
Obviously,
you
you can
work
have some
against,
like
you know,
people
a player
that are
like
just way
Karen,
more
for example?
consistent,
How do you work
etc.
against this
But
entire setup? Now you've got texture on
the
an
aiming's
operator, and that
not
just
the
makes
hard
things a
part
little
in
bit
this
more
game.
difficult. Those same 3 stars have been placed down again around this A site.
So Gen.G this time, a little bit more aware of halls, right? With that timeout, they're wondering, okay, since we don't have trap wires, is this hall control going to be a bit of a danger? Continuing to try to hold on to elbow. And they've done this a lot. Xfero's actually been really good at holding on to elbow on the attacking side, so I would have loved to see this a bit earlier. But we'll see. Is it going to be a bit too late for that timeout? Gen.G seems to have a good read. Munchkin, very well aware of it. He's aware of the util timings.
Goes back behind his own toxic screen just to get a little bit of safe cover. Texture able to be ready with the operator, but Jemkin just a little bit faster, updrafts into the air to strike him down with that knife. Munchkin now back in, trying to hold up around the sides, able to take down before Elmimore comes in
the
with a sheriff
recon
of
was
his own.
nice,
Meteor
but
fires back. And now
why did he
tries to
not
get a
wall
little
up?
bit more space with that blind
Was it
side.
was
Estrella
it pure
is the one
fuel
who
on the
blinds
smokes? We
his
didn't
side
have
at the
any
end,
fuel for
and
the
that's
wall
gonna be a
here.
2-on-3
Because honestly,
now.
the
Lafayette
recon got so
looking
much. If you
for
put the wall
another
up here,
opening
it
against
pretty much
RRQ,
won.
but because of the
I think
previous rounds,
he
you've got that
did
Viper's Pit now ready.
by recon. I'm not entirely sure.
Karen, though, fires
Ooh.
through as the spike planter goes down. And that's going to be back to a 2-on-2. Viper's Pit still up, so this is not the
Right,
worst
can someone clip this round for me?
for RRQ.
I wanna
Yeah, but the
I wanna
pit's
look
not
at
exactly
boy,
that safe.
Jemkin.
Jemkin's been spotted. He thinks he's safe for the cloudburst, but Lakia swings out right around it.
So
Dude,
quick on the draw.
we have a recon for
He's got
this.
the recon available
Yeah,
as
we
well.
got the
His
recon
position's
for
just not
this.
good,
Uh-oh.
right? He has no walls to back himself up against.
Okay,
up around
recon on the right,
edges,
but he's
that's
over
the
towards the
recon in.
left.
Now checking around the sides, trying to play off of each other's contact. They've spotted Karen. Estrella trying to stay alive, trying to stay hidden, tosses out the snake bite and
he's played well.
repositions back into the little corner. How does Lakia check this? He hops
He's
up.
gonna
Almost
check
from
it.
on the bridge. Oh, okay.
And there's the headshot right through Estrella's helmet.
Oh, he's got
skull.
it, bro.
It's gonna be the spike defuse as well,
Specs.
just in the nick of time.
Oh man, .33. Listen, Estrella's reposition. He peeks out of his pit and then right back in.
I think
trying to
Shanghai
get
will
the
basically
timing.
be any of
That's all
us
good.
specific
But
in
Lakia,
upper
he knows
brackets.
exactly the options available. Okay, if you didn't wrap around
Mapple?
right
Yeah,
at the
probably.
edge of your pit,
Probably. If I'm being
where
realistic,
could you
probably.
have gone?
I still have
You're not
faith in
anywhere else, so he jumps
a
up,
couple of the teams.
gets the absolute raid
Heretics
on
play
Estrella.
pretty weird.
Estrella
Foot play
tries to
pretty
play
weird.
it a little bit too close to his own heart.
Cerebral checks. I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate. Estrella, just trying to go for these ideas, but
So they might have a good chance.
unwittingly kind of backs himself into a corner. And as a
I
result,
don't have
it's
much
a
faith in the other
6-1,
EMEA teams, I'll be honest.
RQ once again scratching their heads, looking for a solution against this Gen.G defense. We're back to an A hit. We've got the Hunter Sphere firing back now. Lakia taking down Elmimore. Xfer tries to push up front, but instantly taken back down. Karen holds up around double doors as well, so you're pretty much pinched in. Xfer able to fire back. Estrella getting the shot onto Munchkin. There's a little bit more room to possibly go back to B, but the spike's been dropped around Cave.
Yeah, and you got no
Really not
omen,
fit with
so what's
Sage
the plan
Lotus,
here?
bro. They don't play that again.
We're just looking
I think.
to buy time for Xfer.
Not 100%
Estrella just
sure.
waiting, if they
But I'm
get
pretty
a
sure
little
they
too
don't play it
crazy
again.
to try to
Bro, they
peek
literally
out.
said in the
Thing is,
interview
trap
it's
wire's
one and
there.
done.
So
And then they
they're
just
not
played it
gonna be
again
going
because
that
Fnatic
far.
wouldn't
I mean,
expect
and
it
after
because
some
he played
time
again.
passes, I imagine once we get around the 40-second mark, someone has to start looking.
Surely
behind,
they
right?
don't do that
Texture
again.
already behind
Surely
the
it's
area,
not
but yeah, you
happening a
imagine,
third time.
okay,
They might just
that
play it
boy's
until it
got that
loses, to be
screen.
honest.
Why does
I
it
would be
come up? Why does
tempted.
it go down? Who's
Look
on the
around
alert?
The way
There's-
the way Footer talking is like they have
It's just
multiple
got the
comps and
timer,
they're just
but
playing
will he
around at
have
the moment, which is a little bit scary.
He does. Swings out, Xfero, not ready for that one.
Yeah, and we're just out here
Xfer
saving
was
again.
possibly thinking that they might maybe be all inside a cave, but that's just unfortunate how it all works
Said
out.
in the interview, yeah, that's the
3-on-1,
thing that's
Estrella
making me
knows
think
it's
they're
pretty
gonna
much
use it again because
over
they
for
said it
this
in the
round.
interview.
Goes
Why would
back
you
for
say
the
it otherwise?
save. And Gen.G just looking very, very comfortable.
And it's not like one of the
So they're on a
Fragger
couch for this
players
match.
is saying it. It's like their IGL, right? So
Man,
probably play it
honestly,
again.
I'm getting flashbacks to that first Sentinels match. And, a lot of people said, why is Sentinels just sticking with the same plan? But you imagine that on paper, okay, they've got no Sentinel.
FPX
We
is
know
going
the
on a
star
run.
setups, we know the smoke
It's Shanghai.
setups. All you have
Bro,
to do is draw out the first
if other
Masuto,
maps
you
look as
rush
good
in,
as
it
their
should be an
Ascent,
easy plan, and then we can go
then
for post-play
maybe.
lineups, we can buy time. But you
They'll actually get a win.
realize that
If
Gen.G is
their
not
other maps
fighting
look
that
as good as their
bait
Ascent, they'll get
anymore.
some wins
And
this
even
time.
the first time it didn't work out that well. You needed to start
Still
to push
nervous
it
for them in
forward, make them
5v3s,
basically
but
back off from the spike plant locations.
Very saying like this is like pretty much improvements from how Gen.G played against Sentinels as well.
Oh, no, I don't think Gen.G is being tested. I think Gen.G is playing exactly the same, if anything.
Exactly the same. And
I mean,
it
it's
still
just,
works.
Well, the defaults are the same, right? They haven't changed much of it. Now we see a bit of a change-up with Meteor pushing out. Sure, you have the
still has
operator.
his dash. You know he's going for more.
RQ trusting the theory a bit too much. Lucky to stay alive on that one.
Wait.
Yeah, Texture getting a little bit too confident.
I
trying
mean,
to
he's
find
gonna
some of these
spawn
greedy
numbers
kills,
and
but still safe enough to back out completely. And Karen's always anchoring down the site, always watching the backs. Somehow, though, Jemkin right inside of the little cubby, able to fire back. Munchkin and Karen now trying to fight back on their own. Jemkin still alive, trying to
not
fire
the
off shots
two.
down
How
through
did the
middle doors,
2v4
but
fall
then
apart this much?
Munchkin
Karen
comes
is
out
so
from the
good.
back
Just
to find
spinning
that
around,
win
popping
again
everyone.
For Gen.G.
I mean, Charon is so good. He's right back.
I was pretty
to the,
impressed that RQ got it
finals
managed
level
to actually
at,
get this like relatively
Pacific
close. But
Kickoff, and maybe the first couple games of Madrid as well, where he
He's
was really
13
stealing
to
the hearts
4,
of everybody.
Texture
I mean,
12
he's
to
always
4.
generally been pretty good, but he did start to look a little shaky returning to Korea. Maybe a little bit of that pressure getting to him that he has a title to defend at this point. But now, right back in the swing of things, looks as comfortable as ever.
I mean, it got a little bit dicey, to be honest, for Gen.G with the way the Texture was playing in that position. Very risky, kind of caught out. But then at the same
Astra
time,
Viper,
you're talking
I'm
about Karen,
telling
you're
you, it's
talking
good
about
on this
Munchkin,
map.
and you're absolutely right, William, because Karen is just so sharp and so quick with how he ducks in and out of cover, how he stays tucked away, how he's so aware of the possible angles that he has to watch out for.
Yeah, a lot of Karen's kind of best pieces is his movement, actually, more so than his aim. Not trying to take anything away from his aim, it's great, but it's the movement that really allows him to get multi-kills. Like the first kill, sure.
Flip went for the fake clone. Dude, is that what that was? I was looking at it and I was like, there's no way he just went for the fake clone. And then he got insta-popped. We only saw like a little bit of it as he ran out. I think you're right as well. I think he did go for the fake clone and got insta-popped as he went from stairs. On a thing is, on a bonus or like on a low buy, man, I swear, most people are, especially in these rounds, are going to shoot that. You want to do it on the big buy rounds. That's when it's not getting shot, man. Big buy rounds, fake clone. Imagine calling a timeout and then that's how you lose the first duel as well. It's a nightmare.
Lakia now will be able to play up around the switch. Spots out the player. Xfero will be able to be sneaky up against him. But then you've got Meteor instantly trading just to take Lakia's place. RRQ stretching their legs.
So RRQ, even things like that, right? Peeking right back outside of that metal door. It goes to show that RRQ thinks that Gen.G is sticking with the same default.
They're desperate.
You think it's just one guy watching Hall, the other two are in the site on A. That just wasn't the case right now from Gen.G. So RRQ, it does feel like they're working a lot off of what they prepared and not what they're seeing currently in the server.
Fake clone, yeah, I'm pretty sure round before this.
Because that is leading to an absolute landslide.
Out from halls.
Because of that, I mean, it also happens because Gen.G has the momentum. They've won so many rounds in a row, 4 rounds just to kick things off. RRQ
Dude, another save.
And then Gen.G fires back with another 4. And
for them.
They constantly switch up their positioning because of it. Texture able to get that opening pick now. Meteor
Gabri, thank you. I'm going to click this. Chat, maybe a flashbang. I don't know where this is going to go.
It has to be the save for RRQ if they are to find more rounds in this first half. But like you mentioned, you know, how do they get that pinch against a player like Karen, for example? And if they can't even do that, you know, they're getting picked off by players like Texture.
Yeah, I mean, listen, rounds like these where Texture just peeks out aggressively with the operator, I mean, that's all credit to Texture, right? I don't think you can fault the initial kind of peek in from Flips. He's trying to take elbow control. He's trying to make sure he pressures Nest a bit more. B-side a bit more. Got a little dicey there at the end. So, who knows? We don't even know what the plan was, quite frankly, in this round, because Texture just steps out. Gets that early kill.
It's just so quick, too. I mean, Flips just has no idea what hit him. Smiles from the Gen.G coaching staff.
Oh, man, yeah. You know things aren't going so well when both Solo and HSK look very, very comfortable, very chill. And now, no real ultimates to use on the side of RQ. You have the
Molly shock into flash. We got an orb. We're going to double orb default, maybe.
Now we're looking slightly back to that default setup from Gen.G. Meteor still sneaking around trying to get as much information as possible. Xfero heard that gate crash.
Yeah, so off of that, right? I love that Xfero's taking that, but I would love to see
love the drone from here as well. This is nice. Teams are starting to. I think it's teams. It might just be this team. They do this all the time, right? You know when you normally see people drone over towards here, and it's just the most useless drone ever because someone hides in this hole. Like some people go here, but obviously it can get spammed as well. I love this one. Like on stairs. I think they have to have a little bit of A control. I'm not entirely sure. They open the door and then drone goes all the way in to see.
At the current moment. Even peeking in towards
I guess you can be seen from A main, but if no one's crossed, then you're all good.
Oh, they feel that presence and now reading the movement.
This pit is not just on a timer. It's because Karen peeks out of A main.
The nightmare is as well that goes over towards the orb. Yeah, and Karen's just getting good info.
I mean, Gen.G says
keep an eye on this Euro TP, because this Euro TP might actually get taken. Time is so low that they might feel like they need to do a risk.
This gate crash is about the best thing that RQ can hope for.
Yeah, I think that has to get taken at one point.
It's a bit of a haymaker. 20 seconds left, and you just have to kind of go all in. Karen puts up the Cosmic Divide just to
you got 10 seconds, man. Get inside with the spike.
And he's right in this little corner, swings out. Elmimore had an idea, but he swaps back over onto the shorty to cut him at his torso. Flips, it's gone down in the ground. Gen.G 10-1.
Oh, man.
Nicely done from Karen. I mean, he played it perfect.
Just morale crusher
the Yori has to just TP here.
I mean, sure, overall, the read, we knew.
When you go into here in 15 seconds, you gotta take that TP.
Bouncing in and out of it. Lakia just sitting outside of the opponent's toxic screen. Just absolutely distracts them to perfection, and then Karam peeks out on the ping, on the recon. The counter recon so
is
good.
16-4. Okay, they at least get the Euro into it, and I'm scared for them. I think they just need to pop it straight away.
Done and dusted.
It's amazing setups. Now Texture gets away with Daylight Robbery on that kill. Tougher for RQ to get further information now.
Literally, they put a recon into A. If he gets shot, he knows that he can pop his dash and take the jewel and get out. The amount of times he does jewels this and gets out is so silly.
But look at how Gen.G plays around this. Okay, dimensional drift.
Hey, but then it's gonna buddy up. Now what do you do?
Remember how this was used? Yes, they do. They're trying to stay up in the sky, make sure that they can't enter to plant this. While that ult's going on, Texture's ready for it. Gen.G.
Yes.
180.
Oh,
They're out of ideas, but it might have worked.
Although it took them a little while, although they had to work against Texture, after a little bit, they managed to push up front. Flips just took all the heat for them, and with that, they were able to set up, taking a couple of shots against Gen.G, but now you got to work against Meteor, who is just as sharp. Estrella, 1-on-2. We've seen this before. Can he correct the previous rounds? Tries to play around the pyramids, goes for the angle against Meteor, finds him, but as he tries to
so good,
back
bro.
on towards Munchkin, the pyramids kind of work against him, blocking some of
go
the
from
shots.
one
Munchkin
stomp on
will be able to
one
give
stomp on
Gen.G
Breeze
that
to
last
somehow
round
more
in
of
the
a stomp
first
on
half.
Breeze.
It is 11-1, William.
I mean, it's just an absolute masterclass from Gen.G. It just goes to show that having strong defaults and having good trading angles is sometimes all you need, especially on the defense. I mean, we rarely needed to see them even go for a retake, right? And obviously it helps to have someone like Karon
Nitra, thank you for saying that, man.
kills in the very beginning of the map.
Bro, appreciate you.
Because he just cleaned up A site. He shut it down all on his own multiple times.
Every single round, basically. Again, RRQ has been trying.
I said they needed 8 on this half.
Switch around the sites. We've seen them
they actually did.
B at times, but
because this in Gen.G in theory, like if you looked at, well, if you at least looked at like
you're always kept on your toes.
kickoff,
you're always wondering about it.
And
that's why I think it's
their attacks were
they really
devastating.
Need to take that space against Gen.G. It's just too daunting and you're too paranoid because you're not quite sure if Texture's around the corner. You're not quite sure if there's a bit of that contact play that you talked about before, William.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of this is that you think that you can take Hall's control, you think you can pinch onto A site, but the way that Gen.G holds those angles, it was a little too solid. And by the time RQ figured they needed to pull out another plan, it's a little bit too late. Only one round on the board. Would have to be the most ridiculous thing that RQ's ever done if they want to keep this competitive on this first map.
The most ridiculous. That is just an
entire map pick as well
sea of Gen.G fans in the stadium right now, in the Artium. But on the other hand, you know, you'd lose.
Okay, let's at least see what the pistol strat is.
Basically, kind of ends it.
Let's see what they got for us. Anything crazy on the defense? We've got 4 people over towards.
It's straight over because RQ's on defense as well.
Okay, so Euro TP for the fast A rotate, and we're going something to do with mid, double duelist.
You have to pull out all the stops here on the first round.
Do they just do the box setup? No.
There's a Hall's peak for Texture.
Karon hears it.
Flips.
Recon goes deep mid.
A couple of shots.
You got smoke to block off door.
Not to peek out.
Yeah,
not quite safe.
He calls for backup, right? So first is Munchkin, seeing if it's going to be a double swing. But during all of that, they make sure, okay, it's not a push out from across the map, and Gen.G's going to group up to re-clear. It's the pistol, so strength in numbers, and they'll be able to start to push through. And if they go through this right at the 1 minute mark, they're going to have enough time to rotate if they feel like it's not a good idea.
Champion. Yeah, you know.
Now on site, and then yeah, this is one of the better things of Astra. Obviously, you can just insta-do this smoke here, and we use the wall to block off any of the rotates, and Zafira has to somehow get 2.
They've got that recon. Xfera tries to work around the corner, around the cyber cage, and he manages to make it work.
Oh yeah, smoke a little bit off. Damn, he had to get 2. He gets 3 on site, and they missed the smoke of middle, so it kind of backfired a little bit. But this was a straight-up hero play from him, man. He did great.
Those shots in the first half, those were crispy. I mean, sure, the recon was great. You knew all the locations, but Elmymore ended the first half with 2 kills. If only they had landed some of these, maybe 1, 2 of those
It's a
rounds
nice
would have gone
cross-map
a
molly
different
as well,
way.
to be fair.
You gotta imagine that's how even the players might feel. But okay, they're just saying, all right, calm down. You know, obviously a long way
to go.
But now you gotta invest. Get all the buys in there, and of course, be wary of Meteor's trademark Marshall on that second round.
I mean, that's the thing. Marshall.
Yeah, and everyone just buys up into this one. It's just got to keep this clean, got to win the bonus.
And on the other hand, a little mistake, and Gen.G could
Oh,
walk
no.
away with a round win, which puts them
Yeah, you can
at
feel that one coming.
points, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Elmimore, a little bit unfortunate.
Gun
off
down, and two people are here to potentially get it. Camera spots them crossing. They shoot the camera.
It's good movement from RQ, but they have to be wary of this
And
close
does
angle.
this guy?
Jemkin, he's ready
Yeah.
for it. So that's a good clear. It checks his corners, but they're also trying to tighten the map, right? You've already pushed them away from A main. Now that you have mid control, you can stay grouped. Even if Gen.G comes A site, even if they get the plant, you have the numbers.
Oh man,
It's a clean
he
shot
was
from
on
Stray
it.
as well.
That's a click.
Movement reads, just watching the
Close.
crossing around mid. Now it's down to that B squad. Next Ferris watching it as best as he can. Working up around the toxic screens. He's got cover from flips as well. Every single base covered this
Not
time
bad,
from
though.
RRQ.
He won
Bar
rifle
from that
us.
opening shot against Elmimore. So not exactly flawless, but clean enough. He'll be able to buy back up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they'll keep 4 weapons. Sure, it was 5 buys, so it hurts a little bit given the score difference. But all in all, a good round. Good reads in that mid-round as well to start to tighten the map. But this was the easy one. We've got a mountain to climb from here on out. And obviously, that Outlaw, they wish it was going to do more, but Gen.G says, listen, we're not taking any chances. Full armor, you love it from Gen.G.
You see the
All
Outlaws
Guardians
here, so they have 5
sticking
Guardians.
for those long-range duels.
Also speaks to how confident they are. Flip spots the cape of the Sova, though.
He's gonna
Into
choose to
TP
refill the
to
site.
go help his
Quite a
team
bit of
though.
information,
That's
but
kind of
look at this
nice.
gate crash into spike plant. Xfero now tries to work around the smoke.
Does the Yori get out of there after planning?
Very careful. A couple of shots fired through from Flips, and he's able to take down Texture. But that said, still, you've got 4 players to work against. Some of these headshot angles working out in favor of RQ for the time being. Lakia now comes through with the Aldrone just to get further information. You've got Estrella coming in, watching mid right now. Munchkin's trying to work
Yeah,
out
and we
those
got
snake
one
bite
more
lineups,
molly,
and
right?
they have
Last molly's
landed.
going in now.
Nobody's
Just
found
landed.
just yet.
Karon's flank.
Watching the angles, Karen
No
trying
smoke
to
on
grab
this,
up
they
from
can
the
get it
other side,
half.
Gets an opening shot onto Flips. He might be able to get more space off of it.
Oh,
Able to stick the
Munchkin!
spike down to halfway, and Munchkin gets every single kill.
Dude, this comp after plant
Round will
is
still
so,
go
so
over to
good.
RRQ,
They literally
but
just sended
what
the
a
Yori in
round.
to get the plant. We got double molly smoke down. We got
Gen.G,
Lurks on the
Gen.G's able
go.
to close it
We're
out.
holding over
I mean,
towards
Gen.G,
window.
they just absolutely hold
And we have the
post
Astra
plant
suck
there.
as well.
And Karon on the lurk. This kill onto Estrella was everything. The fact is RQ thought that might happen. Estrella
Yeah,
was ready
and
for it.
these two
But
just
because Karon
duel
swings
at the
around,
same
they have
time
to let
from
go because
window on
Estrella
here.
had to stick the half
The more I
through
watch the
that
Astra,
snake
I'm
bite.
telling you,
But then they're both
Astra is
swinging
sick.
onto Karon because they're afraid that Xfero might just get taken down. That leaves the timing for Munchkin.
Like the
trades
effective
are just
luck
too
is
good
cool.
from Gen.G.
Tension bought away and everything. Now that's map point for Gen.G. Really quickly, potentially pushing RQ to Gen.G's map pick of Ascent now. Elmimore trying to pull off the same hijinks, not wanting to over-aggress into halls this time.
This is a rough one for RQ. You can tell that they just desperately want a bit more information, right? The way that you're peeking around halls, the way you're trying to peek around double doors. But the setup on A overall is good. You're going for a stack. You say that because the Cypher is on B, if Gen.G's going to try to close it out, they're going to try to go for the safer site. Now the Dimensional Drift comes out. See what the repositioning is from RQ.
Still trying to hold out that crossfire setup. Jemkin alongside Estrella, but it's been pushed back, and you've got that
And no recon shooters.
Unbelievable. Meteor now along with the
Whoa,
blindside tries
that's
to
impressive.
catch drop onto Jemkin. Jemkin
Done that pretty
fires back
fast.
so quick. A bit of a cloud burst, and Texture is forced to push out of it. He's looking for more of these duels. Munchkin marking the other exit, and now the spike plant comes down from Lakia.
Flips trying to check for
Oh,
alert as well,
Elmimore
but he's now gonna
aggro had
throw
his
it back
own
on the site. That's up
recon
to
and
Xfero, but he's
shock.
not coming through mid. This could be a
a
timing
little
for
bit
Karen.
off.
He's
We've
gonna wrap all
got
the way
we got
around.
to
Gen.G
check
just
in
needs
on
to
the
buy
Astra.
time.
That's a
Oh,
duel.
there it is. Karen even gets the kill as well.
Big impact now. Jemkin fires back
They're
though,
still
but doesn't
fine,
have
right?
time for the
Got a
defuse.
star?
Looks
Wait,
at
no
Munchkin.
star.
He
Oh,
knows
star
he's
just
got
came
this.
back.
He just doubles back,
Oh,
goes
the
in for the jump peek. Karen is still a looming threat, and
Yeah, and then
Jemkin
goes
does
the
not
star.
feel comfortable. He's very paranoid. Just swings around the back just to check, but nobody's found. Spike continues to tick away. At this point,
Look
close down
look
to
how hard
7
this is.
seconds left.
And on a map that is
Jemkin
this
just
big,
tries to fire away,
having
but
to
the
stop the
footsteps,
plant
everything
is a
in his
nightmare.
ears whisper that it's a Gen.G victory.
Okay, well, they slaughtered
Super
him.
clean from Gen.G. Not a sweat broken, especially in that first half. They felt never threatened. They had full faith in their defaults, and then once the timeouts came in, the adjustments are there. But we'll break it down further from the desk.
I mean, with that scoreline, why would you feel threatened, right? I mean, Gen.G really showing that they are that team that is at the top of Alpha and pretty much, you know, one of those shoe-ins that could be going.
Yeah, and
over
honestly,
to
I feel like
Master Shanghai after
they've
playoffs.
been focusing on
this
their
was
defense
the
on
best
this map
showing
a
we've
little
seen from
bit.
them since Madrid, really, and what do you
Looks-
do? I mean,
look kinda
you know,
nice.
Breeze talked about as the ultimate aim duelers map, and the team
Maybe a
full of
little bit
aim duelers,
readable in
they're just shutting
terms
you
of like the
down at every
protocols, in
angle, every
terms of some of the
corner.
stuff they're
so
doing, but it's
fast.
still good.
You know, I could see that there were times where RQ had a really good read where they were like, we're going to hold angles so that if they do peek aggressively around the corner, they're not going to see us, and then we're going to have the advantage, and they still win those battles. I mean, it's unreal how talented they are, how fast they are. You know, Karon was nasty on that A site. I mean, and he isn't doing anything crazy. He's just kind of doing the same things, but he's so good at it. You know, obviously there was like the round with the Cosmic Divide where he's able to hide, but you know, when it comes to just his stars that he puts at the front of A main, he's just shutting you down every time. All he does is need to get a kill and he smokes, and then they start spamming through and you're dead. Forget it.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know,
12 fast
we did,
kills.
point out that DRX that choose the Astra. We didn't exactly see it
Texture
really, you
and,
know, the power of it on
I mean,
Breeze.
how many did
Gen.G
Texture
did the
actually
same thing,
get?
but again, we
Got
didn't
so
really
many
see the
over
power
towards
of it
A
just
main.
because
Karen
didn't
was
really need it.
responsible
He
for quite a few.
He's just basically Karen. Come on, he just has to, you know, basically land those headshots.
Yeah, he had some good moments still. I mean, some gravity wells on attack. Also, the one Cosmic Divide when they were trying to push into A that one time was a big deal. Certainly made it feel like, okay, well, seems like we understand a little bit more why the Astra is being played alongside of all the smokes that just make things a really big deal, of course.
20-8, 3 fast kills on Astra.
ECS. And
14
Texture
to
was right behind
6.
him as well. I mean, it was kind of just insane. I think, like Paper Thin said, it was just kind of a.
Say, really?
So insane with their angles.
Tato, I'm
Like,
doing
even
good. How you
if
doing, mate?
RQ's was getting angles, it just didn't matter because there were also times where RQ had like a nice play and then Gen.G would read it really
Actually
well.
had
like
5
the
fast
Viper's
kills?
pit,
Yeah,
and
that
it's
sounds
like,
about
okay,
right.
They got to go all the way around, which is really nicely highlighted by the casters. And it was just like, okay, well, what are you going to do? Gen.G just seemed to have your number at every single angle.
That was exactly it. And, you know, there
I'm still kind of laughing about the fact that
Texture would just get
the amount of
pick,
times where they
suddenly
recon the A
RQ
main
were like,
and
you
then
know,
recon
had
gets
super
shot.
hesitant. They didn't
Then
know
he
how to
pops
enter
his
the
dash
site.
into
Because of
swings.
that first pick,
The
they
fact that he
started,
can
you know,
get
they
away with
started
that
feeling
multiple
a little
rounds
bit of the doubt
is.
and a little
I mean,
bit of like
guy's
how
very
RQ would
talented,
just, like, carefully
obviously,
try
but
to come up with
that's
a plan B, but it was a little too
shouldn't be allowed to get away
late.
with
They were a
that
little
all
too
the
slow,
time.
and suddenly
Maybe like
that was
first
just
time.
opening for Gen.G to come in and sick Karen on them.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it was just disgusting. He was just all over the place. He was immovable. And it's so.
Right, we've got a Ascent
so
coming up next. We're going to spam some ads. We'll be back in a
you know,
little
when
bit.
you're going up against a player who's just on one that day, and he's just better. I mean, that's just, when I was watching this, that's all I just kept saying. They're just better. They're just better. They just kept winning battle after battle, where there's potentially an even or even a better opportunity for RQ. But, I mean, they were just hitting shots. I mean, look at how clean that is from Texture. I mean, it's just, it's unfair how fast and how good
What do
they
you
are.
do against
Yeah, what do you
that?
do?
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I mean, Karin, I think he got it started early with the Bulldog impression, right, in person, which I think they were just having a lot of fun, right? They were really feeling themselves, and you could kind of tell. This was the one moment where it's like, okay, well, this Cosmic Divide, right as they're trying to come in, Karin just gets this massive angle, just hops up with the just right in front of his face. It was just so difficult to deal with. And RQ, they had some nice moments with the pistols, actually. Like, the pistol rounds looked okay, as they always do for this team, but even this round as well, it's like, oh, it looks like they might have a chance. Nope. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Munchkin's nasty with that Guardian, too. It's unfair how good he is with that gun. Like, literally, I think one of our predictions earlier for the desk was, like, how many Guardian kills is Munchkin gonna get? Like, that's how known he is for that gun.
Well, wasn't that the one day where he decided not to pull out the
Yeah.
Guardian? Yeah.
It was 0.
Of all of the days. Of all of the days, right? But again, this just goes to show just how powerful Gen.G are at this point. I mean, and we were talking earlier about how this isn't even, you know, Gen.G's final form yet. There are still things that they still need to work through, but they're already at this level. I guess up against an opponent that they know quite well, too.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, both these teams are so well versed against each other. Like, there's no ambiguity about what's going on either side necessarily. It's just sometimes you run into these days where the other team's just better than you, and that's just all there is to it. It is a shooting game, so you know if all things are equal in terms of like your strategy, your understanding of the game, your util usage, but if the other team is just that much better than you in their gunplay, then forget it. You're done. You don't have a chance, and that's just why we play the games, because it's fun as heck to watch Gen.G do what they do.
Exactly. You could have the best composition in the world. The map bans, picks and bans can go in your favor, and you could be feeling good as well. But I mean, like once you have like a player like Texture that again is getting those first picks, Karen who is just basically clicking heads. I mean, there's very little you can do after that, right? But that was undeniably a Gen.G. And now we're heading into Ascent, which is their map pick as well. You just gave a big, you know, sharp inhale there, Valdez. How are you feeling for RQ?
Yeah. Also, undeniably, Gen.G, they have a 3-0 win rate on this map so far here in this split alone. And yeah, I mean, they just play standard. It's not really anything outside the lines for them. They're just a really strong team. You see RQ, they kind of went even on that one attack half that they had, but then they went 0-7 on defense. So definitely worried for them coming into this one. I think if the first map, which was their choice, was Breeze, looks like that, I mean, sometimes you see it kind of like go against the flow of play where it's like, okay, well, you chose this map and then the enemy team just gets ahead of you, and unfortunately you just don't have it there, and then you just kind of bring it back. You forget that first map and you bring it back, but I'm kind of worried for them because Gen.G look like they're having too much fun.
Yeah, there were some rounds that RQ were able to bring back, right? On the second half, for example, we did see that RQ won some pistol rounds. So I have to ask you guys, how many pistol rounds do you think they're going to win this time around? Is it going to be more than Gen.G's, or it's going to be equal or something? Our audience seems to think that Gen.G is going to take this one, but I want to know what you guys think. So, we're going to write this. I'm going to fix my handwriting this time.
Tie is an option, yeah.
They tied on Breeze.
They did.
That's true. That's true. That's an option.
RQ are pretty good with the pistols. I would say that it's not as cut and dry as the viewers would vote.
Bring
perhaps.
out your whiteboards, gentlemen, and let me know your votes. I am not left-handed. What am I doing?
This is so tough.
This is very hard. I don't know.
My strategy of picking against myself.
Exactly. How are you going to pick against yourself this
There's
time
too many
around?
options now. I guess I'll just go with what I really think this
Okay.
time.
I'm actually going to put the score down.
I lost my cap.
Like, it's okay. We'll get you a new one. We'll pull it from the Alex desk budget.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and put the exact.
Both teams down.
No, I'm gonna put the exact score.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's only 2 options here, or 3 options. I guess.
3 options.
Yeah,
right
there is.
All right, should we reveal, or how do we do this?
Gianna.
No, you know, okay.
She's
you know what?
still still deciding.
I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go all in on this one. I know we don't have a lot of time. I'm second guessing myself because this is just such a tricky question, right?
It is.
3, 2. I just erased one. I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh boy.
I have a bad feeling about this. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Tie, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
100%
Definitely
a tie.
Also a tie.
Definitely happening.
Valdez and Paper Thin are saying it's going to be a tie. I think it's going to be RRQ here because I feel like they're going to win the pistol rounds. But then Gen.G will probably do the exact same thing that they did over in
If I was going by my normal logic, yeah, that's where I would go.
We threw normal logic out the door
Correct.
a long time ago, but for now, we are going to go into Ascent. And I don't know, guys, I feel like this is definitely Gen.G's. Definitely Gen.G's day. They're gonna end this season, or the stage rather, on a high note. So right now, stepping into Ascent here, are we expecting any big changes here, or is this just the same old boring Ascent story?
Same old, same old. Let me tell you how this is gonna go
It's
down.
a tie 100%. It's the same mirror matchup 100%. Just
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how this is gonna go down, okay? You've got Lakia and Meteor at B main, shutting you down. Textures in mid, shutting you down. Munchkins, short A, shutting you down. Karen's at A main, shutting you down. Good luck.
Yeah, that's pretty
There
much
you
how.
go.
Thank
They
you for
haven't
that.
lost this map this year.
Thank you for
Yeah,
that map
dude,
breakdown.
their
This
Ascent
map was
is
against
solid.
foot convergence.
Thank you for that map breakdown. We're done, by the way, by today.
That's it.
Then recap the entire map. Valdez, any final thoughts?
I don't know, man. You know, maybe RQ come out strong with a pistol win, and then hopefully that gets them some momentum. Otherwise, it might just be a quick done deal. I really hope that it's not. I want this to be competitive, and best of luck to RQ because they're going to need it.
Everybody wants this to be competitive for sure, and especially
It's,
since this is
it's
RQ's
savage
last
but
chance
true.
to make a statement on this stage. But it seems like, you know, Paper Thin already knows the story. Should we expect the unexpected, though? William and Quack, tell us.
But yeah, crew 100 Thieves tonight,
I mean,
dude, that's gonna be a banger.
Is it gonna be exactly what Paper Thin said? Is it gonna be every single lane, every single area on this map shut down? What do you think, Will?
That's definitely
Okay,
the
Gen.G
plan
on
from
defense,
Gen.G,
RQ on
especially
attack,
once that
and we
operator
get
comes
the
online. So
Sheriff
RQ's
out
gotta
for
figure out
Meteor.
how they
The
delay that
defense
operator
Killjoy.
and how they make sure they at least make one of the sides a little bit uncomfortable. And while none of those choices feel great, if I had to take a guess, trying to shut down
Who's
Lakia's
gonna
Odin
destroy
on
100
B just
Thieves?
doesn't feel like a great
There's a
idea.
chance.
So hopefully it's a little bit more focused on
I
the
don't know.
A side.
I got faith in
We'll see
100
how these
Thieves, man.
pistols go, 'cause
But crew
no, our
do.
analyst that's
Dude,
thinking
Heat just
RQ,
looks so
maybe
good.
2-0, maybe a 1-1
That's the thing
tie.
right now. Heat is on a mission.
Guess we'll find out. A bit of a pop flash does push Munchkin off for the time being. Karen on the other side. That's the one that I'm really keeping my eyes on. He makes me nervous. Paranoia sent out now.
Dude,
He's
4
got a
people
little bit more
here,
space,
fast
pushes out, goes
rotate.
for the swing. And look
How
at
on
that
earth
movement,
are you
so
meant to?
wide, and it throws
On earth you
Jemkin
meant to win
off.
this one?
He finds that shot.
Yeah,
and the
it's
rest
a good
of RQ
cancel.
have to
Feel a
hang
bit
back.
sorry for Jemkin
Yeah,
getting
and
sent in
immediate
here, but
repositioning here from Lakia as well. The jump
Yeeter
peaks.
was
Xero
there,
knows
the
that he
call
hasn't
was
been
out.
spotted just yet. He's trying to
no
get
drone
timing
went
on
in,
here
so they
against
didn't.
Lakia. It's a little
The
whiffy,
drone
but
went in,
he'll
so they
be able
didn't
to
manage to
land the
actually get
kill.
the
Now
hard
he has
info
to
of the
hold on to
sack
this position
early.
for as long as possible. He's trying to do as
Ooh.
much damage. Goes for the extra contact.
Texture goes down. Not too bad.
And
Meteor now caught in a tricky position. Tries to hold his ground
all
up
this-
around B. Karen still
all this
stays
goes
tucked
down to
away around
Meteor
the A
with the
side.
Sheriff.
Repeaks, finds
He at least has a
Estrella, and
turret to get him
knows that
early
he
B main
can't
info.
really escape just yet. The smoke, though, does give him an idea that RQ's probably trying
What
to
an
rush down B.
absolute
Munchkin goes
hero
in for that
pistol
bit of
rounds.
mid-control, but Xfero just fires right back against him. Meteor now, it's all down to his shoulders, along with that Sheriff. He finds that first shot.
Yeah,
but
on
then
9
Alpha
HP, this one
answers
isn't
right back
doable. Look
again
at this, look
with
at
the
this
classic.
Omen
Extreme's
as
gonna
well.
start creeping. He has to start
Omen's
creeping.
just,
If he just thinks that Karen's going
in
to
a
come out through A
nuisance.
main, this isn't going to be great. Now, Karen's obviously low on 9 HP.
But so are those RQ players.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Your
what I'm a
audio
little bit
watching
worried
at 100
about.
Thieves crew tonight?
Right
Okay,
now,
I'll
the
try my
angles are
best,
holding her
man. I'm
pretty
not
good,
good
though.
at
They're
that.
just saying if he comes through B main, if he comes through lane, so be it.
I'll try
We're
my
just going to
best.
make sure that we're holding the same angle to make sure we can get traded. There's the smoke,
Okay.
so they don't have to worry about it as much.
Running out of time, just looking for kills, perhaps.
Gen.G's pretty well aware of this coming in from Estrella as well. We saw the pings.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
but
a
there's
good
not
idea.
much time. He just has to go for kills.
He's looking for it. Spots out flips, and look at that. Still a
He
little
despises
bit
the
of damage, not too
Killjoy
shabby.
Sheriff buy.
Alphamore is able to end
Yeah,
his life,
on
and they pick up
defense,
the pistol,
yeah,
so
on the defense
not
I agree with you.
exactly,
On attack, I'm so
the
fine
worst
with it,
case
'cause normally
scenario
you
for
want
RQ
like a
just
little
yet.
bit of
Oh,
info.
and there's the 1,000 kills for Meteor. That one Sheriff kill sends him right over the edge. So while you did it with the pistol, a little bit of a landmark to celebrate here for Meteor, but we'll see how much further he can get into the 1K. A lot of fans waiting for that moment to happen today, and he wasn't too far. So there it
Audio
is,
listening
locks
right
it
now?
in.
Dude, I
Now
need
going
to be
in,
better
it's
at it. I
just
didn't
gonna
realize
be
so that many
pressure
people
on
audio
A main
listened.
once again, right? You have the better weaponry. Make sure you try to punish
Say
this
the
one
score
way.
every
Make
so
sure
often.
that Gen.G has to start investing more once the
All
buy
right, in
rounds
terms
come
of
in. I like
their
this idea
buy,
from
we
RQ.
get 2 guns that they're allowed to lose pretty
trying
much.
to play it safe as well.
The plan.
Making
One,
sure that they
in an ideal
invest
world, only
deeply
one.
into the future
We
rounds,
get double
because this
Sheriff coming
entire
out from
map is the thing
Gen.G,
that keeps them
so 2
alive,
people that might
is the
have to
thing
go
that will give
Guardian
them
heavy
those
armor.
championship points. Alongside the Phantom now, a bit of a little early squad in towards this tree area.
Did Bleed get 2-0'd? Yeah, they got
Texture's just holding it.
they
Texture's
definitely
the
got
bait right now.
2-0'd.
This is
You
all
don't want to
for
watch that last
Munchkin.
map.
Oh my god.
But we'll see how many Texture can get first.
That was so quick the way he dodged that flash. Now Munchkin on the other
Guys,
side
no,
with the classic.
not the timing of the
Double
flash,
tap
not the
in
team
head.
flash.
Flips tries to fire back with that Phantom, but has to back off.
Team flash into the triple
Manages to find
stack.
Lakia, but only just the one. Now a bit
And
of
this
a
guy
second.
tries to walk over
Elmore tries
towards
to go in for a sneaky push
A
down in
because there's
main.
so many
Peter
of us
shuts him
short
down.
that he thinks
Flips
A's
has to hold
clear.
it all on his own. He is online for the ace if he makes it happen, but he's also kind of
30
pinched
seconds
down
left.
in this little corner.
And it's Sheriffs. They're just going to one
they're
tap
double
together.
stacked up. There it is. The Sheriff stack, excuse me, and it's going to be Gen.G with that Thrifty right back against our RQ.
Man, I can't believe this guy ate the
Getting
flash
first
as well.
kill hurts,
I think
but
that does
the
make
setup
the
was
difference as well, because
exactly
he would have
going
got that
down as
extra
planned.
kill.
Texture basically baits him out. He even goes for the anti-flash.
This is
Makes sure that
lovely.
they have
Then
to
this guy
commit
eats the
to his
flash,
fight,
and that
they
other
just
guy
have
would
no
have
idea
killed
he hears the flash,
Texture.
but it's too late by that
But then
point.
Munchkin probably still would have
has
cleaned
the
up.
angles, he's got the range
Who knows?
for those
We'll
right
never
clicks.
know.
Oh man.
And they get
Just giving it to him about his
two-
own classic. It's a good classic. That Gen.G
two
one
gun
doing
upgrades
damage
as
there
well.
on the Thrifty.
It comes with claws from a Tiger. On to the next round, though. And that's going to be RQ's broken economy, but they're not going to back down. Jemkin along with the
Wait.
Stinger now, able to find Munchkin.
Man, nuts.
Aaron with a
Yeah, and they
just trying
played
to
a little bit
fend
aggro
them
against
off.
the eco, to be
Smokes
honest. Like,
coming
they
up
just
as
gave
well.
him a free,
But RQ
I mean,
are
it shouldn't have been
just
free because they're
happy to
walking and
defend.
trying to disrespect
so
the one way,
Locke's
which is a
push out
little bit
huge
mad,
right now
but...
because you're expecting this. You're
Dude, look how
expecting that
aggro they're
gonna
playing
rework the
against the
map.
eco.
Because now you've got no weapon.
This
you've
one wasn't
pressured
as
A,
bad because they
you've
saw,
drawn
like,
out some of
heavy
that
numbers
utility.
here, right? So we kind of
This
knew it
would
was a
be good
1v1.
time for RQ to try to pressure other parts of the map. They found some comfort again, and Lakia just shuts down that tempo right away.
If he finds contact right here, that will be huge for Gen.G as the quick rotations come through.
Just has to back off. You've still got the nanos there to buy time on B.
That's
No
right.
reason to over-rotate. Maybe just one person going over into
Yeah,
market, something
and
like
does
that.
Lakia just save his
Texture
recon?
now rotating over in
All
transition,
about the recon
back
right
to
now.
defender spawn.
We had strict
Ace
rules
to
in
kind of
Liquid
rotate
where it's
back.
like
That 0 point should kind of
50
cement the hit
seconds or
coming
45
through, though.
seconds, you never
Lakia's
use your recon for info.
preparing
It's just
for the
purely for you to
recon.
play
Doesn't see
sight
anything,
with.
so now just holds up around
Look
lane.
at this
Smokes
setup,
from
though.
Karen. Such a good timing. Lakia able to hold down the off angle.
Ooh,
Double
what up?
kill coming through. Meteor now peeks out of the smoke at the right time, and Flips is caught
Dude, just when I
unaware.
think it's getting like a
Second kill,
little
second
bit
headshot,
close, we
and
got
a
someone else
second
to just
round
go
win for
trade all the
Gen.G.
kills. It's a nice setup though, with this guy taking
Flash
first
was so
contact
good
and then
from
he
RQ,
swings
but
out.
they all kind of get distracted by that dash.
Teams are getting a lot
and
better at
all
the
four of
1-2
them turn their head
recently,
over to that
and like
defender
just
lane.
having plans on
That
defense.
allows Lakia to just spray down right off that
Just
smoke.
as
I
a
mean, this
general, like
round,
all the
it's
teams, obviously
it's
like the
all
top teams
Lakia
used to
on
do
this
it, but
one.
like a lot of the mid teams kind of
I mean,
getting
sure,
better at
he
it.
kept his sights trained onto it, but the weaponry
White
not
bar,
quite
let me
there.
refresh that. Let me do this.
They said it on the desk that this would be Lakia shutting down B. You've got Karen shutting down
Okay,
A.
Lakia
Texture, you know,
one
still
away
making his
from
way
an
in. Now
all,
he's got the
and we
operator
go into a
online
big buy
for
round.
the
Honestly,
mid
Flips
shutdown.
has his
It
all.
could potentially happen.
Op comes out for
RQ, though, with the full
Texture.
buys, trying to fight back.
Smoke off mid, so he goes over towards
Frankly,
short.
identifying that
No,
this
he
is where
doesn't.
they
He
wanna
goes
start
over
to
towards
push that
A main,
mid
and
a bit,
these
but Meteor's
probably means these
repositioning.
guys
This is
double
gonna be
short.
very hard to read.
Knife doesn't hit anyone, so he goes
They
back
have
over
no
towards
idea, and I don't
mid,
think they're gonna
and
check it 'cause there's no reason
one,
to just
two,
yet.
almost a third. Estrella
Ooh,
will be
T7
able to
HP.
save his team for the time
Don't do
being.
it.
It's a 3
Don't
on
do
4
it.
now. And Texture
He's gonna
wants
do
to
it.
repeat. They've gotten
Don't
the
do it.
calls that it's
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
be a
okay.
B main hit as
We're all
well,
good.
thanks to Lakia's recon.
The smoke set up, and Estrella, he just
But
has
he's
to hope that his
nervous
teammates
for
can get into the site because he wants to be the lurk. Might get counter lurked on by Karon.
Any
though.
Kara flashes?
That's the
Kara
main
flash comes in.
Estrella's
Lovely
life
Kara
is
flash.
almost over. Lakia anchoring
Got another
it
Kara
down
flash for him.
from boat.
Kara flash
Now
comes in.
takes down Elmi more and looks for even
And he
more.
knows he's sight.
It's just going to be another player. Whoa, Estrella actually turns around 180, takes down Karen, but down to 12 HP. Xfero,
Yeah, everything's just
unfortunately,
perfect
was
right now.
pitched down by both Munchkin and Lakia, so it's going to be a rifle save.
Yeah, I got to go for that save. Only 12 HP. There's just no way for this to happen. See if he'll get out. Should overall, just because of time. And, you know, Munchkin not exactly sitting that healthy, though he is only 1 point away from that null command. So overall, I mean,
How
RRQ,
fast
they
did Bleed lose? I mean, the second
macro
map was
timings
pretty
very
fast.
well, right? The previous
First
round, you're able
map,
to seal
honestly, if they
weapon,
got a
say,
pistol,
okay,
it might have
we dropped
gone
Paranoia, let's calm
overtime
down,
or
backup's
like
probably
some
here.
kind of
Gen.G
close.
does like to kind of commit
Kinda
to
close
those
draw.
rotates, so let's rework the map. And Lakia says, not this time.
Another easy
I'll
day.
be the
Yeah, we
one
might
to
get
make
might get a
sure
good amount of
that
sleep
we know
again.
exactly the timings that you're going for. They shut it down. This
I didn't get
time,
much sleep
they
last
say,
night,
okay,
though.
Op's probably
There were
coming
some
out.
long
Let's
games
start
last
to
night.
push in mid a little bit. Make Texture a little bit uncomfortable to hold on to that on his own. But Meteor just refills the space right after the util clears, and they shut things down. So RRQ's making the textbook correct choices in terms of going into each round, but Gen.G just has immediate mid-round adjustments.
And those adjustments are working wonderfully for them. I mean, getting the read on how RQ wants to play it. Textbook, it's so
Any quick fixes of
well
mine to
read
make
by
the
Gen.G
Ascent
right
more
now,
interesting,
and
bro?
Meteor
Just
having the
fortify all the
idea to kind
walls,
of work
or just
around
make
that
them like a
corner.
bigger
I
gap
mean,
in
how
between.
would you even know to check an angle, a corner like
Could
that?
potentially
Texture just
increase
right
some of the
around
choke
other
points,
side of
but
Pizza as well,
I don't think
in
that's
case,
needed.
you know, he needs to do even further damage. So 3-1 is the score
Like honestly,
right
just
now,
fortifying
and
the
RRQ
wall
calls
would just
the
mean that
timeout,
it's
trying
way
to,
easier
you
to
know,
hit
find
over towards
other
B
options.
sometimes, which means we might get a little bit more options.
the
I feel like the
adjustments
map
are
plays
here.
pretty well.
G-Walk getting a little
Like the map
heated in the
in
coach's
general,
booth,
like
it looks
plays
like.
pretty well if you just got rid of the
Down his jacket.
you just got rid of the
See if
fact that
that's
these
the
walls are
motivation
just
that this
paper
team
thin.
needs right now. You've got the null command online, but it's not a healthy buy. They're going to try to even out to make sure they can buy into round 6. So currently, working with just 2 stingers, 2 rifles. It's still going to be the same start over on A, waiting for any util. Now, because they used the timeout, I love this.
Just
They're
go
waiting
top
for
tree.
the push out, right? A lot of times we saw that pop flash all the way from the site into A main from Gen.G. RQ's waiting for it. They've got the anti ready. They've got eyes trained for potential recons. But Gen.G, they don't bite.
Lining up for tree as well.
Smoke
This could be
goes
a
in and
fast
doesn't even go
A
top
split
tree.
take.
It clears all
Texture
the
right
shore.
around the other side, but the operator has to try
Wait,
to hold it
what
down.
is
Wins
this
the first
strat?
shot, but manages to get away. Paranoia holds
Dude,
them back as
this
well,
with
and
the
it allows
this with a
Texture
fast
to come
jet
in
dash
for
up
yet
short or
another
something.
kill. It's a bit of a double now, and this is a huge
This has some
roadblock
legs.
for
This strat.
RRQ.
I think it could
How
be a
do
little
you
bit better,
barrel
but
through the A side if this is how Gen.G defends?
I like the overall idea.
Like this, first of all, you have to expect the paranoia from
Molly,
the site. It's always there from
smoke,
Charon.
recon
But
above,
Estrella
so you
kinda
have
has to
short
throw his
control.
body out there so they can refill the site. But they back off after the initial peak doesn't work out.
Just a second of hesitation, and it bites RRQ so darn hard in the back. Reeling from that loss now, and they are just dazed and stunned, trying to regroup around mid, thinking about another option. Where could you possibly go?
Trying to just put pressure on mid, trying to thin the numbers on A, and they'll have done a decent job. They'll pull 1 away. So you've got Meteor watching down in mid by Market, but it's still 3 members with an op over on the A side.
A bit of smoke off. They've managed to walk through, but you still got to deal against Karen.
Bro's still running, right?
Estrella able to find a shot onto Lakia as he stares down the window. Meteor's right around the corner, 7 seconds left. If he doesn't find a kill, that's not gonna even be the save as Meteor strikes him from behind. Gen.G.
He did it with an Omen TP instead of a dash. Yeah, I think you have to send the jet up short. Is the issue. But I mean, I like when teams try new stuff on this.
Everything going Gen.G's way. Listen, they were going to win the round no matter what, but it's just solid.
It was a nice idea.
And the fact that Texture is able to relocate, then he gets a nice flick, still goes for the repeat.
The reactions from Gen.G were pretty good as well. Karen just insta one ways over towards door.
3 kills all on the A side, no need to leave it. And right now, RQ, they now have 2 big ultimates. They're going to have to try to force these ult trades, but look at this, a fast pinch in, it's a tiles crunch. A bit of a delayed one.
Oh, okay, good little paranoia from Estrella now this time. Meteor a little bit blinded, but goes in for the repeat after it clears out. Smoked off, and there's the null command. So ultimate's gonna have to be put on hold for the time being. Allows for RQ to get
Yeah, with the plant, they get Sova
Now
ult.
look at the minimap, Xfero.
Killjoy ult as well. We've got Killjoy ult and Sova ult for both teams. And you gotta look at Killjoy on attack right here. Yeah, we're gonna Sova ult the Sova.
Now they're watching out for it. A bit of a... Okay, there's that.
Okay.
Ultimate.
What happened to what happened to Lakia? Did he get hit by the knife?
Fury now just biding their time, trying to hold and watch for those drops. Meteor firing off a bit of a shot. as Jemkin rears his sights back towards the site. Looking for that final player inside of the smoke now. Lakia swings wildly,
Yeah, I
but
mean, this
flips
was a convincing
alongside
round.
the Classic, able to secure one more round
I
for RQ.
think the other guy got hit
Getting
by
that
the
Hunter's Fury
knife.
through the site execute onto the plant. That was huge. That way, they can keep Gen.G guessing about their own lockdown, but they have the Hunter's Fury to counter the lockdown. So this was overall a good read on the ult economy from RQ that allows Xpharaoh to be very patient on the lurk. Jemkin getting an early kill helps even more with that. So that's a good execute, but
Yeah, it felt like RQ
again,
was pretty
that
far
was
ahead there.
reliant on
Knew the ult
ult
was going to
cycle.
go
Now
out.
you have a
They could
lockdown,
then
the
ult the
opponents have a
ult,
no
but then they
command.
could
How
then
can
knife
RQ
their ult.
try to continue to
Try and
flip the
stop.
tables against them?
Oh, I'm pretty
Xpharaoh
sure that's
still
what went down.
He's got that
Really good.
locked down.
Dude, he is full blind there, or
Wanting
maybe
to
he
take
sees the
A
peek
main
before
control,
the
but
flash
Munchkin
goes
just
in.
so
Not entirely
quick
sure.
with the reactions as soon as they peek out. Now you've got Texture slowly moving his way outside of B main. Odin firing off as well, discouraging Xpharaoh from making any movements.
And look at how far Texture's gone. You have no idea that he's that far. I think Xpharaoh caught him.
Watch this.
Yeah, Xpharaoh caught sight of him, I believe. So he's just going to wait. Trying to break that drone.
Wow.
Almost risked his life for it.
So smart from Gen.G too. Just trying to work alongside the drone. Now alt orb picked up by Lakia.
But that's all, so much information, right? It's just a Killjoy that you spotted far away from B main.
Hence
The
this
good
dark
news for
cover.
RQ is
Hence
the
the
last round we
paranoia
had
being
4
crept
people
up right
surviving.
now. Sends
The
it
great
through,
reposition.
and then TPs
Problem is
onto
the
top
recon's
of
probably
Dice.
going to wreck him.
It's going to be tough. RQ might not know that he's right around the corner. Another shrouded step. Oh, good pop flash though. Flips
Damn, bro. Ow. How did he get 3 here?
Gives him the quad.
I mean, he was
Down to the
anti-flash, I
last
guess, at
player,
Jenny.
Xpharaoh.
And the distraction was in. Did he just shoot everyone in the side? At least the
push
first
out.
2.
I mean, you have creds.
Zifex,
obviously
thank you
it's
so much,
looking a
man.
little
Appreciate the
tough,
14
so
months.
Seeing if he can take away any power weapons.
Zifex
and then
is,
he'll
I
just
should be
choose a
saying, with the
safe
tier
spot
1
to
as well.
save.
Thank you for that, mate.
And this one, I mean, RQ, they're so concerned
Yeah,
about
and
all
it's a
these
straight up money
concepts
reset as well.
that they are working hard to try to identify where the Omen went, but that just leaves Munchkin absolutely free to spray down with the
How did this
Phantom.
first F go down?
Gotta
Was
watch
it,
the replay on that one.
if it was a
They're
pure
trying to go
blind
on
kill,
the
I'm not even too angry.
I mean, you're talking about the power weapons.
Just
for
wanted
Limit.
to early take
This is
over
a
towards
Gen.G
A
that
main.
is
Flash
coming
goes in.
fully online.
Spam.
Operator, Odin, and every single lane, every single area is now definitely, potentially going to be shut down in front of RQ. This is like almost worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what you have to deal with when you're on the attack.
God, he was
that was through the
blinded.
flag. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's just
not
wrong.
even.
That's just him knowing
Not
the
even
time. He's
angry
just
at it.
looking for
Oh yeah,
one
that
quick
second kill was so
Wow.
fast, man. Fair play.
The speed on that.
Wow, that was snappy. Listen, leave him to anchor. We've seen a couple of those from Icebox as well.
Tries to do the same thing. Up around A main, but this time doesn't find the kill and he backs off. RQ being a little bit more patient, a little bit more careful with the way that they peek in the A main, but I mean, it's a lot of these oppressing, overwhelming positions and skills and utilities from Gen.G.
Okay, so it looks like this might just be a lockdown round on to B. Trying to see if they can sneak it right next to the box so it can't get spammed by the Odin. But Gen.G has a decent idea about this, right? We're seeing the pings because you saw the Nano Swarm coming in
Yeah,
to try
and
to
so
clear
I was going
out
to say, if
really
Lakia just
Killjoy
starts to
util as
spam
well.
this, got a little bit too quiet, scared of the Killjoy ult. And speaking of the Killjoy ult, so nearly wrecked him, and this might, and it does, and it takes down the MVP of this round, or the VIP, I guess we should be saying. That was sick, dude. Yeah, the reads on this were great. It just got quiet for too long. So they started talking about the fact they're going to ult here. And then he just starts spamming him. Literally hits the most perfect player. Oh man. It's such a... This is their big buy round for RQ. Such a nightmare, dude.
Kind of locked into this site
2 of them,
alongside
2-4. I mean,
Gen.G
they're
player at
maybe
this point.
fourth.
12 seconds left, and he can't possibly make his way out, can he? Not even. Meteor will find that
It was
final
big from
skull-crushing
Lakia.
headshot.
So
It's
big.
6-2 for Gen.G.
The absolute masterclass there. You got the from the shadows to help back up as well. A good read on the timings. Munchkin starts to push out of A short. You still had Charon's utility just in case it was a rotate back to A.
Oh man.
But that, I mean, after all that spam to get the kill with the shock dart, it's brutal.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, you want to use your ultimate. It's one of the things that could turn the tides. It's one of the things that could give you a round win on the side of RQ, but it's being read by Gen.G.
Got the backup shorty.
So now just trying to
Send it over. Munchkin has knives, which cancels this ult, so you gotta feel like you'll be tempted to use it at one point. Ollie goes in. We got a shock dart on top of this. Shock dart missed.
Oh my, okay.
Shock dart.
Still not enough.
Yeah, the first one missed.
A little bit of space.
Does it even matter? Look how much damage is done. They got KO ult, which cancels the jet knives.
Just yet, so just playing off of the timing of things, RRQ is trying to play around the position as well. Up around B main, you've left Xfero.
So tanky, yeah. I think honestly, if that first shock dart actually hits the right place,
trying to watch around the boathouse and the little corner around with the shorty, Jemkin's able to start things off. Elmimore now fires back with a bit of a double. Texture able to trade out with that operator, but now pulls out the plays.
Jemkin had a big round, man. Backup shorty.
It's gonna be Lakia trying to fight back with the Odin now. Swaps over to the Vandal, trying to find a bit more room. He's running out of time though. Goes in for the movement into boathouse.
Okay, Jemkin did great on this though. Fair play.
At the right time, RRQ finding yet another round on the board.
Yeah, there's a stronghold over towards site.
Right, it is attacker side on Ascent, so it's not too late. Just
they lost a good amount, and you got to make sure.
And they chose this attacking side.
Got to make sure they win this round, 2 in a row.
Keep the initiative, get a couple early rounds, be a bit more stable for the second half. It's been a tough going so far, but if they can at least go up to 5, wouldn't be so bad. I mean, even 4 is not the end of the world on Ascent.
They forced out some ultimates. They've managed to pull off a successful rush. It's not over yet for RRQ. At the same time.
Yeah, now they say, okay, the one way, the paranoia, all of that we've had trouble with, so let's continue to try to pressure this B
They
side.
keep trying to do this molly, and it keeps getting shot.
With that early clear, they should have a read that it's a setup on B main.
Still gonna have to be very careful around it though. Oh, even with the read, it's Texture.
Hold up.
So quick, able to pull that trigger right in time. It's a good stay tucked away as well.
Oof.
Meteor able to,
yeah, Texture has to do a lot here.
RQ managing to push out onto the other side around Pizza.
Munchkin, dude, he's on this?
To hold the angle and has to nail the
wow,
shot.
that's impressive,
oh
man. Maybe I missed something here, but that's impressive.
RQ has to go. Someone has to basically take a bullet from Texture.
Okay.
Okay, never mind. If
I mean,
Jemkin just
the
stays
call
in
to
market
cancel
and
here
makes
would
him come
be
for him,
easy,
that
but
might not be a bad idea either.
Hold for Karen as well.
oh yeah, great spacing on this though. Karen 1v1, 1v2 technically, but
Elmimore makes it a trade, and now we're back to the one-on-one. Elmimore has to know where Karen might just
hey,
be.
nice
Goes
shots.
the
Dude, the spacing on a lot of this was great.
That bullet that lands right in front of Karen. RRQ with the 4th round win now.
Yeah, so RRQ getting the right read that we want to continue to pressure B this time, but just go for a fast pinch onto mid. The double stack here, Flips getting that kill was crucial as it allows Jemkin to be planted up at market. Jemkin hits some nice shots, but at the end of the day, it's Elmimore who really clutches it up. I love the early peek into stairs before Karon's able to reposition. You expect that Elmimore is going to take a safer spot in that post plant 1v1.
And 2 together actually means they eco, so honestly,
listen, you're on attack. I would love to see RRQ send it after the early util. Just absolutely send it, secure that 5th round win. But now with the recon bolt being taken out, they're going to be a little bit wary, obviously.
double
with the
hero
eco
gun.
coming in from Gen.G.
One is close A, the other's on short.
I mean, previously, it's been deadly around this tree spot.
How about they have like an anti,
now.
basically they have an anti-vision strikers,
Positioning around B main
where it's
to get
like,
information.
if they decide to push it, maybe they go heavy B
really
main
do
with their
hope that
vision
RRQ
strikers
just
instead
gets
of more
used to
middle.
with his ultimates. I mean,
Just
yeah,
literally
Lakia's gonna have
turret
his 100 the
into
next
flash
round,
into swing.
it's
See
not
the
gonna
flashes
be
out
all
the
way
whole
up
time.
to the no command. Maybe not even the lockdown for Meteor, depending on how the round goes. So
Cool goes in from Gen.G
you
to
gotta
stack, and Cool
prioritize
goes
the
in
5th
from
round.
RRQ
Now,
to group
because of
up and
that
go A.
context, with no other information, Gen.G's going to assume, okay, if you're trying to get rid of all this information on B, we're going to shift over, right? We're going to make you think that we're just kind of fishing for info and rotating over to A. So they'll make that call. They have to. They're on eco. But overall, RQ gets the correct read off of it as well.
It's 40 seconds left, too. I wonder if Jemkin
Hero gun
has
from
heard
Munchkins over
anything.
towards here, and they have a Killjoy
Hedging their
Molly.
bets into this A hit. So now they
There is
will
a
go in.
phantom.
Bit of an execute, and it works out wonderfully well.
Yeah, I mean,
Good support,
why
good
not?
cover, good dash in, and Elmimore to finalize that kill as well. And look at the lurk from Xfero too.
Yeah, that's the no command use, and Xfero's going to be the safety
They're gonna get a
valve
decent
once
half, though.
again. Going to be a very slow lurk another time because the door is closed. You still have members watching out for it. Jemkin a good hide away from the recon. That one way should be coming up from Estrella. There it is.
Dude, look at this late luck on short.
As long as possible. The sheriff shot still
He actually wants to get some kills, to be fair.
Slowly making his way up towards tree now.
See if Meteor can get one.
To keep RQ pinched in.
So for the most part,
What it's
RQ,
about. Try to give Meteor one kill.
Doesn't have done for kills.
Well, no kill for Meteor.
Gen.G continues to try to drop through, but instead they're going to drop like flies because
so he's
RQ
one kill,
has
one orb
firepower.
away
It's
from an
a
orb.
flawless round win, looking a lot better. Good recovery in this first half.
Yeah, if they can make it 6-6, that'd be huge. And again, I mean, RQ, even
Yeah,
the
that
first couple
smoke,
rounds,
that
the
smoke
overall
comes in a
rate
little
of
bit earlier. I mean,
going in
maybe.
wasn't bad.
Moment smoke was just a little bit
Missing
late.
some of those shots, but a couple heroics that gets them the stabilization.
Maybe the
then some good
KO
rates
caught him
again.
off
Now
guard.
targeting the B
I don't know what
side
the full
again.
person
You know
stack was like.
that once
Who was
the
taking
power
first
weapons have
contact, but
dropped,
maybe
Gen.G's gonna be a little
he
bit
could have had
weaker on
that
this
smoke
B side.
out.
They're
Who
going to
knows?
rely on things like the Killjoy utility. They're going to rely on the retakes. It's a fast push with that paranoia. Counter Hunter's Fury.
Counter Hunter's Fury. It doesn't quite land the way that they wanted to just yet, though. Meanwhile, Jemkin has already made his way onto the site.
And so far, RQ's afterbomps have been great.
Soon enough. Gen.G just trying to rendezvous.
Again, they're going to make sure they don't give Meteor a kill, because otherwise this ult down and they got to
Now, when
push.
does Xfero go? Does he go for an entire lurk around? I'm curious. He's positioned for it.
What an angle.
What
He's
the
thinking about it.
hell?
Now it's starting to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
the
just
move.
the sliver
I wonder
angle.
if Munchkin will be able to find that contact against him first. It's not quite going to happen. Meanwhile, Gen.G now pushing through from market, from defender spawn. They've marked B main. That's Elmi more
Yeah, we've got to keep an eye on Zafiro here. He's
Lock
coming
is
late with the luck.
back as well.
Dude,
They
they're
get
so
zeroed
on
down.
top of it.
Both Jemkin and Estrella are in, and they're stuck. Jemkin able to fire back and blocking
2v5.
off for the time being, though.
I mean, he's got to do it all.
Munchkin comes
Poor guy.
through. Still running out of time.
Whoa!
Oh,
my god, dude, we're getting so many insane clips at the moment.
To give RRQ a 6-6 first half.
How does he win
Oh,
this?
that is a certified phantom
Yeah,
moment, but not the one that you're
reposition
used to. It's
by
a bright
him was
light
everything,
here for
though.
Jemkin. Clutches it up with an ace. And what a momentum builder for the
Hey,
second
you
half
gotta
for
give me a
RRQ.
replay of this, though.
I mean, just the way to make it happen. The heroics from RRQ. He pushes through, holds out from the lower
There's
angle,
so many,
finds the first
so
two,
many
and
clips
then
in
puts
this week. I
himself
can't get over
into
it.
an off angle.
Incredible decision making, and obviously the mechanics to boot as well.
Guys, you
Gen.G,
gotta
they did their best
replay
to try
this.
to pile onto him,
Don't have a
but they won't
don't have
find
a structured
the target.
thing.
6-6,
Just replay.
Not quite what Gen.G was hoping for.
I
from the
hate when
beginning.
production have
They've
like
even
a
got fans
strict
coming in all the way from
strict
Canada.
roll.
See if it's gonna be good.
Tell me
enough.
we're not
Of
gonna
course,
watch
a couple
30
of
seconds of them walking
RRQ
around a
fans
pistol
and
with no
Asian fans
replay.
as well out here. Oh, we got a T1 fan cheering for Gen.G. That's not allowed. I know you said sorry, but I don't know. I don't know if either fan base will allow that one.
Just a lot of love and support from the community overall for the final match.
Guys, you got 40 seconds.
I mean, listen, just for
beg.
any of our Western viewers, in case you don't understand how sacrilegious that is,
I will do it.
that's like a Sentinels fan suddenly
Sorry
saying
for the
they're gonna cheer
flashbang.
for 100 Thieves. You know what I
Whoa,
mean? Like,
whoa.
You can't be having that. You can't be having that.
2v5. Oh, Oh, I he's got a gonna mean do it me, all. man.
Regardless, match will continue. It's 6-6 right now.
Bro, it's nice,
and
dude.
RQ has made
The last
significant
three.
improvements towards the end of the
Oh.
first half. Breeze might have been a bit
Sorry, I flashbanged you all
troublesome,
again, but
Ascent looking a
it's worth
lot
it.
better. How will this defensive half work out for RQ now that they've ended things 6-6?
Yeah, curious to see what the mid coverage adjustments are going to be around to round from RQ, especially from Xfero, of course, with that Killjoy util. Right now, it's just a forward alarm bot. We'll keep our
shout
eye
out for
on
fast
that,
clipping that,
because
by the way.
A lot of times when push comes
We're back to
shove,
doing our
Gen.G
own
will send
replays. I like
Munchkin
that.
up mid to try to create an opening. They'll even go for some early pressure here.
Oh, this guy is so
It's a good
wrecked.
trap.
The mid crunch, I've always talked
Finds a
about
lot
this.
of
The mid
peaks,
crunch
but at the
has
same time,
crazy high
attention drawn
success
away.
rate. Let's
The
see if
rest of the
this
squad will be
adds
able
to
push
it.
into the A site.
Okay, so RQ just needs to hold on to their util. They still have a paranoia. They have double shock darts. Recon not going to come out just yet, but they should have good things to work with on this retake.
Should be able to set up some smokes. The rest of Gen.G trying to mark all the angles. You've got generator
No
cover.
recon yet?
Munchkin
When did they throw the
watching for
recon?
drop as well. He's got a classic, so it could happen. Tries to reposition into
Guys,
health.
someone's got to break door.
Turns back around just to watch for.
Guys, someone's got to
Once
break
again,
door.
The door has not yet been broken, so it's relatively safe enough for Gen.G for the time being. And there is the opening shot. A couple just to go
they
through.
broke
A
door
third
so
body, jumping
late.
to the ground. Estrella fires back.
There was
Then
no
he's got two
pressure
left
door.
to work against. Lakia
He was
as well
so
as
scared
Munchkin.
of short.
It's a bit of a crossfire, and Estrella is just biting the dust right now.
Oh, that 0 point from Munchkin was everything. It completely throws a wrench into RQ's plan. They just barely have the door ready to be broken. The one-way comes out, and it looks like Estrella kind of wants to reset as that one-way blooms over from Gen.G, but then the 0 point completely messes up the tempo on here, and you just don't have the paranoia until it's too late. And even then, Texture, still free from it, gets a nice double on the drop.
Yeah, they just broke door way too late.
That's why it's just such a crucial piece of utility, completely blocking things off, denying that
You
retake.
get the
Texture is
old
happy
school
with that
FPX,
one.
basically.
On to the next round. We've got
3
those
rifles,
Guardians, got
2
those Phantoms.
ghosts, so
Bit of a bulldog as well.
2
Alright,
kills
this
allowed,
smoke is-
and
it's
these guys
pretty
can just be
telling.
human drones
So Gen.G's
to
got a good
scout
read
out
on
a
it,
stack
but
if it happens.
How patient can Estrella get? How crafty will he get with his angles? You gotta expect with a smoke like that, yeah, that it's something sneaky, right? Frenzy, shorty, whatever it might be. So we're just gonna go for an early clear here from Gen.G. I don't mind that.
Okay. Meteor with the nanostorm to clear out logs as well. They definitely hear the alarm bot inside of B main, so just trying to fish for as much information as possible. Gen.G being very cautious with how they spread their ways across the map.
So because of this smoke, RRQ, with all that
Not
other
the
util,
shorty
they're thinking
again.
that they're safe as they've really threatened out Gen.G. But Gen.G has a read on this. They're just
Extra
gonna throw
back
bodies
wall
at it.
peeks fast, that's
Oh,
nice though.
You're absolutely right, Willie.
Yeah, they're
When
so
you're
on
right,
top
you're
of
right.
everything, even just the
Such a
little
good read,
details.
Such a good call. Bit of a preemptive strike.
Meteor, here's the
up
running
against
over towards
Estrella
B
as well.
main.
Now it's the
I'm
same
pretty
site
sure
take,
this guy hit the
clear
alarm bot also.
protocols. Got the paranoia into generator, you've got the TP, block down the door, and everything just flows smooth.
Okay,
Look
2
at
people that
Meteor
can
up
hunt, and we got to
around
start
tiles
looking
as
over
well.
towards here, and like it's these 2. So
Overall RRQ, it looks like they're just
yeah,
gonna
and
hold.
Munchkin takes
Just
the
go to
gun,
spike here.
Texture
Only
gets
4
the
classics
ghost.
anyway.
You're
No
going
credits to make
hunting.
back. You still have all your utility that you bought up, so you can carry that right on into the next round. That does mean Gen.G, well, some of them might go on the hunt a little bit. Meteor and Texture with the ghost. They'd love to get some early old Dorbs.
Yeah, and keep an eye
Managed to spot
on
out.
Meteor as well. He
Single
might have
player, so they
might have
know
2
which
here.
exits to mark.
Well, one of them's getting multi-kills here for sure, whether it's Meteor or Texture.
Okay. Oh, well, I guess it's going to be Texture. Takes
Dude,
the
a death
contact
as well.
from Meteor,
Wait,
swings out,
that guy
goes
might
in
not
for the
even
double,
die.
and
He might just be able to
kinda
leave this guy.
flips.
Okay.
Flips close
Oh,
out.
no.
Oh my god. The 4th kill. Xfero's dropped.
And this guy gets
that's
knives as
definitely
well, so the
Bladestorm
econ's good,
online
and they
for
got a
Texture
hero
now.
ult.
This is very potentially lethal.
I mean, this is a dream bonus for Gen.G. You
Yeah,
have
it's
4
so
rifles
nice.
and a Bladestorm
It's
carried
great
over.
to have this all online
They
fast, because
are
it's
looking
just
to
like
snowball
the
this
money that
lead
it saves you as well.
far as possible. Love the last second decision as well. Just let's flip side to the spike, but Xfero has to die.
Like
one way or
Karen's
another.
literally just
Pressure
gonna have
is running
nearly
into your
8K
crosshairs.
next
Now, the
round.
Odin's online for Elmemore, but it is all half armors.
Just firing off on that Odin. Gen.G definitely just trying to work their way around the utility, work their way around some of the push and pulls across the map. RRQ waiting for what's to come.
RQ regrouping over on short. So because of the smoke out from Gen.G, just going to let that kind of go for free over on A main. I've noticed RQ did that
Yeah,
before
retake
as
of
well.
A main.
Their previous match.
One way.
That's cost them. Now
Literally,
they
as soon
have
as
to
this
use
one way
util to
comes in,
re-clear
you
it.
see everyone just back off.
A little bit costly.
Pretty much only ever going
I
to
mean,
one way
these are the
that
things
unless you're
about trying to
fighting
play
it.
a bit
You
too
could fake
reactive
do it,
in
but
some ways on that defense. Where sure, you're still able to regain some control of it, and now it's a bit of a chess match on who ends up with the last piece of util. But, yeah, you are going to lose a lot to try to deny some of those side executes.
40 seconds. Call
Always
goes
been
in
a
to
chess
send it up
match
short.
on a set.
It might be a fake short into a beast
Trying to
bit
get a
though.
read for where Gen.G's about to execute as well. Setting up around tree.
Yeah,
Munchkin
so one person
tossing
fake
the
on
next
this
0
with
point,
the
but it
smoke
could
onto
be a
short
bit
as
of a
well.
fake. baits out these smokes.
And it's at least going to keep the 3 here. He goes down, but it's a 2-on-3 on site, and that must have been a shot.
But Elmimore with the Odin will be able to answer right back.
Whoa.
They know right where it is. A bit of a shot from Estrella
spike
to
down,
support
dumb
as
rounds.
well. Now 10 seconds left. Meteor has to look for them, but his following teammate is just way too darn far across the map. 7 seconds, and that's going to be RRQ picking up the round. Will they be able to take the rifle away from Laki as well? Yes, they will. Flips, turns around in time.
Could have been very close, but it's a good read from RQ that it's just Munchkin.
Yeah, it's a nice attempt.
Right? There's no
a lot of teams
on
are on the
flash.
kind of fake over towards short, but it still kept the 3 people here.
Hold true, knowing that if it's going to be a fake, Munchkin's usually trying to sell it with that KO. Good running gun from Jemkin as well. Sure, Texture, a heroic kill with the Blade Storm, but it's only one. Can't really connect into much. However, that was the bonus, right? You know, a couple rifles carried over from that second round. The Blade Storm coming online. So Gen.G.
Good news for them. Only one person died. We get a flash into TP.
Still got to watch out for the Odin now, though. RRQ, a couple of members on light shields. But it's not too bad. Gen.G.
Knife hits the Omen, and they just insta-call with that. And they get the recon out as well. Oh man, they wanted to hit B anyway, and now they don't have to worry about the recon. That's huge.
Right, he's still going to have backup here. You still have market control as well. You've got the Nano to cover switch.
We're sending sight.
Set up! Oh no!
Oh my god, did he think he killed him?
He just dashes right over him. The Nanostorm even burns down Jemkin. So unfortunate, but Xfero holds the off angle. A bit of a double, and then Munchkin trades it off. RRQ now caught reeling from that loss, trying to go back in just to retake. Flips with a bit of a timing against Munchkin, trying to set up for Australia now.
Again, they have money, so it doesn't matter if
And then it's the spike plant too.
he would like to win it, obviously.
Back, playing off of the timing of things.
Now we get the big round though, and there's enough deaths here that this really is a big round.
So both teams assessing the same thing, right? As long as we don't all get gunked up by the Killjoy util, as long as we don't get spammed down by the Odin very early on, if we can send in the Jet to create space, that B site is a little bit easier to target. And this is just a good landing here.
Bro, it looks so odd from his from the other guy's POV.
By Xfero, but Xfero was actually
he was shooting him, and then
so he couldn't cover at all.
Then he moved to the right.
The read's just not there, and maybe even to go for the wall spam. So now no Odin, but they will pick up that
we have upper middle, we have a person to shoot the recon if there is any kind of recon in middle. Disrespect the knife this time at A. And they still get hit similar to last round, but this time they insta-hit over towards A. That's a great KO flash.
Pushing off. The Texture's already made his way onto the top of Generator. Meteor able to support through as well. Karen
Big
with
duel
the
coming up.
steps in. They are able to find trades for trades. However, numbers advantage will go over to RRQ.
Oh boy.
Rocket tries to pull off a sneaky play,
Okay,
but
dude, there was a
Jet is
second there.
prepared, spots him
Yeah, and
with
there was
the
a second there where the
operator
recon
and
went
shot.
in, and it was like, whoa, he can only beat Jenny.
Good internal timer
then
from Jemkin.
I was nervous
After
for
that
it.
door closes, you're not even hearing a fake plant.
Shout out to Strada on site. Did great here. I like the idea from Gen.G, pretty much just trying to play off what happened last round. Same thing, Omen gets hit by the knife, everyone else avoids it. This time they just pop into it. This reposition, yeah. Karen doesn't even realize.
Then Estrella can get the free kill onto Generator.
Oh, okay, a little bit of a tight pause
we're
off
doing
that
so well.
round. So far, I mean, RRQ definitely keeping things competitive with how they're just able to adjust around it. Maybe some misreads from some previous rounds, you know, Gen.G trying to pick up the pace. But at the same time, as RRQ comes back into it, you know, a fresh round, a fresh start.
What issue, dude? What's he done?
To get a feel for how Gen.G wants
Hey,
to
that's not the hand warmer again, is it?
This was a water spill, wasn't it? Sphero. He's gonna dry out his jersey.
Spilled the drink.
Hopefully it didn't get onto his gear, as that could take a little while to dry out. But it looks like mostly it's on the desk. Hopefully we can get that cleaned up pretty quick here.
The player
It's been a
issue.
while since we've seen the player issue. You see Xfero kind of smiling a little bit. Oh, it might have been a hand warmer because he's shaking that out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That could get a little troublesome. Hopefully not, but we'll wait for an update.
So far, so good. I mean, it looks like they're getting that done as quickly as possible.
Oh, this fan failed their exams, but they're here to cheer on Gen.G and one of our great casters.
Dude, the caster insta laughed.
Listen, you win some, you lose some, right? It's like Valorant. Life is like Valorant. You can't win all of them. You win some, you
That's
lose
savage,
some.
Which do you prefer to win, though? Exams or Valorant?
I mean, that depends. Everyone's got different priorities. I ain't here to tell you that you only have to win your exams. Oh, this fan, it's their birthday on the right, and the left fan has an excellent drawing of the Gen.G Tiger. They're selling the Gen.G Tiger hats outside. The Gen.G Tiger plushies as well. Gen.G trying to stock up on their merch this year.
Trying to go up in terms of team stocks as well. I mean, they've done an incredible job at Masters Madrid. Of course, thanking Talon for their top seed spot into playoffs. But now just wondering how far they can truly go as a team. I mean, we've heard it from the desk. Some of them think the DRX will be the ones on top.
I mean, Gen.G, obviously, they wouldn't want that, right? It took them a lot to try to dethrone DRX, even succeeded in dethroning PaperX during kickoff.
This wasn't that
Now
long.
they got to do it all again, and currently momentum seems to be on the side of the RXs, and Gen.G continues to look like a potential challenger here for that very top spot. See if they can get right back into the swing of things. Also, if they can get another championship point here, I mean, listen, winning kickoff got you those extra points.
Only a hero
you'll be
gun?
well
Hey, it's
in the
looking
lead
nice
as
for
well.
RRQ.
Very, very
Potential.
RQ contesting
Potential
for their
comeback for this.
championship point right now.
Drone goes in for deep mid take. Heavy aggro short. Knife hits over towards A main again. And that's the hero gun down. And that's the dash used. And honestly, on this map, this is like the one where you get a dash from the attack team and you're just so happy about it. Like as soon as there's a dash and you just know no one can actually get through these choke points, it's the best feeling ever. It's just the easiest defense
Able to
rounds.
still hold the angle, catch any player as they try to cross, but the smoked off now allows for Texture to sneak in. You got to work up against Jemkin. Texture's just
Texture
right
is...
Yeah, but they're creeping in. The spike's down, and I believe it was spotted by RQ.
Jemkin's pretty aware, man. He was aware last time with the short round. He's aware for this.
He has the perfect read. They don't want to get caught off guard. Gen.G going for a bit of a gambit. Does not work out.
Just cerebral stuff from freaking Jemkin. Sneaks back, gets the shot.
30 seconds left.
Although Meteor has picked up a rifle. If he can find at least one kill.
A lovely round from them. Good awareness from Jenkin here.
Not gonna
And
happen.
good, obviously good comms from the guys on
Shut
short
down from
to let them know.
RQ. I love Jemkin playing it safe there. You know, you get the call, Spike's still down outside of A short. Don't know what these guys are doing. You say, okay, no reason. You know, they can have the site, they don't have the spike. Doesn't really matter.
This kind of happens because of Flips holding this tree area, this A short angle, taking off 2 lives from Gen.G.
Drop of the gun and the
Just
spray.
accidentally throw his op down as you're trying to spray on the wall. Gotta watch out with
Unless
that.
he's trying to spray and then accidentally dropped it.
Alright, 3 ultimates
Might have been
online
that.
for both teams.
Probably
now.
is that. Knife goes in. This time it doesn't hit the Omen, but their knife is going to go in. It's going to hit 3.
Early presence around this A
2.
lane. Gen.G backs off completely, rethinking about
The
this.
chance KO dodged this, to be honest, and they went back
RQ,
aggro.
They were trying to stop an early push on A, but they recognize that this
Yeah,
could be
we
an
have
push on B. So they're all
no
outside the
anti-KO
site.
for this
is always
one,
meant to be a retake.
but
And Gen.G kinda
RRQ
reads that with
have
their
great
0 points, but
retake
They don't mind. They'll take the plant. They'll
holds,
deal with the retake
so
after.
Gen.G got to focus on fighting here
Watch
because
these
obviously this
angles.
Killjoy goes down. It's a
Always
done
marking
round,
the
and
door.
they're not
Texture now.
going to have
Trying to sneak one through, but
fuel
Xferos was
for
more
it.
prepared.
Munchkin has to win
And the
these.
defender ult's done really far back. Hey, what's going on here?
A bit of a
Why did we do this ult?
misunderstanding now. It's going to be Estrella finding the trade. A bit of recovery from RQ, but the timing's all a little bit off.
To
The spike
force them into the
continues to tick away.
2? But then why were they going aggro?
Here.
A lot
Yeah,
tougher
looked a
now with
little
this
bit off
operator.
a lot of this.
Good jump peek.
The Killjoy ult could have been cool if the other guys were like waiting for the push out.
Jemkin fires off the shot. Now they're now he's been known. Meteor crouches down.
Massive
able to cut him
2v2.
at his torso. But Estrella finally fights through from B main. Lakia has to do it all. He's got a little bit of support. But unfortunately, not quite
Time?
able to make it happen just yet. It's
Yeah,
going to be
it's gone.
Xferos, but he's bought
Time.
enough time.
They did a good amount of
that is a
damage though. And
heartbreaker
RQ's
for
money's here
RQ.
and
The
Gen.G's
setup
money
was
not so
good.
much.
Avoid the ults, let them waste it. We got ours on
Big
the
win for
retake.
Gen.G though, really, if you
Xferos
think about the
goes for
ults.
the early
But
lockdown just to keep them tied up in the site. And all RQ was
Aeolus, thank you so much, man. 2 years
as
as well. 2 years, thank you so much.
Munchkin stays
Appreciate
one
everything,
step
man.
further
Thanks
out
so
than they
much.
thought.
Appreciate the tier 1, thank you for the 24, thank you for all the gifted as well in the past, man.
Not expecting
You're a hero,
Munchkin
dude.
to be that far out. And that just shows, I mean, Gen.G having the awareness to, you know, make a move like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's Munchkin correctly reading what the setup's going to be.
Good
here
amount
RQ.
of people
No doubt about
that
it.
can't buy next. Pretty much the whole team if they lose. Life goes in, hits one again.
That said, though, RQ will be able to hold their ultimates for future rounds.
As
now.
the knife hits, they have to flash through the smoke. And the
back
Omen
off
flash
and
is
set up for more
incredible. Hit everyone
retakes.
but the Jet,
Fragment
right?
gets
Might have even
tossed,
hit
but
the
Texture
Jet.
has made his way through. Oh my god,
Oh
even
my
firing
god.
through the smoke with the Phantom, he catches flips.
Yeah, he just randomly spammed it.
That's a nice
Lovely
flick.
shot.
But
Now Texture already on heaven.
Texture
Okay.
is just continuing to try to find any unsuspecting
Lakia
players
over towards A
with that
main, but they double
tracer-less
A main.
Phantom. Smoke clears. There's a 0 point now. Hunter's Fury just at an off timing. Doesn't quite catch anyone though, but it does flush RQ
Ooh.
out.
Yeah, and
They
these guys
still
are
managed to get
double
the
A
drop on the
main.
Gen.G. Both Texture and Karen have
RQ,
dropped.
big win
Now
this
it
would
comes
be.
down to the
Big,
shots
big
all
win.
the way from A main. It's still Elmimore trying to sneak it through, almost managing to make it happen. Jemkin with the
Yeah,
fourth kill in the round.
that's a great round
just
from them. I
ensure
don't know about the
RQ
double
ties
A
things up.
main.
That last cloudburst, by the way, by
And
Jemkin,
RQ did great to
only purposely
insta-hit the
covering
site.
one
They kind
side,
of
and
beat
he's ready
the
to
ult,
peek the
right?
other,
If they was in
because
this
the left side,
square
the
here,
wine
obviously
side,
they would have got
wine
so
cellar side
wrecked,
would
and
have
it's
been the
cool to
harder
go
one to
fast
peek
on
for the
this.
spike, so
Obviously they know when someone's
really good
ulting,
setup
they
overall here
got the time.
from Jemkin.
And
Goes for that
did they use the...
And also RQ kind of using Lakia's
Wait, did they have
Hunter's
2
Fury
smokes and they
to
used
match
this and
some of
this?
their noise on that flood retake. Overall, a good reaction.
They smoked off A
That
main and
calls
then
for
they
the
did the
timeout
nitro
from
smoke.
Gen.G.
Pretty
Curious
cool.
to see what comes out. So early on in the year, going into Masters Madrid, timeouts always meant a bit of a Hail Mary play in the next round from
Overall
Gen.G.
was questionable?
But they started
Nah,
to switch
it
that
only
up as
looked
teams
questionable
started to
because
react to it
RQ
quite
sent
well
it so
during their
fast.
international
If they're like
showings.
waiting for perfect
See
util
what
for a
the plan is,
retake and they're
because
all in
obviously a lot
that
of those
square,
ultimates were
then
used in the previous 2 rounds by Gen.G.
And RQ is
it's like,
still
honestly, the ult he did is pretty
showing
common.
that their retakes can be successful. Gen.G, I don't know. I don't think they anticipated that this map would be this competitive.
Yeah, Gen.G,
Did you
they
think
got no
about
money
this?
here
10
as well.
to 10. RRQ and Breeze looked really, really shaky. But as we go into Ascent, all of a sudden, Gen.G doesn't
They've all got
look
like
too comfortable.
2,500, I think.
And a lot of it is that recovery in that first half, right? And I was hoping that that would happen because during the map draft, you could see Coach Ewok asking Flips what side they wanted to start on and kind of hoping that Flips would say attack. And as he says attack, Ewok just kind of smiles and says, all right, we'll go attack. Because they wanted to try to take the initiative, want to try to get some early rounds in, and also I think trying to abuse the fact that Gen.G, again, they try to rely on their over-rotates for that defense. Eventually it works out. And now RQ can play off their own
one
defaults.
hero ult.
Still got that operator.
One hero
and
ult, but a
Gen.G, they're
perfect
the
ult
ones
to cancel the
expecting
hero
maybe
ult.
a potential tiles crunch, something like that. But it does not come.
What
That's
is
why
this?
they're
Fake
holding
A
it.
pressure so they
Not
don't
seeing
know
anything.
where
Aldrin
the
will
jet
spot
knives
out
are?
Jemkin, though. But does it spot out Astrea?
Okay.
Not quite. Karen blindly going in, blindly dropping to the ground.
Is
Yeah, the
I mean, it is an
flash,
eco.
they're absolutely not assisting themselves. As a drone not able to check the right side. Jemkin, of course, drawing a lot of attention as well. So while mid's been given up, RQ fairly aware of it. All Flips has to do alongside Elmimore is make sure that there is no flank all the way into their spawn. Astrea's in a bit of a tough position.
This is,
Of a shrouded
and maybe
second,
they're
he'll
starting
have
to watch a
win
bit
that
of
first duel.
DRX, because DRX have
comes
started
down to
to
the swing.
be TPing here a lot when
Texture
they've been
looking to
hitting
make
over
it
towards
happen.
A site.
Spots him out. The blades get sent through.
He dashed past it.
Oh, and now he's looking for the next player.
Oh,
Elmimore
the
almost
savior
caught out.
KO.
The 0 point of null command, though,
Yeah.
it will deny his blades.
Sure.
And now here comes Jemkin. I've got a blade storm of my own. Bit more support. The recon catching
And the
Meteor.
recon. Clear this
Jemkin
guy, dude.
flicks
Jemkin's
back,
being
catches him
great
down.
so far.
2 players
Dude, he
left,
looks
and
so
although
aware
the
of
spike
everything.
Was down, RRQ is looking to dominate this site. Where is Munchkin? Just up around the A main.
Oh, there's only one spot left.
Swings out. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not
lovely.
quite going to happen. RRQ.
Really nice round, man.
Taking the lead for the first time.
Nice round from Flips
Great
as well.
reactions, right? I mean, Flips alongside Jemkin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
Gen.G
really,
probably would have taken
really
the time
good
out for
ults
this
here
round here. Seems they
to
went
make
for a
sure that
couple
they
of
cover for
crazy
each
stuff
other.
on their
I
eco.
love that Jemkin just absolutely ditches the site once they hear the tailwind, once they realize that Tree is in danger, that their Silva Elmimore is in danger. And then the follow-up, I was afraid he was actually going to overheat there with the Blazer and get caught out by Meteor. But they correctly asked for the recon as well. And Jemkin's waiting to see if there's an escape. Gen.G has been absolutely crucial in some of these reads that RQ has had in the recent matches.
24-12.
I mean, the way that he kind of operates, you know, never overheating too much, always playing alongside the team, and it's very tactical. And just the way that he's able to kind of get a read for how Gen.G might want to approach things. Amazing stuff and keeping RQ alive.
Yeah, Flip's not quite sure if there was a shrouded step there, so just trying to clear out for that crossfire. They recognize it's only
It
one
might be a
person
big
on
tail
A main,
hitting
so once
the
again, that's RQ's default. They circle
hitting the
back to
Sova
tree
over
together,
towards A.
and then they'll start to anchor on the site.
Normally it's been the Omen here.
This is again a setup for Flips. Let's see if Gen.G can be good for one.
Oh, peeks out with the off. There's the pop flash, Flips with
Dude,
the
how many times am I going to see teams team flash themselves over towards short? What's going on
make
here?
some of these movements now that kind of bite them in the back.
Trying to go
Self
for
flash, I guess, this one.
Oh,
Whoa,
Texter
boy, the
keeps
movement's
himself alive.
incredible
Karen
here.
watches
Omen
his
TP to
teammates
the back
back.
of side, 2 people.
As they
So
continue to
Omen
push
flash
through,
from
they've got
defense
deal
now.
against Xfera as well as Australia. Gonna stay tucked away
40
inside of
seconds, so they
boathouse.
still
The rest of the
could
reinforcements
pivot
still
somewhere else, but they're
arriving
going to
on
send
the
it.
way. Gen.G marking market.
Yeah, so RQ's holding in case there's a rotate because there's still enough time. But Gen.G, that means, has a timing here to push against the 2 in
When
boathouse.
does Lakia's recon come up?
Dark cover unfortunately doesn't quite work out.
Dude, they should know. They had the
Xfera
Omen
stays
ult.
tucked away.
Yeah,
Bobby,
man,
you just
Lakia,
go
what an
into
absolute
clear
god
Gen.G.
round. Throw the
Good
spike
job
to
of doing
Lakia
their
as
due
well, so
diligence.
nope, throw the
Rounds up
spike to
Flips as
Meteor
well
so he
as
can
Gen.G.
get closer to his
Trying
ult.
even out the score. I think it's a little bit too much right now. Wallbangs doesn't find anything.
Yeah, but they do have the creds. RQ, they would love to get to map point first.
Bit of suppressive fire from
Got
Lakia.
loads of money, let's go for it.
And they should know that this is going to be one heck of a setup. You've got 3 players, if not 4, even more inside of Boathouse. Flips slowly walking out to clear right now. Oh, Gen.G a little bit of a lineup with 2.
He's always good for
getting
2,
hits.
man.
Still,
It's
gonna be
always
Karen,
good for 2.
As well as Lakia, a lot more cover, and Gen.G will
They
be
won the
able
2
to tie
KD
things
with
up
this.
11-11.
26 to
And here's an
13.
interesting thing that Gen.G did. They could have secured the Hunter
Well,
Fury 100% with that
if
spike
Gen.G
plant,
loses,
but
their
they're
next
looking at the
buy
long
for the
game.
last
They wanna
round would
absolutely
be
make
an
sure that they
absolute
have
nightmare.
the best chance to secure this map. So Lakia says, you know, I might get a kill, I might die. I'll probably make the Hunter Fury one way or another. If not, I can get an orb. Gives over the spike to a Meteor to try to build towards that lockdown. So now they have 3 ults, 1 and 2 points away. This is an absolute long-term setup from Gen.G.
At this
Yeah, and
point,
you'd
you know,
imagine that
round
RQ
23
decide to
too, they
fight
could
for A
need
main, but
so much.
like the first round they're not.
And
Knife goes
RRQ
in and
have
hits
spent
no
their
one. They
ultimates as
fake
well.
TP here as well.
A single ult placed
Kind
at
of
the
giving
right
them A main
time,
for
the right
free,
place.
which is mad because they've been fighting
Could
here the
just
whole
end
time.
this map once and for all. RRQ trying to stay true to their defaults, trying to hold down.
You would imagine Lakia
Flips
gets his ult
feeling
on
the
this
heat
one.
backs off for the
Wait.
time being.
Where are we going?
All right, Old Orb not taken just yet, though. I was wondering if Lakia
Choke
might go
dart
for
from
the
middle.
orb.
Does it break the
Set up
trip?
the Hunter Fury for a tree push.
Doesn't
Still
break
got a
the
chance.
trip.
Still holding
the
on to
alarm
mid
bot, sorry.
strong. Just going to be a push in.
Drone clears A. Omen
so
flash over
nervous, well,
towards
Paranoid
short,
through
and
now.
this pause
Now they're
is.
trying to go in for that push. Oh, the
Whoa,
fragment
the
even
nade
catches on
hits
Flips.
that
He
as well.
cannot
That's
hold
sick.
that elevated angle any
Lakia still
longer.
didn't go for the ult, by the way.
Estrella trying to watch for the linear angles, but flashed perfectly.
Gets his ult
Flips
with that.
Still able to find a bit of a double, but
Oh man,
Meteor
who's
has
it
to
stuck
strike
over
back.
towards
Flips trying
short?
to
Yeah,
double back
door
from tree.
door closed
Catches
too early.
Meteor now. A 3rd kill for him in the round. Spike
Does
not yet
Karen go
planted.
for an ult?
It's a little bit
Yes,
too
he
high.
does. Over
It's the
towards
spark
B,
from
and
the
he's gonna
shadows
stick
play
it.
From Karen. A
Oh
bit
my god,
of
what a nuts round
risky
this is
one,
gonna
but
be.
welcome nonetheless.
But now they have to worry about Lakia.
But now they have to
Someone
worry
has
about
keep
this
a timer.
guy.
So it's going to be the dash
But he's
away
also
from
got
Gen.G.
Sova at one
They want
point.
to just say, let's rush
If
towards
they
B.
do decide to
Make it a
fast go
3v1.
site, he could
Worry
always
about
ult to
Lakia
help.
afterwards.
Lakia has to go in fast.
He's got
Or
Hunter's
Karen
Fury.
has to hold it down too. Just
Okay.
fires off the Hunter's
Oh.
Fury blindly
Oh,
first.
gets
It catches
attacked.
Gen.G.
Yeah, but now they're gonna go real
Still
fast. Can he
alive.
recon to
Karen
help his
has
team?
to land his shots right now.
They gotta
Stays
swarm
tucked
him.
away, puts out
Just gets
dark
another
cover
smoke.
just to
Oh
give him
boy.
a little bit more space right around the spike.
What?
3 players tucked
No
through.
way.
Gen.G
Oh,
runs throughout.
surely
it's
not.
gonna be Xfera who sticks it.
Oh, he stuck it in front of him. That's sick. And Flips gets an ace as well. This round is so stacked with some mad stuff. That was sick.
You can't be serious. You throw everything on the line and Xfero sticks the defuse 2 feet
Whoa,
away.
that's how he got the fast
What
too.
in the world? I mean,
They got
listen,
3 players.
Sure, should Karen have just wildly sprayed? Maybe. but you don't imagine at that range because Karon's afraid of the swarm out. He's afraid of the fan out from the smoke because backup's going to be late.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Sure that he's
Thank you for the prime. Welcome into the Slug
He's
Club.
trying to get ready for the one taps, and Sparrow just reads right into. I can't. I can't even.
Just stares into the camera as well.
Wild. I have to wonder what the decision making was from that one. But now we are actually looking at RRQ potentially taking this map away. You know, from the time that we were talking about it on the desk, thinking this is Gen.G's map. This is Gen.G with an incredibly strong defense where they will shut RRQ down every turn of the way. RRQ tied things up 6-6, and now look at where we are. It's overtime or bust for Gen.G.
Yeah, this is a mind breaker for Gen.G. See if this timeout can really get them back into the swing of things, because the econ surely isn't. You got an Ares and a
One
Spectre.
chance
Looks
to
like
finish
it. Might just be a hard push onto that B side. Try to spam
we
it out
got
with the
some
Ares, set up for
ults
the ultimates.
for sure. Killjoy ult
you
to
can
get
go
over
either way.
towards the
No
site,
in,
or KO ult to
lock
go over
down
towards
from
the site,
post plant, or
Killjoy
vice
ult far
versa.
after.
Still got to watch out for those power weapons from RRQ, though. Operator and Odin on their side. Flips with a null command, potentially deadly as well. Picked up from that ace from the previous round, too. Although Munchkin and Meteor have ultimates of their own.
Stack. And Flips is nearby as well. I wonder if RQ has a hard read on this, because he might just instantly activate the counter null command.
I mean,
If
they're
it's
gonna
bad,
get
yo.
melted.
That would be dastard. Odin away. A bit of a flash through.
67, 28, 84 could have been worse.
So low right now. I don't know.
And they got
Even placed the
nothing.
lockdown in.
They kind of got B main control, and that's
Surprised
it.
by the 0
Oh
point.
my
Ares
goodness!
for
Now they're on
Odin.
40.
Almimor almost
18
barely
HP. I mean, he got
makes it away.
spammed back.
There's
He's
the
going in
lockdown,
for more.
continuing to fire through.
Oh, and he gets one!
Yeah, he's
There's
not
the
done on
Ares
this.
gone.
Oh
And he
my
keeps
god.
spamming that lockdown.
Where's
Not
the
getting any value.
smokes?
Surely
And they
not.
cancelled,
So it's just
but
a
they
hard
tanked
rotate.
all
Now,
the
does RQ
damage.
read into this? They've still got
Well,
on A. They have
it's
no
the
reason
round
to
done,
panic.
you would think.
You've got A short covered. You've got mid covered with
They've at least
the alarm
inserted
bot.
one over towards B.
Texture's lurk has to go huge on this round.
That's when I'm backing on. Texture. Oh, he's getting checked by the shock dart.
No.
William. Surely not.
Holy.
RQ, they are checking everything. This entire map. They're checking their corners. They're checking for lurks.
Now Jemkin with the operator. Good flashes coming through.
Okay.
Forces him to whiff. Estrella holding the cross now. Doesn't spot anything. He hears the jump. Actually catches the drop on the spike planter. Karen goes down.
2v5 on site.
5
Meteor,
on
no
2
HP.
scenario for
Munchkin has to
Gen.G
pop the
in the
ult.
final
20
round
seconds
of
to
the
plant
map.
so they could kind of fast
Can
floods.
RQ make it
And they
happen?
do.
Most
We got
certainly
28
they will, as
HP.
Meteor tries to fire back, but he's
Nice.
down in the red.
Hey,
Completely
honestly,
overwhelmed.
pretty
Both
sick from
Extreme
RRQ.
and
That was good.
Almimor
Got to
will
shout
end
out,
it
got to
on
shout out
this
Jemkin
map
here.
as they
He was
go into
incredibly
the map
impactful.
3. RRQ, significant improvements on Ascent.
Very, very well played. They got absolutely befuddled when they had to face T1.
Oh, sorry, chat.
Returning with a vengeance with Excurid at the helm for the first time. But now they say that
Where's
was
my,
a one-time thing.
there it
We
is.
didn't expect the style switch, but we got a read on Gen.G, and they will give Gen.G's first loss of Ascent in 2024 back to the desk.
First loss of Ascent.
RRQ says it's not over yet. We still have some fight left in us. And those last few rounds were quite confusing. I mean, a lot of us had, you know, our mouths agape, and like Steve over there had his head in his hands as well. What was going on there?
Well, I mean, they just had good reads.
The 11-11
once
round
they
was
kind of
sick, yeah.
Understood. I mean, they play Gen.G a lot on this map,
It was
right?
pretty
So
fun.
like, they understand what's going on. They've seen a lot of Gen.G on this map. They're the first team to beat Gen.G on this map this year
Mia
so far.
wallpaper, dude, I need to
that's
change it
really
to
impressive,
Bacon.
But they just had really good reads. I mean, really
Need
good
to change it to
decision-making
Bacon,
as well. That
Raging.
0 point that shut down Textures. Blade Storm was insane. Obviously, it feels like Jemkin gets an ace, and all of a sudden, you know, anything's possible for RRQ. But really, it was just like they kind of figured themselves out. They started playing with good protocols. They had good reactions to things. Like all their utilities started to be on point. Yeah, I mean, it was just that's the RRQ like we've been expecting to see, that we've been looking for all year. And now it's like, okay, can you actually get this done now and split? You have beat Gen.G
6
on
out of
split
6
this year.
post-spawns.
It's possible.
Yeah, I feel like Valorant's
Yeah,
definitely a
we
very
talked about this a
mental
little
game,
bit, right? The
and
fact that the
right
after
when we
pawns were
saw
pretty
the
good.
Thrifty
I didn't
from
realize it was
Gen.G
6 for 6.
On the second round of this map, we were like, okay, it's Gen.G on Ascent, like it's a done deal. They got the Thrifty already after losing the pistol. They're just gonna run away with this one, right? And maybe Gen.G thought that a little bit themselves. Like Solo, we could see during the timeouts, he was not very happy, and I think for a good reason, right? RRQ played fantastically, but at the same time, I think Gen.G kind of let this one get away from them.
Split.
Jemkin got a bunch of crazy plays on this one and really stepped up to the plate alongside
Dude, 7 first kills for
putting up
Texture.
23 kills himself, so pretty insane stuff from those two guys. And yeah, I think just kind of
Wait, does Texture have 12 first kills in 2 maps?
As Paperthin was saying, and eventually they were just a better team on this map, so props to them. They're going to get another chance on Split.
It took a while, but RRQ eventually got the ball rolling, right? It took a little bit to heat up there, especially, coming from the first map, right? But you gotta love how Gen.G is just one of those teams that can bring out the best in RRQ, and I think that's why, they are always fated to meet each other somehow, some way on
5
the
and Breeze, 7 here. Yeah, dude,
But
he's
it
farming
goes
on
to
the
show how
first
much they're able
bloods.
to
That's
push
crazy.
RRQ to their limit,
Didn't
just
die
like what we
too
saw here on
much.
Ascent. So now, as we're
Fast.
heading into a next map, it's both an RRQ and Gen.G that
Okay,
are
I will
fully
be back
warmed up here
for a
and running in
little
very, very
bit.
warm.
Yeah,
But
that's a
Split
big part
coming
of
up.
it. I mean, definitely RRQ got their aim underneath them, and we're shooting a lot better. I mean, that makes a big difference. But there was, once they went to the defender side, I was really impressed with Flips. In particular, not just with his shooting, but his flashes were on point. The 0 points were great. They were reading the map well. They were making really good macro decisions in terms of where to maneuver themselves around the map, and it kind of felt like Gen.G was struggling to find the correct answers. And I think almost the correct answer for Gen.G, in my opinion, might have just been to just kind of try some just old school, Korean executes where you're just throwing every piece of util you have at it to get the sight down. Munchkin overheats a little bit there off the back of that lockdown too. So there were some mental mistakes from Gen.G, I felt like, that probably they wish they could have back. I mean, Karon with that spike defuse. A lot of little things, but that's what Valorant's about. The little things cost you games.
Yeah, and I feel like, for Gen.G, you just kind of felt like they sort of fell apart a little bit, especially with the communications. I'm not sure what is going on there, but it could be that, like you mentioned, the mental game. RRQ, though, they just solidified, especially towards the end there.
Yeah, I'm just rewatching that round. That's the one that Paperthin was talking about. That could have made the difference. And we could have had overtime, but at the end of the day, it was RRQ that were just a bit better. So many of those last rounds, as you said at the beginning, Mika, were just so crazy, back and forth. Really could have gone either way. And RRQ get away with one there. They barely get through the last round as well, just to get across the line. And yeah, you really got to hand it to them. I think it's sometimes easier to get rocked on the first map, 13-3, and then say, okay, let's just move on, and that was weird, and get our aim underneath us. Let's calm down, and they looked so much better on Ascent.
And you really gotta applaud RRQ, right? After that performance on Breeze, it would shock any team, right? But they were able to make this comeback. They were able to steal themselves and say, it's not over yet. We can still bring out our best foot forward. We can still perhaps win these pistol rounds as I thought that they would, although it was quite different.
They got one.
I told you, 100%.
They did. I kind of put a lot of trust into X-Pharaoh's sheriff shots, for example, but I totally did not take into account Texture's ghost plays, which were a big reason why they were able to win those pistol rounds. So we're gonna go over here to our board and let me know if I'm doing this right.
So I'm Prestige, right?
Yes.
You put me above Radiance. I'm Radiant Plus.
You rank up twice. So I was gonna say, if Valdez here,
he's guessing
ranks
game
up twice,
yeah.
he kind of goes around the world and goes out here, right?
Now just put me up at guessing gain.
A guess and gain. Our first. Go beyond
I have
our.
beat the game. Can't go down
Yes,
anymore
it's now Valdez and Gain. Okay, that is the name.
Sounds
And Paperthin, you go up here to Diamond. Our viewers.
Get wrecked, viewers.
What? 2, 1, 1. Okay.
One,
Wait,
the other's
should
one,
negotiate
the
that
other's
one.
Because there were three options.
Okay. This isn't too bad. We're chilling here, right, guys? We are. So I think this is pretty okay there. Hello there, Valdez. Let us know.
We're chilling.
How's the view from up there?
It's pretty nice, yeah. You guys have to ask me now before you make your guesses now because it's Valdez and Gain, right?
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
That's true.
We now have to go through you in this instance. But yes, going back into our match, we are now into a map 3. And I think, going by again the first map, we didn't think that we would reach this point, or did you? Did you think that we were going to go into a map 3 as we usually do?
I thought this would be 3 maps, but I didn't think it would be
this way.
Yeah, I thought, they'd win each other's map picks. Okay, cool. We go on to split, and that was really close between them the last time. It was 13-11. Both teams played really good defense, but it was like 10-2, I think, on RQ's defender half, and that made it really difficult for Gen.G to come back on their defender's half. So we'll see exactly how this shakes out. I mean, Gen.G's probably a little bit rattled, and I'm really happy that RQ came out today and were like, look, okay, we got blown out. A lot of teams might just say, let's just go home early. We're not going to playoffs. But they're like, no. So that championship point, Ewok's doing a good job keeping him in the game. Even though he ditched the turtleneck, I'm a little bit hurt about that.
Yeah.
A little bit hurt about that. I mean, not exactly sure if he spilled something on it and he had to change to the T-shirt or what. But
well, our coach's fashions are evolving in this stage.
Yeah, but
right?
his didn't need to. I mean, the turtleneck with the jacket, that was slick.
Stylish.
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of going like, eccentric billionaire level, where they just like go back to the T-shirt or just like a sweater, It's like, I don't have to try.
Yeah, I don't need to prove like my wealth or my worth to you. It's like that kind of like simple kind of fashion, right? But Ewok here, like you mentioned, he did such a good job in, being able to rally back the team, especially coming from that breeze, as we mentioned. Going into split, though, I wonder what our coaches are going to be saying, especially since like we also saw, for example, Solo kind of look a little tense in those last few rounds.
Yeah, that's something Solo's known for is, he'll let you know when he's not happy, for sure. So we'll see how Gen.G responds to it. Again, some teams don't mind it when their coaches get in their faces or kind of let them know that they're not doing well. That motivates them. It just depends on the player. So it's all into Gen.G now to respond because it has been a bit of a rough season. And they would like to come through this regular season on a high note, go into the playoffs. You already have that first seed shirt. That's nice. But you want to go through with a win, get that momentum, make sure you're able to get that one more win you need.
Map 3 is split.
Shanghai.
Yeah, and I feel like, coming into a match like this, for example, you have to have that. You see, they're sort of like a start from zero mentality. Forget all the championship points first. You just have yourself, you have RQ, you have Gen.G on that stage. That's all that matters at this point. Whatever standings might happen afterwards, leave that until after the match, right? It's starting like at that the first round, right? And for both of these players, for example,
that's right.
Jemkin and
Predicted
Texture,
surely
you can kind of tell
Gen.G.
that reset, right?
He
Every
likes an
single time
underdog,
they
but I
might
think
lose
this
a
one's
round,
too much,
and they
right?
start right
I'm not
off the bat.
100%
Next
sure,
round,
though.
you can tell like, okay, I'm gonna go in for it. Their mentality changes, and you can kind of tell as well when they want to go really, really, really aggressive just because of that reset.
Yeah, I think it's very impressive what Texture is able to do just map by map. Extremely consistent. He wasn't like the top fragger on the first map, but he's the top fragger here in the second map. Whereas,
Gen.G and DRX.
he had a blazing hot first map and then kind of cooled off pretty harshly in the second one. So Texture stays calm, but really big story is Jemkin, after not really able to do much on the first
Flo,
map, he's
thank
able
you
to
for
turn
saying
it
that,
around
man. Of
with
course,
nearly
dude.
300 ACS,
Yeah, it's sick here.
2.1 KDA. He totally
Glad you appreciate
kind
it.
of put
Good
the
to have
team
you
on
here,
his
man.
back. Him and Flips, right, were the two that had a huge impact on this second map rather, on Ascent, and essentially said, no, we're not going to go down without a fight. And I think Jemkin should be applauded for his his even temper, his even tempered nature, because you need to kind of have that ability to bounce back from a big loss.
Absolutely. And speaking of applause, we do have to applaud Meteor, who managed to cross the 1,000 kill mark as well, joining Saya Player and Munchkin there. So congratulations to Meteor. That is 2 now on the side of Gen.G with a 1,000 kill mark.
Yeah, and Texture's right behind.
Yeah.
He is not
He could
far.
cross
He
it
could get
and
on this
then-
map, maybe. I don't know exactly
The
where he's
double
at right now,
duelist
but
against the
he wasn't
comp
far
that is
behind,
good against double
Munchkin and Meteor,
duelist.
so
That's
definitely
interesting.
could be happening on this map. There's a fan sign out there looking for it as well. So certainly hope we can maybe give the fans what they want. But yeah, you can see that, on this map, so far this stage, the attacker side did not go so good for RQ. So this is really, going to come down to defender sides, it feels like. Who can really keep those choke points under control, who can use their utility properly at the right times, things like that, and maybe, who knows, if RQ does stick with the Cypher and Gen.G runs Sentinelist, maybe they have an advantage of that department.
You're convinced the
Maybe that's why they
Cypher
were
comp
able to
isn't good against
test them
double
the last
duelist,
time
bro.
they
It's,
played a
it's
kickoff.
literally the comp against
I
it.
feel like a lot
People are
of teams
just.
have been teasing
If you get the trips
some
right,
composition
it's good.
changes as well.
'Cause you
But
wanna be able
Split
to
is just one
fight
of those
sight.
maps where you can't afford, like, for example,
Don't let teams playing it wrong
you can't afford
change
that on
your
Split. Do
change
you
the way your
think,
mind's
though,
thinking.
that we'll be seeing some changes here as we go into Split? We can see that Gen.G, though, might perhaps explore this path.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, but you're just looking at team. You're just looking at team diffs, man. I'm telling you. I'll see Cypher's play, and then everyone would just go like heavy heaven. Like teams are just bad at game planning against this. No one fights sites heavy enough at the beginning against double duelists.
Cypher preferably.
Like a common, it's like a common macro misplay that is killing me a little bit.
Also, shake up the pace. Gen.G have been known to do this, especially like on certain maps. And I think when they need like a little bit of that, change of energy, perhaps change of strategy going into, especially in the crucial maps like this.
Yeah, there were
But if
some
people stick with
moments on
Sky,
Ascent where
because the
I think
Viper's
Gen.G
so
were kinda
good.
getting ahead of themselves,
Pretty much
especially
why.
in the last bunch
Trying
of
to take the
rounds.
hit
I
a
felt like
little bit.
Sometimes they were kind of rushing things, not really checking all the corners. So that is one thing you have to be kind of wary about if you are attacking with double duelists and you can't quite find the
Caesar, I don't really watch
perhaps
that
with
much,
the double
man.
duelist that
I
actually
stay
just
up
allows
to
you
date with
to
some of the stuff, but
get
not
the
too
clear
much.
entries and actually
Like
just,
a little bit of
even if you're
endpoint
not
stuff,
checking all
just
your corners,
because I
you're
have
kinda
mates
just
there.
getting in their face and
A little bit
really
of
upping
the
tempo.
Fnatic stuff
I wouldn't
because my mate
expect
coaches,
RQ
and
to change their
then
comp. I think
some
they
of the
should be
liquid
pretty
stuff,
comfortable
but
with this. This feels
I
like kinda more
rarely
their style,
check in.
whereas,
Yes.
I think Gen.G will probably just run this back as well and try to get more aggressive, especially after kind of a rough loss. Really try to say, okay, well, we're better than these guys. We should get in their faces. We should try to take them down, and it is what they're comfortable with. They've played this double duelist style 3 times already. I think they'll probably just
Yeah,
go
but
back
Saint
with this
adds
one.
nothing
I
on
do wanna
attack
bring
though,
up,
and this
the
one
role
on
swap
on attack
inside
you need to have
RQ,
something.
right? We did see RQ
Like the Cypher on
pre-role
attack
swap,
dominates
and
the
then
deadlock.
after the role swap,
Deadlock
like what we
probably
saw earlier.
better on
How do you
defense
think
against the
they're
double
faring up
duelist, but
against
it
Gen.G
literally
before
adds
and
nothing
after
on
that?
attack.
Do you
You're
think
just
there's
gonna get
still
wrecked.
adjustments to be made? Is this something that could potentially get them that win? Perhaps here on this map?
I mean, it almost feels like it's going to come more down to like Jemkin and his
That was
ability
pretty
to
cool
keep
though, Caesar.
carrying,
I'll give you that.
because It seems like if he's in top shape, then RRQ is right there with him, right behind it. But if he's kind of faltering, then there doesn't seem to be a lot of punch behind him. And this whole year, I'm actually glad you asked this, because it's been kind of rolling through my mind, the Elmi Moore X-Pharaoh roll swap, right? Like, how do I really feel about it? I'm not
Buff
liking
deadlock?
it
Nah,
fully
deadlock
just
doesn't need a
yet.
buff, man.
I understand why they did
Like,
it.
that
but
grenade is
seemed to me
deadly.
that Elmi Moore is a little more comfortable on Sentinels. It looked like he was able to kind of play with it
Like,
himself.
the grenade
have
is
some of those
actually
more
full
impactful moments
deadly.
Consistently, he's still been okay.
Doesn't need a buff.
At times
Trust
this
me.
year, but there was a moment on Ascent where he revealed his position in B main with the Sova because I
Grenade
think
is
he's not
scary.
used to
Yeah,
the
if you
timing
actually
yet,
wanted to do
and
like a
it
proper
is
good
getting him
trap play
kind of
comp,
lost in rounds, and
like they
cost him his
could probably
life, and
make
that's
it
a big
around that.
problem I rarely saw him
around
do
the
when he
mid.
was playing Sentinels.
And speaking of missing like Elmi Moore on the Sentinel role, I do miss X-Pharaoh as well on the controller, right? Now it's over on Australia's shoulders, and we can see why. I do see the logic as to why they put Australia on that role, but X-Pharaoh just had like such great ideas on that role, and I feel like now RRQ is in a state of adjustment like once again. Like we always
Wrong meta,
tout them
yeah.
as, like, the team that's constantly
Just
improving,
Viper's strong,
but
bro.
now
That's the
there's
thing.
there's a bit of a rocky spot for them.
When's meant to
once
be?
more.
What's the
Yeah, it does feel like it is a little bit rocky.
Is it
but
this
at the
week?
same
Is it
time,
literally today or tomorrow? We're meant to get a patch,
I
like
think
a
Flips has done an incredible job
or
of
like
just
leaks
keeping
on a
everything
patch or
together and
something.
making
Isn't
sure
there
it is
a
functioning, and he's
player
putting up
patch or
numbers
agent patch or
himself,
something
so
this week?
I don't really know what got into them. Maybe it was RRQ that got angry after the first map and they came back with like a huge performance, but I mean, if you're going to play like that,
is today?
I think you've got a decent chance on split. And maybe they finally do
This
break
week?
the curse. It has been 4 times this year where they have not been able
It
to
wouldn't
beat
be the
Gen.G. We're
worst.
back
Dude,
here at number
imagine.
5, and
Wait,
it's been
would it be the
2-1,
worst time to
2-1,
get rid of
2-1
Viper
3 times in a
stuff?
row,
I mean,
and
it would.
I'm sure they want to get a
Do
nice
I
big
ever think
upset
that they
rate
would
at the
actually
end of
do
the
a
season
Viper
just to say, hey, we were better
enough
than you all
that's
along,
big enough?
even though
I don't
we
think
just
so.
didn't make playoffs. But anyway, forget that. We beat you right at the end. We beat this big playoff team, and I don't know. It seems like they're in a good spot, even with all the shifting parts and stuff. It feels like, I don't know, they just took Ascent from Gen.G, so anything is possible for me right now.
Do I
mean, it
think
would be
Pacific
pretty
will be the
poetic to
champs?
end,
Who do I think will be
stage
the
one on
Pacific
that note,
champs?
especially after
Of
like
ju- of
so
just-
many upsets that have
of
happened
just this
throughout
split?
the past 4 weeks, right?
Like, who do I think
Going
gets the
back,
extra
though,
champ
to,
points?
Jemkin and Texture, right?
I'm
Because
pretty
they are
sure.
the two that
I
are
don't know,
really,
honestly. With
pushing,
how everyone's playing, it
these
probably
two
is
teams.
DRX,
And
but
I think
something
that,
just tells me
for
that Paper
example,
X wins
Jemkin,
it.
He's one of those players that performs well when he gets that second win. Like, I feel
But from
like
what we've seen,
maybe right off the
people
bat,
should
might
be
need
saying
some time to kind of,
DRX.
like, get into the
Like
groove of
DRX
things,
are
get to
the
maybe
DRX are the
download
most
information from the
convincing
opponent.
from what
But
we've seen,
once
but
you get
I
into
think
later
it's
rounds,
gonna be
maybe
Paper
like this
X.
into a map number 3, or a second map, when he really heats up, he's almost unstoppable.
Yeah,
Direx's better form currently. Yeah, I think I agree with that. Their new stuff's sick, man. They put so much thought into a lot of maps. It's scary.
That have been otherworldly. I mean, he is just outrageous. So he can be that guy, and I think he's still adjusting a little bit. We saw it in Ascension, right, where he had a 0-kill map. You know, sometimes he does kind of bottom out. So if he can smooth that
It's
curve
bleed.
out a little
Okay,
bit, you know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
the
Not
one.
have that, you know,
Sorry, I
bad end
forgot
of the
that.
bell curve. You can get it up there to start consistently. He's going to be very, very good. RRQ is going to be very, very good. You know, and you see it with Buzz and other players. Like we saw it with DRX, where Buzz had kind of a bad map to start, and then he just gets angry, turns around, and starts. But Jemkin does not get angry. Jemkin.
Yeah, you could do that stuff, Gabri,
doesn't
but you
have
could
much
do
of
it with like
emotions
2
on
agents
stage,
probably.
So he definitely is just he's a guy that you feel like you can rely on. And definitely, that's why.
Like
RRQ
when
is
you
kinda
actually think
scary
about
too,
what
you know, he's
combos
not
with
really
the
showing any
emotion at all. He's like,
with the deadlock grenade, it's kind of nuts.
Okay,
I haven't fully like tried it because obviously I've never been coaching with deadlock in here. The deadlock combos nuts with some stuff, man.
I'm sure that
It
along
really
with
does.
not getting too down after the loss, he probably doesn't get too up after.
Like
you know, carrying
deadlock
the second map,
grenades
so
with
that's
Astra
kinda
Suck
scary,
must
right?
be
We were seeing multiple
insane.
angles for him where he was
Because you have
doing
no
crazy
momentum,
stuff,
so you're always kind of
we were just
stuck.
kinda like,
You're
oh, God, he's
crouched,
gonna
so
do
you
it
go
again,
into
he's
the
gonna do it again.
middles. You could always
There's
get
merit to that as
spammed.
well, because it means that he's
So that you
stable.
could make
You know,
sure that
it's,
whatever util
I
you use
believe
would
it
wreck
was one
people.
of the coaches that was pointing out
I
that,
don't
you
know.
know, sometimes
There's
if you're
too much potential
sometimes
there.
you don't make the right decisions.
To kind of
but right
buff
now, looking at our
deadlock.
agents, like, is this the right decision for both of these teams? Sticking with
They gotta
more or
be
less what
careful
they've
when they
always
have like
been
such an
running on this
OP.
map.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think again, I'd like to see
ability.
Gen.G maybe
Like it's
try
kind of,
something a little bit different someday.
and I'm not saying it is
for
similar,
now,
but it's
you know,
like
the double
there's a
duelist
little
stuff
bit of
can work very
similarity in terms of the
They
ISO
made really good reads against
damage,
Zeta, for
like the
example,
double
but Zeta was
damage.
running the
Like
Euro
that's a
comp, so
strong
it's kind of
ability.
a different story. But
Yeah, you have to be a
get
little
another
bit
attack side.
careful
That's all there's to it for Gen.G.
with some of the
Well,
stuff
here
you
we
do.
go, map number
It's good that he
3,
has a few
RRQ
abilities
versus
that means that
Gen.G.
he's
Is this
not
finally
that
the
viable.
time? Over to you guys, Quack and William.
That's right, Mika. Is it finally the time? I mean, Paper Thin was talking about it. Gen.G, they've got this double duelist. Can they make it happen on their attacking side?
Right, RQ on defense, Gen.G on attack, double duelist. Do they go for the standard game plan where you just hit sites until people can hold it, or do they attempt to go middle and then later on attack the sites? We'll see. We got 5. Damn, we got 9 ghosts. Sorry, 9 classics. Dude, the bundles changed teams, man. The bundles really changed teams.
Elmimore looked a little lost in the sauce.
Old Vision Strikers.
He can regain himself.
Whoa, straight into the trips. Extra starts to fire away, but it doesn't find anything just yet. Jemkin knows the Texture stuck in the corner. Paint Shells will eliminate that duelist player from Gen.G.
And this is just a hard read from RQ. You know that Gen.G loves to take this mid-pressure on the double duelist early on. It's just an entire trap. It's a meat grinder.
Holding the angles as well. Now goes in for the peaks together as a team.
Whoa.
What? How does he do it? Comes
Holy.
in and now is looking to possibly switch up to a
Gonna
different
be a
weapon.
1v4.
He has a spike, so it's just
Gonna
going
be a
into
1v4
sight
with an ace.
instead. Flips now, trying to fight
He
back
has an
or
Ormond
at least
flash
catch a
still.
bit of a timing
Dude, does
as
he
gets
smoke
spike
himself off the
planted.
plant? Ah, this
Sneaks
guy's
through
too
top
smart,
of
man.
heaven right now.
Actually too
Karen's
smart.
kind of out in the open, so this could be it, or it's going to be an ace. Karen stays tucked away underneath that cover. Wraps back around the
I
pillars.
mean,
He's going into
God, he's
garage now
owned
since
it.
he's got that spike planted.
Got the Omen flash as
It's
well.
not
He's
quite
pretty
planted
far
for
away
garage,
though,
so
and we
this is
just
actually
stick
still
half, right?
risky.
Oh, we probably
Tosses
stick
out
the whole
paranoia.
thing.
Flips just continues to stick
Just
it,
gonna
doesn't
hold-
really care. Oh, he gets off. Goes in for the swing now, and unfortunately for Karen, no ace to be
My goodness,
found.
this was so
Great
close though.
damage,
Okay,
but
I mean, it was the problem
will
was
pick
it
up
was a
the
nice
round
pistol
for
from RRQ. They kind of read that we were going to go over towards middle. Even the Gen.G pistol was nice. It just so happened there was a lot of people
wants
here.
to make sure that he secures it, but this was RQ with a great trap and then getting a little
Yeah, solid attempt.
against the likes of Karen.
Doma, how's things, man?
We've seen everyone on Gen.G do crazy things with the pistols. So
This is the first round you came in and we see this. Bro, so
especially.
this whole week though, I'm seeing
Definitely
some
just needing to kick
some
things
mad
off
rounds.
incredibly well. Okay, a Bucky on the board for Elmimore. I imagine trying to hold down Mailroom with that. And at the same time, Meteor pulling out the
Okay,
signature Marshall.
Sheriff.
See what damage
And
you
Meteor
can do. You've got
always gets this,
Sheriff
and
in the hands of
honestly,
Karen as well. Of
against the
course,
jump
4K
peak
allowing
here,
him to buy a little bit of an upgrade.
that's
So
not the best one.
used to just block off B. Now everyone other than around mid, again, Gen.G loves pressure mid with this double duelist. RRQ just hanging far back. In mid, it's Spectre and Bucky. So they have very well read the map positions right now here on this anti-eco.
Heavy investment. At the same time, you also have the guiding light just to check for further information if needed. Gen.G trying to take whatever they can find. So it's
Oh my god. 6? Does Lakia put the heal into this one?
Yeah, that was a close one. Texture knows it.
Now just doubling back into the A site. They know that.
Or do they want to save money?
2 players up around mid and B. If we can overwhelm Xfero, might be able to take down the site.
Now the creep around. So because of that ore, because of the cut noise on mid, RQ.
Yeah, I mean the early B pressure did pretty good. The rotate, they're picking the right site. They break the only trip, which was an info trip, and
not too bad. He continues to isolate the angle.
Still got the 6 HP to deal with.
From the screen and is able to take down 3.
Did great, man.
Back with Marshall. So not too
Preserved
shabby,
the bullets.
but I don't
And
know
this
if,
should be a plan,
okay,
though.
Gen.G,
Raise,
RQ's
no
just playing
satchels. I
very
mean,
safe,
that's a
so
plan.
allows them that spike plant.
Sure,
continues
man.
to fire off on these shots,
He's
but of
always
course,
good for one with
force.
Marshall.
Estrella continues to push down, and that's going to be the second kill for the guy. RRQ now picks up the second win. He goes 4th.
So, I mean, one bit of damage done.
Go back over on that
Few
Thrifty
FPS with the 3 months and the tier 1.
So
Thank you very much,
They
dude.
will drop 2 weapons, but one of them being that Bucky, and they're not going to miss it too much.
Of course, dude. Thanks so much,
doing his
man.
best here. I love the smoke backup coming in from Estrella as well. Just kind of maybe slight disrespect on Meteor, knowing how good he can be on that. Marshall, they're trying to go
that, dude.
scope in. But at the end of the day, a hold's a hold, a win's a win, and you still carry over 3 weapons.
When people smoke the box on B main, it always leaves a gap. So if you get, talk about this smoke, if you get it right on the edge here, it has, like, say this is the wall. The smoke will, so this is the box, this is the wall here. It will like smoke like this, so you can see here, right? You can see legs as they cross. If you get it right on the edge, that's why people do it. This one went a little bit to the right, so there was a gap, so it wasn't a great example. But if you get it like right on the edge,
the only
it's
one
like that.
here to contest against this is Jemkin.
Because of a Phantom, so he's going to be able to match firepower. Like you said, all alone.
Oh, they're creeping up.
Yeah, no audio. That's a tough one, but the kneecaps are shown.
God, I thought he was going to get a double. Yeah, no drop there. He gets double. It felt like we don't know what the reposition would have been, but
that would still give RQ a decent chance in this round.
the gun can get retrieved, and Flips is kind of holding it. He doesn't want to make any sounds.
Yeah, and during this
Yeah,
time,
and
you
he's
actually
just going to
cleared out B main.
tell his
Now the
teammate
trip
to
gets
pick up the
broken as
gun
well,
because
so
this won't
RQ's
make the
still
sounds.
fairly aware
And he
that
is.
it's going to be a
Whoa.
A hit. Flips actually hears a bit of that noise. He's going to back off.
Oh, that's unlucky, man. He played this really well.
Look has been spotted.
Yeah, he had the guy running, and he's like, well, I'm going to get caught. Now gets the double up gun upgrade. This guy got killed over towards middle. That's another gun upgrade.
Something that you need to think about.
Well, he's
Clearing out
strong.
the corners now. 3 players from Gen.G trying to hold down the site. One elbow.
Wait, someone's got to
2
go huge. They
backside,
got no map
getting
control, and this
flashed
Omen
out
flash
now.
hit too.
Forces the paint shells out from Texture. Guiding light blocked off thanks to the dark cover from Charon. Not too bad.
Look at the
More will be
trades
able to
right
trade
now.
Back, though. So then comes up the toxic screen. Munchkin just trying to work his way around.
And this
Texture
attack wall,
still
though,
trying
it's
to
so
stay
good.
tucked away.
Does all the
Peek out,
DRX
trying
wall,
to
but it
catch
gives you this extra
timing
bit of
onto when
freedom.
RQ will peek, and there he finds a couple paint shells now tossed in to eliminate elbow, but Estrella just swings out the other side instead. Catches him with a Spectre. It's all down to Munchkin now, but
time's so
Estrella no
low.
longer has time. Not too bad.
Great
from
damage, and this guy
Gen.G.
just wants him to go down with the spike.
No, Munchkin's going to get it. So, I mean, Estrella, if he could have dropped the
Yeah,
weapon at
and this
the
was
very
like the
least,
best
you're
example
forcing
we've seen really
all
of this
rifles to
wall
be
over
dropped
towards
on that
sight.
buy round.
Right, this.
Wouldn't have been bad.
I mean,
Still
normally,
not bad.
you know why it's
4
good over
rifles
towards
taken
here,
away
right? The
by
double
RRQ.
vision block, but
Gen.G
this wall
barely
that
scrape away
extends
with the
over
round
towards
win,
the site,
and that
great in the
means
afterplant,
that
great for
this
if you want
round
to create
is an
pressure
absolutely
on the
dicey
site
one. Yeah, they
itself
could buy up with
in
half
terms of
armors,
blocking vision.
but if they lose this one, it's all
And I'm
over for the
pretty
next 2
sure,
rounds.
I mean, they could have
Yeah,
stolen it
so
for someone in
far,
practice,
I mean,
but I'm
the
pretty
way
sure
that
I called
Gen.G
it
are
the
trying to
Gen.G wall
approach it,
because
you
they
know,
were the
they
first I
sense
saw use
that
it.
RQ has good setups up around B.
A
as
great round
well
from
as
RQ
mid,
in terms
so
of damage,
the
though.
slow creep into A.
We
but because
literally got
Gen.G
one person that
received
can buy
that
next.
contact
That's
so
it.
incredibly well. It's great reads from RQ.
And
Yeah,
these two have
RQ, of course, still
disrespected the
gonna have that
wall,
judge in
the
their
smoke
own
in B
hands as
main.
well, right? They've been trying to
And
match
what is the
power
timing
for
of the jump
power
peak?
in the last 2
Okay.
rounds. Estrella, an early peek.
Okay.
Ooh. Trade in mid. So this is going to force RQ to have to refill mid a little bit. It's either that or just a hard 2-2 hold in the back of sight.
Bit of a nightmare though. That's like
Right
their
now,
main
both
util to
flashes
enable the
on
double
the B side,
duelists.
right? The paranoia and the guiding light
And
just
it would
prepared
be the
for a
thing
bit
that
of
kind
a
of finds
counter
this
trap.
trip.
You still have that trap wire as well.
Oh,
so
that
you have to
smoke
rely on
helps though.
that.
Just to be safe. Texture just setting up for the timing on the flick of it.
Yeah, I
There
think
goes
that
the
smoke was a
showstopper.
mistake.
It doesn't find Estrella. He actually wraps back around the left side of the pillar, finding Meteor as he tries to cross through. Munchkin now goes in for the
What an
swing. They're
ace.
trying to catch him around the wrap. And Elmimore along
A
with the
massive
jump will not
2-on-2
be
again.
able
Whoever
to do
wins
all
this
too much.
has to
2-on-2.
the other team has to
Karen
eco.
managed to make the plant. They have to set up for the crossfire inside of Garage.
Yeah, I really think that
This is gonna be a
Estrella
tough one,
kind of
especially with that
messed
smoke
up a
back
little
on
bit.
Evan.
It was like
Jump
one of
is
those situations where maybe they didn't talk
close,
about the
so
fact that
they'll
they
know his
killed
position.
the
Trying to buy time until Xfero can
this-
approach the site.
guy.
Maybe double satchel. Maybe try to throw Karen off somehow. Texture staying tucked away behind that little box. It might just give Gen.G a bit of an advantage. But
Oh,
my
the
God!
Oh, trying to use the satchel, the blast pack.
Yeah, nice round in the end. Yeah, so it's like once the Sky Dog goes in, it's hard for them to like the Sky Dog goes out, right, and then you have double duelists. So the only thing you want to, the only thing like the comp now does is pop like this. So doing this smoke gives them the space that they want to get close to pop, especially when the trip is like this as well. You can get in the smoke, they can break the trip, and then they can pop. And it's hard to
I think it rarely does.
it's hard in teams like when you
Rarely
kill
touch-
a certain
barely
agent to
touch
like
Karen in that
have all
So
of the
now
thoughts in your
RQ
head of
trying
like,
to
okay,
go
now
for
this team
early
can't do this, so I should
garage
be doing
control
that.
to
But that
give
smoke
Gen.G
really
that
helped them out. That was like the
showstopper.
perfect one for them to
Meanwhile,
pop.
Gen.G on the other side of the map.
Yeah, a little bit of a
Early
mistake. They're
pushes
really
in, trying to
considering
break
the
some of that utility.
the
So
agent they
Gen.G
killed.
getting a bit more active, knowing that they have the weapons advantage, trying to make sure that RQ cannot stay stacked up all on one side, knowing that it's an eco. They'll have done a good job of it so far. RQ now split apart, trying to hold close angles. Flips is the one kind of in trouble. He's not going to find much value if he backs off, but doesn't have much of a choice.
He's trying to work around his toxic screen at the very least. Trying to catch anyone if they do try to cross through. So
Okay,
Gen.G
mid's been cleared.
plays it safe, goes in from the Trailblazer, clears out the rafters. And here's RQ now trying to work their way through to heaven.
The
Gen.G
Omen
will
flash
be
over
able to
towards
start things
site's
off,
pretty
that early
good.
frag on the Stinger.
The
Still
Pharaoh
have
on
that
his
showstopper,
own.
so
Wait,
if
I
the
mean,
spike
honestly,
plant
their
starts
setups
to
are
go
incredible
through,
right
he
now.
might just be
Razor
able to
goes
keep
in,
it
guns on the
there it
floor.
is. Flips getting
Flips
double
gets
with
a
sheriff as
double.
well. It's all down to Munchkin
There
now.
is so
Caught
many
with the
guns to
Guardian.
pick up. Munchkin just needs to kill as
Will
many
not
as
fall,
possible.
not yet. It has to cross safely away.
Shot.
Another incredible flick onto Estrella.
20 seconds.
Spike still dropped down.
Should
Yeah,
still-
there's 20 seconds,
should still
so
go
they
for it and
do
try and
not
do
wanna bunch
damage.
up for this.
Jemkin.
Here's one right below him.
Munchkin continuing to peek against
Hey,
them.
what a sick round from RRQ.
But,
Stack
yeah,
pays off on this one.
Numbers will prevail. Xfero has the angle. It's
He
gonna be a
upgrades.
3-2 so far.
A great heroic hold. So Flips has to give up heaven a little bit.
This is
But
the
with
most
that,
pivotal
the
round
timing
so
is
far.
red. The smoke comes out from
Insane
Estrella
amounts
just
of
to buy
money.
A bit extra time on
Gen.G
heaven,
have
and
to
that
eco.
lets Jemkin deep in. Flips great shot
Oh
onto
my
Karen. Actually, a
God,
nice second one
dude.
as well.
It's
And with
some
that kill,
absolute
Jemkin gets the
shots on
showstopper.
sight.
All in all, it's really good. And during all of that, the guiding light had cleared mid as well. So you know it's not a pinch. You know it's just ramping A main. It's a good read off of the passive utility from RRQ.
Yeah, this I mean, Elmimore
was a
did
good
great
way
as
to
well.
try to sneak their way onto site. Still a little bit painful in the process. RQ now just trying to readjust. I mean, back to that 1-2-2 kind of hold, just to have a bit of an investment into this mid site.
So I
Problem with this is they didn't create enough pressure over towards middle. We constantly had vision in middle.
Off of mid.
So
That might be the call to go into B, knowing that it should be a weaker side on the B site.
They got hit by
It's
the
a nice
paranoia,
pop,
just
though.
waiting out the timing of it now. Meteor alongside this Blade Storm trying to get the shots through, but look at how Elmimore holds it down. The flashes this time, even with Estrella able to support, connecting on all of these shots. Now the last one, lucky
wait,
enough,
what?
able to get away with a little bit of victory, but at the same time, just Elmimore continuing to find every single kill. Now 3 points
Yeah,
away from
and
his
good
ultimate.
read again. I feel like Elmimore's doing great at just getting info. This one here as well just never blocked vision over towards the mid spot, so he was just constantly on top of
Rather
this.
than going for 1v1s around the pillar, just move as a unit to clear this
Yeah,
up.
not even the kills, just his like actual info gathering at the moment's been good.
Not being able to really push through mid has been a thorn in Gen.G's side. With the double duelists, either you got to go fast onto one of these sites, or you got to be able to really dig into vents, plant someone there, make sure that there's a lurk presence. And once again, they'll see if there's an opportunity.
Now trying to, go for this mid take. Flips, though, very, very much prepared on the other side. Tosses the snake bike down.
Not sure if Gen.G has enough repetition and solid info to
Okay,
know
what's
that
the reaction once they hear the dog? They re-smoke again, dog's gonna go up, do they just spam?
Again, the idea is just
All the
to put
mollies
some
are
pressure
used
onto
now.
vents and make the Cypher uncomfortable on the A side.
Okay. Now you got the Trailblazer. Yeah, they've managed to clear it out, so they know.
Skydog went over towards B main and only saw
not
one
vents, I hope.
in return. And
Gotta
here comes
watch
the
out for that
straight up
mail
split.
take. Mail holds. Guiding light goes through.
Three
Flips
people
falls
here.
back. At the same time, you've got a couple
Omen
players inside
backside.
the garage waiting for the go signal.
Great Omen
Estrella
flash. Now they
tosses
can
out
just
the Paranoia
focus on
just
heaven
to
for a
fend them
little bit.
off, but Meteor continues to push through.
Oh,
It's instant 3 kills
Karen,
from Gen.G,
even when blind, just
and they
went for
will
the
have the
TP,
site.
knowing that the angles should have been fine, or
utility
no
was
matter
so
what.
good from
I mean,
Gen.G on that
he knew the
one.
angles were going to be
So
fine
what
because the
they
only
did
spot he
was
could
they
be
used
seen
the
from
Trailblazer
was
to clear out the
covered by
close
his
smoke
teammates,
as
so
well.
towards heaven.
And that keeps RQ guessing. So Flips wants to peek out as the smoke dissipates, but then you've got a guiding light and then the Seekers to make sure that they push them in. And
Yeah, the
once they
three
push
players
them all
got
into the site,
annihilated,
the
yeah.
Paranoia absolutely
This was good.
engulfs
Shout out to Karen here
RQ.
still as well.
So
Just
sure, there's a counter Paranoia, but you've
full
allowed
good
them all to
understanding
enter
of
heaven
like
for free with
angles
no
and what's
audio.
covered.
It's a great setup, absolutely hurting them all into the center of B site.
And perfect positioning for Meteor to collect on those kills as well. Although it does look as
Bro,
though
they gotta-
RQ is
They
in
gotta
the
be
lead
doing
for the
damage
time
here.
being. Gen.G
Why are they
definitely
saving like
trying
this?
to
You
turn
got
things
5k.
around, trying to find different solutions to how they might regain control of this mid area.
Even just like one kill.
Given the pattern
Like
so
just
far
try and
for
cut off
Gen.G,
some of
though,
this.
split here on the map of split, I don't think they're going to be happy at all with anything like 4 rounds, maybe even 5. They've got the double duelists on the attacking side. You'd ideally want at least a
It would've
6-6 to feel a bit more
nice.
stable.
We got so much
Especially
money still.
because, listen, last time again for RQ against Team Secret, it was Elmimore that was an absolute weak link.
Their loss
But he's
bonus
looking
would
right comfortable here on
I
the
mean,
sky,
I guess
topping the board for RQ.
900s.
Being able to anchor the site alongside Estrella has been working out pretty well so far. Off of the initial round loss, timeout being called by Coach Ewok.
Wonder if there's going to be a change up in that mid hold, right? Overall, it was good for the early couple
Might
rounds.
just be more down to the fact that
But
they're
now
just
Gen.G's starting to
bursting
get a
pretty
read on
heavy
it, and
over
they're
towards
trying
them.
to corral RQ into uncomfortable positions, make them kind of fall into the trap plays. So even though they're on attack, Gen.G is able to situate themselves for these trap plays that you usually see those timings on a defensive side. So RQ's read, I don't know if Ewok's going to have the absolute all information that he needs, as he's only able to see his own player's screens on this one. But if he's able to get that timing read, what's the change up? Is there a bit of a push out onto Garage?
RQ
perhaps?
out.
Just
I
hold
mean,
on to
in
that,
terms
let them
of
take Nail for free,
in
and
terms
hold on
of
to A-Heaven at the same
Shanghai
time.
and playoffs,
There
yeah.
is that potential.
But again,
But like you
every game
mentioned
matters
before,
for
Will,
split 2.
It's
and
Gen.G
trying to
with
get
their
to
double
champs,
duelist
so
setup, and they need as many
be a
rounds
massive win
as
if they could get it.
possible. So wondering how they might change things up during this timeout as well. It's going to be an ace stack.
5-man stack here from Gen.G.
Whoa.
No showstopper on either side.
He's not on the suit.
Not getting
Yeah,
ready for
everyone's
that.
everyone's looking at
He
Tommy.
diving into blindly. Xpharaoh just on the site, has the trips as well.
Heaven and
Snake bites
back,
will fall.
back of
Viper's bit to block off mid is the call from
yeah, this is a
RQ.
free site right now.
Meteor bypasses most of the trips and traps.
And maybe they had
just
too
by
much heaven
updrafting.
focus.
And
And
RQ
maybe
has
too
to
much
make
mid
the
focus.
rotations over.
Okay, so RQ
Guy at middle
relied
tried
on
to
the
drop
pit.
the
They just
wall
wanna
to
hold
see if
on
there's
A-Heaven
anyone
so they can still
lurking
go
over
for the
towards
rotate.
middle that would try and take
Now
a
Screens
timing.
has been closed off
And
by the opponent's
fake
Viper
the fact
pit.
that they've
Oh, that's
rotated in. This is a
deadly.
dude. This has a gap
Pocket.
here as well.
Little
This, dude,
corner
this
now.
wall's so
And RQ wants
nice.
to try to retake
Oh,
ramp
no.
because screen has been blocked off. Jemkin able to spring
Yeah,
through.
Viper
catches
over towards
Texture. That
spawn,
pocket
so everyone has
been
to go here, and
eliminated.
Karen's gonna get wrecked by
Karen kind of
Flipsider.
takes his place though, just perched right up on
Oh.
top. Flips
Yeah.
has the angle though and spots him
And
on top of the Cyber
then
Cage.
a lot
so
of
that's
this
now
comes
numbers
down to
advantage
Lakia.
RQ. Can they still work their way through the
They
Viper's
just
pit,
got
though? They
melted.
just might be able to do
And
it.
RQ are
Gen.G
handling
taking down
this
Nokia
very,
from
very
Heaven.
well.
Meteor
They had a
trying to
lot
stay
of
tucked
small
away
little
inside the
micro
little
plays here
corner,
that were
but
very
Elmi
smart,
Moore
dudes.
crouches and sprays him down. Munchkin back inside of Elbow. Here's the defuse,
I
and he wants to
really
rush
want to
in,
just
but
highlight
it's way
just
too
like this is
oppressive.
a
The
great
suppressive
round
fire
by
will
them.
cut him
It's
down.
very, very
I
impressive.
love the
Just
call.
so
You
many
use your own
small
Viper's pit to
details.
shut off mid,
Like
and you just
this
say,
this
"Listen,
Viper
this time,
ult
don't
towards
leave
middle
Cypher
is great.
on
He
A
goes
side.
down
That
to
means
this
that we have to
angle.
commit to
He then
extra
drops
members to
the
bail
pit
him
just
out
in
if
case
it's
it's
an
like a
A-hit. So we
4-1
back off.
to
Sure,
see
they
if
have
there's
a
anyone
Viper's
taking
pit,
good
but
timing
if we
towards
get the
middle
building flank,
because
if we clear out
given
mid, if
the
we get
impression
serious,
that he's
if we
gone
have
to
A-heaven,
rotate
we
over
still have
towards
two angles.
vents.
This cyber cage
They
by
then,
makes
in
it look
reaction
like
to
there is no
obviously
extra
losing
flank
spawn
coming
and
in
not
from
being able to
Sewers. It
take
looks like it's
spawn,
just a
hold
ramp
over
push
towards
out.
ramp heavy,
Karen's not
and
quite
pretty much
ready
just
for it.
wait for
Flips
him
finds
to
the
then
angle
make
right
the
off that as
play,
well. Heard the shot
clear
step
it
earlier.
behind so they can
It's a
pinch
great
it, and then
retake
everyone
and a
on
good
site
setup,
is just
a good read
then
off of
having to
their
get
own
out of their
timeout from
own
RQ.
Viper
Now,
ult on
the
site
attacking
to
operator.
defend.
And this
And
is
then
where
they
you
pinch
know
because they
Gen.G's
still have
starting to
heaven
feel the
control.
pressure.
They like
All
always made
wars
sure that they
fought
could
and
pinch
won
right
with
here,
deception, and
and
RQ's
then
just doing a wonderful
it was
job
really,
at
really
that.
sick. One of the best
Gen.G wants
handlings
to get
of
serious,
this
but
I've
I don't
seen.
know if the operator will be enough. Estrella has been very careful around this pillar. Flips and Elmi more now. This is going to be a guiding light out. Doesn't find Lakia. Paint shells will push him further back too.
Let's see how much space that Meteor can create. He'll at least break one trip, but the thing is, the site's still free, cam's still open as well. And Meteor knows this. He knows that his job isn't done until this cam is broken.
He's trying to find it though, but can't. Not yet. Sphero in that little duel against Meteor stays very safe, stays very, very well hidden. And a lot of time has passed now, so what is Gen.G thinking? The transition over back to A site.
Oh, and I love this position from Gen.G.
Oh.
He correctly reads it. Oh, but he's
Whoa.
trying to escape.
Oh.
Okay, tries to play it a little extra safe.
All right.
Surprised
Wants to
with
see
this,
where
they
that track
don't
came
rotate
from.
one
So
out.
knows that
Elmi Moore
cameras
has
up
one more
around heaven, tries
flash.
to bypass most of the
Maybe he
trips.
could have used over
Tries
towards
to
B
catch
earlier.
time
Massive
on this.
Jewel
Right around
just
the edge.
saw
It's
him.
Sphero. These
Keep an eye on the
side
Raise
breaches have
luck.
been
20
such
seconds, they gotta send it
thorns
in
for
towards
Gen.G.
site.
Now they've lost their tip
Wanna
of
see the Raise
spear.
luck.
Texture
Ooh.
tries to throw them off with the paint shells, but can't
And
quite
I
catch
guess
the
he was
flick with
seen
the
before he
operator. Karen
through the
trying to
nade
hold
here.
down the site. But unfortunately, it's going to be that spike plant. RQ continuing
Dude, look
to
at the
press forward.
RQ util right now. They
Gen.G
look
stuck
great.
in, between a rock and a hard place. They're trying to eliminate that rock. They're trying to watch out for heaven. Able to deal with the first little pebble. Then you've got so much more. 3 players now, just right
Yeah,
around
and we're
the
seeing this
site,
wall. Every time the smoke comes out,
surrounding
they're
them.
just
Munchkin
able to
tries hold it
what
down
the?
too, but Lakia
They're just
with a
able
quick
to wall
fadeaway
this
shot
off.
catches
The
Flips.
2v4 on
Don't
site
have to
will
worry
be
too much about
huge
Elmo
if
any
they win
longer.
it.
He goes back in to check even more. 7 rounds left in the mag. Tries to go in for the burst. Xfero swings
Ooh.
wildly all the
For
way
the-
to the side, and it's going to
They're
be
good on the
Munchkin who's
retakes,
unable
man.
to
Their
track.
util's really nice. The only
RRQ
reason
double
Gen.G
their
are
score on top
making
of
some of
Gen.G.
these rounds look doable is because they have their own wall to
nice
delay
shots for
time
Evan,
for this
but
smoke
this
to
is all
go.
up to
They
Xfero.
didn't
He
have that,
knew
I swear.
that if they
RQ be
allow
running
themselves
over
to get
them.
into these 1v1 situations any longer, Gen.G's absolutely got the firepower. So you try to just pounce
I
on
don't know what I
Xfero,
missed
just
here. I
opens
don't know
up
if
his back,
texture
go
was
for the
seen
pinch onto
earlier
Lakia.
or something
It's a good
happened,
read.
but it
Got
was
the
weird.
Phantoms.
The first
Trying
bit
to
of
go for those
interaction I
wide
saw was
swings.
him throwing a nade.
He's able to get the defuse as
They
well.
must
That
have seen him
forces
or
a
something.
timeout out because now you've dropped
Or
the
his Cypher
operator.
ult, is that why?
And that's 2 tough round losses for Gen.G.
A lot of sense, okay,
On
yeah.
this attacking side,
Then
you know,
that makes
this is
a
what
lot
you
of
guys
sense.
have talked about. The double duelist composition favors, you know, a very explosive play style, favors explosive set plays, but they haven't been able to execute because RQ does such a good job at defending mid, at blocking off garage, or even tempering with that operator. They kind of had an idea that it could have come out thanks to the timeout from before, and then just to play back around the A side. Xfero did a wonderful job with the cameras.
Yeah, and in that previous round, so since we're on this timeout, what was so well done is Jemkin's on for a bit of a pick onto Meteor. He doesn't get it. The reason he backs off, I was wondering if he'll just spam it, but they had no information on mid as well, right? They left mid open for a little bit. And so since they were trying to see with their util on B, he backs off in case he gets pinched onto heaven. Of course, Xfero then gets the neural theft, so it's all fine and dandy. But Elmi Moore has been very patient with those guiding lights. Same thing with Estrella, with that paranoia. And until Gen.G can force these out nice and early from the B side, it's going to be tough. And look at this. Bit of a hard read from RQ off that timeout. They know mid's
Yeah,
been
we're
shut down.
sending
They know
it,
A's been
right?
shut down.
Hard B?
Then Sky Flash, if it hits, then you Omen Flash? Or are we doing off contact? Sky Flash hits, Omen Flash. Holy! Bro is spinning around, man. Even got the guy on the left. Ah, it's unlucky. This is a lovely round. Bro, they RRQ. I'm still gonna say it. RRQ are a step ahead. They really are. Especially after both of the timeouts. The timeout at was it 4-3 or something, and they had the Viper all rounds. That was beautiful. And this one, step ahead again.
2v1, but Munchkin, he should have heard where this is coming from. Yeah, so he's checking hell and heaven. Wants to see if he can get an early pick, but RQ, the back off is good. Trying to make sure that they stay grouped up.
You know, it's a 2-on-1. Why fight solo? So just allowing for Munchkin to... Oh, wait.
So if I'm Munchkin, yeah, I push all the way through, right? So, because unless they're grouped up, buddy, you try to find 1v1s. You got the time to go for the rotates. Oh, I mean, Flips, he's holding a good off angle, but
even though he did a bit of an overheat at the end, it was sick. It was a sick clip from him. We get his POV, right?
Good attempt,
he focuses the guy over towards the site. He kills the first two, and then kills the guy on the left.
It all starts with this little pinch in towards garage.
And then this guy's still not killed him. That's so sick.
Sacrifices everyone, including Jemkin, with that guiding light. And clears it up. He does overeat a little bit for that ace. Greeds a little bit for it. But at the end of the day,
it low buys alright. They got Razor.
7-3 now.
Dude, 3 with double duelist.
But the showstopper for Texture. So they don't want that early push. They're trying to make sure that if there was a showstopper push in, but the second line of attack can't approach on that A main. Nice sneak bite coming out from Flips.
Just controlling it so well. I mean, Gen.G has been blocked repeatedly all throughout this map. A map that they intentionally left open.
A weird wall for RRQ.
I mean, when you saw RRQ's last split against Team Secret, you think even if they work on it,
kind of sick. It does the same thing over towards middle, blocks A heaven, and you can flood into A site.
That pistol round and hasn't quite been there for a couple rounds now, so Gen.G will have to watch out for that. That allows RRQ after a certain timer to ditch mid like they are right now.
The one person send over towards B into the insta popper seekers, and all 3 of them go over towards B main. Oh my god, he's running at them. He's running at them. No man, you did so good with the ult.
Needing to back off.
Yeah, now you just have to hold for the retake.
Okay. Meteor goes down on the other side of the map.
Oh, chill, you did great.
Clears. Flips coming in with support from heaven.
Oh my god.
Sparrow uses the camera. Tries to get a kill through the cage, but instead goes for the spike.
They got Razor out of them.
Tries to buy a bit more time for the rest
Omen
of the team to
ult,
arrive
but they
on
don't
the
want to do an
site.
Omen ult because he's early over towards us.
Repositions back in towards spawn and gets the timing
I mean,
onto
this guy in
Munchkin.
B main
It's
gets
all
the kill.
down.
His Texture's going to take a gamble, and he's going to have to gamble that no one's B main.
So good because it's making him think it's just heaven. Yeah, you're really kind of open to this B main garage.
He goes to the best pos though.
He'll work with it.
Wait, hold up.
Jemkin will be the sacrificial lamb for the time being. Paranoia out.
Hold up.
Dodges it completely. Paint shells tossed through. Flips has to swing. He goes in for the blast pack play and tosses him off. Texture.
He's so good, man. He's actually so good. You cannot play that any better. The timing on the swing at spawn was a bit off. We'll say that much, but you can't play that much better, man.
If he doesn't get that kill, you gotta
yeah. RQ's gonna be a little bit annoyed, especially the fact they had that Omen flash. Probably could have done this a little bit better, but
so it's not a wraparound. So where's that last guy? Even able to dodge the paranoia. That's unfortunate.
Oh, the second blast pack.
Damn.
Yeah, the second blast pack to absolutely ensure it. Huge round, an absolutely needed win.
Yeah.
From Gen.G.
One of the only rounds that RRQ's misplayed though. They've been having a great half.
The spike planter. I don't mind it. It's a good call, but it's just not enough.
I mean, a Gen.G that actually needs heroics just to turn the map around. RQ is doing a phenomenal job at controlling the map. Texture is terrific, but how long can you keep that up? A 5-7 would be wonderful, but they look, you know, a little bit
Vision
desperate
block
to need it right
with
now.
dog and
Still trying to hold off across
yeah,
the
they
map,
keep
though,
doing
for
this
Trailblazer.
because normally most people
Yeah,
will try
just
and take a
flips.
timing once the dog
that
goes
gives
in,
you a
and the
bit of a
dog normally
better
goes all the way
idea,
to
right? 'Cause
vents.
usually
I love that they go
Viper
back
is
and
that
then
extra
jump
source
through into their
of
smoke
hold
to
in
make
mid
sure
for
that no one's
RRQ.
pushing back.
So Gen.G reads that.
It's
You see
pretty
the
cool.
Trailblazers come out as well. You've seen the one way from the
I think
omen.
most teams can
So they're going to go
benefit from doing
for
that because
A
there's no
push.
point
Now, here's
going
the thing
over
for
towards
RRQ.
vents. It
You've
doesn't
got
really matter.
Showstopper. So I
You
don't
want to
know
make
if
sure
you
that
really
they're
need to stick
not
around
clearing
here.
behind
You can't
your
just let the site
smoke.
get taken over.
Oh, he's gonna use the
Okay.
showstopper for this position instead.
Oh,
but
what?
Texture shot through the toxic screen right into Champion's face.
Who is this
How
guy,
does
man?
that happen? Now it's down to Xur alongside Astrea. The front of the shadows gives him a bit of space on the site, but Meteor, the rest of Gen.G, they
Yeah,
are
and it's
doing
just a
such a good
pivot,
job at
and
holding it,
Flipside
and at
has
the
to kill
same
everyone.
time, rotations, quick
Good luck, man. You got to get
rotations
3.
into B.
Oh.
Flips, although I think he's not quite checked. Munchkin turns around at the
There's
right
a satchel
time. 10 seconds
passive, an
left, the
omen
spike goes
TP,
down.
and then the guy
Vipers
checks.
hit the block out defender
Come on,
spawn.
man. Too much.
Oh, it just all falls apart.
Dude, look at the
I
spread on
mean,
this Viper roll.
That
What
showstopper was meant to buy so much time, but now they just walk right into their death in the
the
pit.
great recovery from them.
And Gen.G
I
in some
don't know what
miraculous
texture's on,
fashion
man.
After a great timeout
I don't even understand
from
how he
Coach
gets this
Solo,
kill.
They'll stabilize to a 5-7. Anybody's game here on map 3.
Just completely recovered, and they're looking hot. Magical timeout for Gen.G, and it puts Texture into a flow
Ah,
state.
dude,
The rest
it's
of
a
the
shame for
team
RRQ.
getting a good
Really,
play,
really
good
good
read
half, and then
onto
the
this hit in the
1v3
final
they
round of the
messed
first
up,
half as well.
and then it turned
RRQ
into
are
this.
the ones on the attack next. Slightly more balanced composition, but how do
Because
they
they were
make
doing
that work?
so much
How
good
does
stuff.
RRQ play the attack against Gen.G's defense?
I mean, Xfero's got
The
to
Viper pit there, yeah, dude, that
He's
was
got to be able to
nuts.
put a lot of pressure on that A side. And they've got to be able to capitalize on it, right? Sometimes going with him, sometimes going away. Got fans asking for the Riot Gun Buddy. I don't know if Jake Sin is here today, but Riot Jaker did say if you find him in the arena, you'll get a Gun Buddy.
If you find him in the arena.
Yeah, it's a little treasure hunt, you know. You see here at VCT Pacific, we've got like merch. We've got the team capsules
Teams get points for
outside, we've got
qualifying to
treasure hunts for
playoffs?
Riot Jaker,
No.
we've got great
The only people that
matches,
get
we got
points for like
everything.
qualifying is the people that come first of their group. They get an extra
Still,
point
I
because
mean,
they get a
the
bye in the
great
first
matches
round.
are the thing to focus on right now.
The first of your
Battle for
group gets an extra
championship
point, but
points.
that's just because you get a bye in playoff. But you get
RRQ.
points for winning games in playoffs.
Really keeping things interesting. I mean, Gen.G probably don't want to show too many of their cards for playoffs either, but this is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, sure, your seed is locked in, but a loss, the very first loss to RRQ, that would sting a bit. But like you said, they don't want to show too much ahead
Wait,
of
that was you
playoffs.
on stream?
They're only one match away
See if you get the Riot
from
Buddy, bro.
Masters Shanghai being in that bye round as that first seed of Group Alpha.
Okay. Start things off slow and steady. Firing off a couple of warning shots.
Paranoia
RRQ,
setup.
yeah, playing for it to go for that ramp control.
Oh, and they're gonna realize that, okay, we can just creep in using the toxic screen, just time it around the spam, cut the audio. So now you save the Paranoia as well. It's a good position for RRQ.
Texture trying to jump spot against them. Now he knows. Has to back off though. Munchkin could potentially come up around the ropes.
Okay, so Heaven's empty. So RRQ has to be wary of this, right? Okay, where do you
Yeah,
back
Munchkin-
off into? The Raze
see, Munchkin's
backed off,
reaction
but
isn't
does
great
that mean
right
there's
now.
Someone in vent. It's
Not
a
gonna
double
lie.
drop down. It's a good snake bite.
Okay.
Yeah,
But he,
at
dude,
this
he
time too.
still had to
Shaves
take a
couple
risk of not
seconds
being
off the
shot
clock.
over towards the
RRQ
middle here.
Thinking to double back into A.
He got a
Just as
little
they
bit
do
lucky that this
Karen's
person wasn't
right
here.
around the corner.
Yeah.
Flips the guy.
Too much talking.
I think
Too much
attacks
talking in
him.
the past
that
month.
actually works out great for RRQ because it forces the two members of Gen.G to stay on B.
Oh, there it
What
is.
a shot.
And with the
Huge
distraction bought away,
Okay,
Jet
Tex is
can
going to
now
kill
pushes
everyone.
into pressure.
Oh, yeah, he's so
Texture
good
has
with
to
a
come
pistol,
huge
though.
with these
Maybe.
kills.
Maybe.
Karen's
Just because it's
down.
him, we'll give him a chance.
Texture feels the paint shells.
Ah,
trying to
but
hide back
you
away.
see in
Still
the
able
extra
to land the
movements that he
second
does, he's
headshot.
so
Only
smart.
more
He
will
only
to get
stands
down,
still
though.
when he's ready
Numbers
to
advantage
actually
on the
shoot
side
his
of
shot.
RRQ until
His
Munchkin
movement
fires
is
right back with a classic as he
might be some of the
drops.
best.
Spike will be
Might be the
planted.
best,
Block
to be
there,
honest. But
rotating over, but Flips still sneaky as ever. Going in sneaky.
it reminds me of
like
Les,
he's going
man.
through screens. They're
Him
trying
and
to
Les
double
probably
back.
sidestep
Takes
the
to top
most
head.
during
Spotting out
during
Munchkin now.
duels.
Elmore fires off a couple more shots. Lakia gets the frag. And now Flips just in an
Huge
undiscovered
start, man.
position.
Huge.
Good hold from Flips. Like you said, he's considering, do I wrap around or not? But it's a 2v2. You're not quite sure where Lockio is.
I mean, they're on
It's a
for
good call to
this.
stay
They really
patient.
are. Double
Elmimore
pistol.
kind of gets caught off guard by that toxic screen timing. He stays true to his aim, dwindles it down to a 1v1. I mean, this is a great holds from Texture, but Jemkin understanding that he just needs to be the bulldozer for RQ at that point on the entry.
Let's go.
It's a huge pistol round, now picking up both here on split. They can continue to convert it. Look at the buys coming in from RQ. Two Vandals, one Phantom as well.
Oh, man.
They want to try to really expand this lead.
Just getting it in and making sure that Gen.G does not come back up against them. Even if they do take a round or two, that's the most they can hope for. Especially on this defensive side. I mean, Gen.G is spread thin across the map right now on the pistols. Meteor.
Yeah, Gen.G's default, of course, kind of sticking around mid, trying to make sure that they can flood a site with the weaker weaponry. Meteor's just going to reposition since they see the poison cloud drop down onto B. Make sure you have that long-range weaponry.
RRQ off of those little shots, thinking to route back towards mid?
There.
I mean, I think RQ just want to thin the numbers, right? You hear the classic over on B, but you're not quite sure. Is that the anchor or is that the majority? Because usually it's going to be a bit of a 1-4 split, something like that when you're on the eco. So now that they've seen one in mid, they've seen one in B, they say, okay, if we can regroup A, it should be safer. And Gen.G's going to make the call as well. All right, you've pressured B, you've pressured mid. Yeah, it's just a flow chart. This is a
30
group
seconds
up on A.
is straight group up.
Along with the snake bite at the right time.
And
20 seconds
the
left
Viper is
for
really
RQ now.
disattached.
They're kinda
Oh
stuck.
no, they're
They
so
do have the
done.
firepower though, so just looking
They're
to
so
barrel through
done,
now,
right?
walking past the smokes.
Wait, no one gets any
The
kills with the
entire
Omen kill?
wall of
Wait,
smokes
no one got
allowing
any
the
kills
snake
with the
onto
Omen
site.
flash? He
Good
wrecked
shots,
them.
though. Karen will be able to fight back for the time being. Meteor fires off the
Even in
Marshal as
time.
well. Picks up over onto the Spectre, now
That's
trying
the
to
spike.
put pressure in. 8 seconds left, and Meteor plays up around the side of elbow. They've got it covered. It's got the smoke
Holy.
in. It lives alongside Elmimore.
Yeah,
the
I
teamwork from
don't know,
RQ
man. I think
will
Gen.G
give
could have won
them a
this.
2-on-1.
Maybe Gen.G
So
should have
while they
won
win
this.
the round, RQ's got to realize, holy, how
Holy,
did
we
Gen.G
just got so
know
lucky.
exactly
That's what they're gonna
where to
think.
stack, and the timings as well. All utility saved over. Gen.G didn't spend a thing, and they start
When you watch
using
Scrims
it
and
because
Val,
they're
were you
like, oh,
watching
looking at the
Spectator
timer,
or Coach
we
for
might
you?
actually
Nah,
be able to
Coach for
sneak
you.
away a Thrifty
I
here.
mean,
And
the
they
majority,
really do. I
like
mean,
the first year that I was
listen,
coaching, there was
Lockie was able
no.
to get away with that
That was
Phantom.
mental, by the way.
This is
The first year of
absolutely
coaching, there
Gen.G's
was no
round, but it's a
coach mode, so you had to go
straight back
spectator
from
mode.
Estrella.
So when I would spend
And they'll
hours and hours
stabilize
doing a
the
lineup,
two Vandals.
the people
That's all they
we used
get.
to literally say no
Stinger also
coaches.
bought
We used to
back
have no one in the thing because I was
3
so bored of
weapons.
people stealing my stuff.
They're also looking
We used
at
to
a
just ban
9-5
coaches.
scoreline.
Just because
RRQ
you would
trying
just
to
play
switch
a
up the
game against
pacing.
people and then they would start
But the
stealing all your
snake
stuff.
bite catches a Munchkin
It
a
was
little bit more
mental, man. The
prepared.
first year we had nothing. So we would just do like you just
Potential
one of your
D-split
players
coming
streams.
through now. Munchkin still
But
eyeing the
yeah,
top.
you were coach mode after.
Elmimore will be able to take him down. Texture trying to fight back, but Flips gets the timing swing onto Karen. Poison
Spike's
Cloud
not here yet.
reposition. Yeah, Spike not there yet. But they do at least have positions held. Meteor tries to break the placements,
Wait,
but
hold up.
Elmimore is just
Bonus
so
as well.
sharp to
Bro,
track
he's playing
through.
incredible
Seekers
right now, by the way.
Goes on a little bit
He's
of
got
a trip,
some
so
multi
they don't
kills.
quite know,
Look at him.
but at the very
Wide
least,
swing on
Trailblazer
top
will
of
be
it.
able to find him. Elmimore re-peaks, and it's RRQ once more, doubling Gen.G's score. First team to reach double digits on this split.
Why save your ultimate when you can just start to restock it right away?
Oh.
Elmimore sends that Seekers 20 and 11. An absolute 180 from the last showing against Team Secret.
It has just dawned upon me, Will.
The most
I mean, not
ungrateful
only do you
jobs? Nah,
have
man.
these
That's
top fraggers
like
coming
observing
through,
and
the
stuff, dude.
kills, Jemkin as well.
Both of my jobs have been a bit like that.
It's RRQ getting the bonus. Gen.G looking at a 5-round deficit, potentially 6 rounds.
Yeah, it's looking tough.
But observing's
They're gonna
worse,
have to
man. You
stick
never
with
get
broken weapons
any.
right now. And RRQ,
Observing, you never
I
get
mean,
any
they
credit.
look ready
People
for it.
only
The
just
fact
get
that,
angry at
again,
you.
It's happened on Ascent, but Elmimore, he's ready for someone to peek out of the smoke again.
Kind of like that with
on
coaching, I
Spears.
guess,
That
because when you
makes
win,
all the
you take
difference.
when you win, the
Paper
players
Thin said on the desk, it's the
take,
little things, and it absolutely
and
is.
this is the way it should be,
Making
though.
sure
I'm not
that you're not
complaining.
entirely
Like when you
discounting
lose, you
things.
should be taking the
Don't
blame,
work
and
off
when
of
you win, you
assumptions.
just
Maybe
highlight
the
the
spike was
players.
late.
You
Wait
want,
to
like
see
they're the
if
ones that need to have
Gen.G,
the
they like
confidence.
flood. There's going to be someone outside of that smoke. It's a good call from Elmimore and crew.
This is a nice clear from Gen.G though early. Bit of pressure over towards A, gets cleared nice and fast. Are they going to disrespect the wall? Yeah, they are. They might be able to get a heavy rotate in time. Let's see. 50 seconds. They're at least going to have 3 here. Do these 2 at least get towards middle to cover them? Yeah, I mean, Gen.G with the stacks at the moment, they're doing great. As soon as there's a bit of pressure created, they're clearing it.
Allowing Gen.G to get a read on the flowchart.
Black here with the flash, send. Do they expect one here? Meteor. What are you doing?
They've got enough numbers that they can dodge these flashes or play anti. On the other hand, though, again, the weaponry on the other side just not the greatest. Trying to re-peek out. Munchkin, unfortunately,
15
will
seconds.
bite the dust. It's going to be up to Meteor now. Still continuing to fire through. Texture able to fire back. Jemkin falling down to the ground. Xpharaoh now tries to go out the other
Absolute
side,
shot. I don't know if he knew that he didn't have to go for the headshot, but he gets the headshot either way. Shout out to the 2 over towards A. Insta clear. Really, really sick. Stack actually works, and honestly, I think the stack should have worked on this round as well.
And this is RRQ just spending a bit too much time. I mean, listen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it feels like Gen.G have a good read into how late they like to play their anti-ecos. Like they like to fake pressure map control to send.
But man, just no information on exactly what the setup is, and allows Gen.G to creep into the smoke. They don't clear it out fast enough.
Really unfortunate for Xpharaoh. And the rest of the team as well. Just a moment's hesitation again, but this time going in fast and quick. Texture fires right back.
Trade for trade. Omen all rotate goes in. He's not going to stick that because they could just go through vents.
But Gen.G, they've got the site covered.
A little bit of a ball play, but maybe the Omen will have something to do with it. I'm not sure.
The site once again.
Munchkin just watching the other side. Texture's still online though, and now he gets all the information.
So footsteps heard. Yeah, Meteor knows this.
Just try to walk through. Shrouded steps, bit of a fake. And Munchkin's just continuing to mark this angle. Gets the 1 and he immediately backs out. Incredibly smart.
Okay, nicely done on this.
Well.
He was a little bit worried when he actually started to get out of there, but that's huge from him.
Acidity stings.
Rough one there.
Yeah, 2 people that can't buy, so
want to make both of their positions
see if these guns stay.
Estrella kind of dropping down. A good showstopper trade from Texture. And I think he considered, do I cut off the second line of attack? And he just says, you know what? No, no one else has actually made it through. Clears out the raise that's already planted in the site. That makes it for a good hold from Gen.G. So RQ, they tried to send it. They tried to up the tempo with the showstopper. That hasn't worked. And now the ops come online for Texture. Do they read the timing on it? Yes, they do. Goes for a wide swing.
With that, they get Garage. Potentially looking to over on the B side as well. Trailblazer initially out just to
Viper smoke missed.
Or at least push Texture back.
Viper smoke missed, so they could just duel over towards heaven the whole time. There's a lot of people here.
Still though, RRQ, Estrella managing to get up top on top of Raptors.
Wait, did he double TP smoke into his smoke and then into vents? Oh, dude, I love this play. Play is like rarely comes out. You smoke here, TP, TP.
Alongside Meteor, the Blade Storm gets pulled. Even numbers, even odds for both sides.
2v2. Look at Meteor's read. On the holdout from Xpharaoh.
Oh, that's a
Xpharaoh
kill.
doesn't have a read on this. Oh, the misses though.
He whiffed. Swaps over on the Classic, but he doesn't have anything else. And that's going to be
water round from the Omen, by the way. Smokes here, because we use the Viper smoke for Heaven, so in theory, Heaven's covered. TP's into the smoke, and then TP's on top of the rafters.
Yeah, we've never seen
it's such an
like
old
that
school
Meteor,
strat.
frankly. I mean, he's been out-dueled, but not like that. And I believe Estrella pulled the 10s here a little bit. Double shroud step upwards. Couple other
that was
members
really,
of
really
EVA
cool.
loving that as well. But it works out to perfection. Helps open up those angles. Now, RRQ 1 point away from match point. So the past couple rounds, they
The
tried
cars
to go,
there at
okay,
spawn,
just
dude.
deadball it, right? Gen.G's always gonna go for the
that one's
split,
not
then
even
rotate
my
off of
fault.
that first contact.
The guy's not looking at him.
Now, after that, up in the tempo, they'll go for a slow default.
I don't even know how that even happens.
Just trying to test the waters. Trying to push and pull Gen.G across the map, and Gen.G's default now. giving them a little bit more space to work with. They have spotted some of
What, he
these
was down
players out,
Vance?
but Elmimore makes it a quick trade. Quick movements back in, though. And look at how Munchkin doubles back.
Marking the trades. Yeah, no omen, though, for RRQ. That's a bit rough. So, I mean,
man,
still have
timing
potential.
here.
I would love to see Xfero just
Great.
move a bit more on the A side, try to pressure that toxic screen. But they're not in position to do it, and now no smokes at all.
It's not quite decisive, not enough impactful
Oh, no,
presence
man.
across the map.
Lucky
so
wanted to flash middle and
Gen.G
his
continues to just hold steadfast
Sky
in
Flash
all
got
these
stuck in
spots.
Vents.
Karen walks away with yet another kill. Because of that, numbers
They would have
advantage on
given
the
him
side of
info.
Gen.G, even if
I think they had just turned around the corner.
Through mailroom right now,
You
they're
go for the
walking
3-pass
in
and stack. It's the right call either way.
to players who are prepared. Oh, Meteor backs
Oh,
off.
why do I
bit of
talk,
a
man? What even is
early
this
rotation.
today?
Yeah, I mean, they find nothing over by
Karen?
B. So it's just going to be an over-rotation
No,
from
man.
He's not
Gen.G.
going to know.
10 seconds left.
Oh,
But they have no idea either. They think the site might be empty. Now a 2v3. Does he get the timing? He does!
God, I
but
thought he was
Meteor's
going to
right
get the
there with
other
the trade.
17 HP.
At the same time, you've got Lakia just the top.
Elmimore's
Meteor
been
off of
great,
his
but this
health.
one's
2-on-1 where
probably
Elmimore's
too
down
much.
in
It's
the
a
red.
good reposition from him.
Now gets his screen full white.
Actually a
They know
great
that he's
reposition
right around
from
the
him.
corner. Goes in for the check, but he crouches, head a little
Oh my
bit
God.
off. Tries to go
Five.
for the spray
Oh my
transfer,
God.
almost narrowly
It's 5.
whiffs Meteor's head
That's
by
so
an
unlucky.
inch.
Yeah, that's the wall shot, I think.
Hey, that was
Only
such a
5
nice try,
HP
man.
for Meteor.
Oh,
That is rough. Absolutely had it.
Forces keeping Gen.G in the game.
Yeah, that top off. That's really what does it. I mean, Karon, very crucial kills here.
10초 남았습니다.
Don't quite check this pillar. Maybe a bit of a mistiming there from Elmimore and Jemkin. Yeah, but Meteor even knows, like, woof, barely got away with the skin of my teeth. But look at this. Ult's online. Seekers in
Ult's
front of the
online.
shadows as
It's a
well for
low
straight up.
buy.
This could
Econ will
be
get so
an
wrecked for
absolute
that
watch,
last
a little bit of a
round.
shake-up with the default, then follow the Seekers in from RRQ.
Not quite sure if they're going to be able to pull that off. Again, though, I mean, looking at the firepower and looking at how close they are to closing out this map, Gen.G fighting with the fire right now. They've spotted out these players as they try to cross in through a ramp. So the smokes will be called out from Karen.
Wait. God Dog's going to clear all of
Trailblazer
sight.
to check as well.
They're just going to send it.
Okay.
Especially when you hit this
Oh,
dog
he's
over
gonna get
towards
spammed
heaven.
out.
Go on, send it.
It's okay for
Yeah,
now.
there we go.
Oh,
Wait. This
being
this
healed
this
by
round at the
Elmimore. Now
moment.
looking for some of these sharp sheriff shots. It's not quite going to happen. Lakia and Texture
Flash
locking
goes over
things
towards
down.
site as well.
Both
Does he take the
mid
timing
and
with this
ramp
now as well?
denied.
He's so worried about
That's
spawn.
rough.
Oh my god.
Tried to just kind of creep
But
up.
still sneaking through.
Yeah, get ready for
Yeah, what's the
ults, but
timing
this
on
is
the
huge.
spawn
Xfero
reclear?
and flips. If Xfero can find a kill, but yeah, Xfero's gonna
It's
show.
unlucky.
Just wanted to make sure he
It's
kept his
unlucky,
eyes on
yeah.
elbow. Too many
There was a
angles to
chance.
cover.
I
And
think he
the
could have been a little
range
bit more
shows
bold
doesn't
of what
work
was
out
going on
from
over towards
ramp to
heaven. I don't know what the
screens
comments were
with
like,
these
but
weapons.
30
No.
seconds left.
Very unfortunate for Xfero as he had to mark these angles, watching elbow as well.
good
Down
news for
to
Gen.G
Australia,
is
and
like their
Gen.G
money was
look to
pretty
make
low up
this
until this point. They got
into
one
a
armory buy, and now
flawless
they're
round.
good.
Slowly but surely climbing back up. I've never said that for Gen.G in this year.
Yeah, they've usually been the dominant force, maybe getting challenged here and there, but they've always had the endurance to try to close things out.
This goes here.
This is a close one. And RRQ, they've lost so many maps. 11-13. So many map threes. 11-13 to Gen.G. You have to imagine that in the back of their mind, this is starting to creep up on them. That we have to get over this hump. We have to get to match point. And the big question is can they keep calm enough to do exactly that? Rifles bought back. It's a good
Ooh.
pickoff. A good read against the push out. Immediate Seekers, I love the up in tempo.
Seekers hits 2 though, and look at this over towards B. It is all on Munchkin. And that is the rounds.
And
They can get an
manages to open
early
things
good
up. The
plant.
spike now gets planted. Gen.G has to wonder about
Oak
their
on
backs.
site.
Yeah, an absolute
Double
hard
molly.
setup from RRQ. They
gotta go
meant
faster,
for
though.
Yeah, they
RRQ
could maybe
to
go
be
fast.
the
Dog
absolute
out.
fake.
Flash
Oh,
smoke spike.
Okay, a bit of a crossfire setup on the site itself. Meanwhile, Xfero alongside Elmimore slowly
Ollie's
but
delaying
surely
no matter
making
what.
their way, crawling all up through. Xfero has regrouped with flips, so this is better firepower. They spotted out Texture, good dig, but Texture swings back and gets a headshot anyway.
Oh,
Gen.G
the flash.
transfer gets a bit of a double.
No, the
Then it's
flash.
out to Karen.
Shot, man.
Flips.
Clean
Just a
shot.
sidestep one
It's a
tap.
nice round from RRQ
Very,
though.
very
Dude,
clean
they
shot.
look
And
good on
finally,
this map, by
RRQ.
the way.
Those set
Been doing some
themselves
great
up
stuff. Double
for, at
pistols
the
helped
very
them out,
least,
but
overtime. You gotta imagine that's a huge burden off their back. And now it's just up to them to close it out.
Oh my god.
An absolute fake. I mean, intended from the very get-go, right? Spike was always on that B side. And as soon as they get that
the
kill, it's just a straight
NRG
secret as
game,
well to
yes,
really hard sell it. It's a
the
good
editor
one, 'cause
is
it
going to
would've been
do
a
a
good round
highlight
to
version of
Deathball as
that.
well.
I
Contingent
don't
on
know
Gen.G getting
when
the
it's
kill
going to
too,
be out
Gen.G
though.
definitely delivers.
It should be at some point
Unbelievable.
today.
I mean, we talk about it being a chess match, but some of these players having the mechanical skill to make it happen too.
Okay,
Now Gen.G
3
just back
chances on this
to
one, and
trying to
these
defend
rounds
and trying
are
to
looking
control
good. We
as
get a
much
full
as
buy out no
possible.
matter
They've
what.
got
We're missing a
these rifles,
little bit of Util.
But RQ has
Not too
even
much
more
though.
ultimates.
Skydog,
I mean,
I
Gen.G
think, unless I
might
missed
just
it,
be
unless I
able
missed
to
it early.
crack a side open.
RRQ trying to get the read that the B site's generally been weaker as well.
They go
but
for a mid
again,
punish
Gen.G,
right now. If they
they're just
did decide to
holding A
just
from
send it
heaven.
over
They've
towards
already
B,
ditched
it's
this.
pretty
They're gonna
good.
make sure
It would
that
all be
mid is
about the
absolutely
timing of
clear.
Karen's Omen flash to just make sure that his team
Paranoia
can go
should
in and
buy
help
him
him, especially
time.
as they just cleared middle now.
Can find the
So
kills,
Omen
that'll
flash
be even
goes
better.
in, does hit too.
Estrella.
Or
Tries to
gets
get
cancelled or
information.
shot back
There's the
aside, I'm
showstopper
not
just to
sure.
collect on the kill.
That is an
Ooh,
absolute play,
he
man.
evades it. A bit of a trade comes through.
He did great though,
That
he
said,
enabled his
still,
team to get out there.
good
There's
shot from
3
Jemkin,
people
and
here
they
to
have
flood.
the
They know this guy's
side.
back
Look at the
aside.
map, yeah.
Wait,
Xfero's dug deep, and Jemkin's still on B as well.
What?
wait.
They could go back
Okay,
at
yeah,
any
the
point.
comms have come in. Dude, the comms have come in. Like, this guy's back aside, remember? What
Oh.
the hell is this round?
Just
There's
buys
a
bit of,
duel in spawn,
attention
both
and time
spawns.
away. Estrella continuing to collect through with this, the
He has
rest
no
of the team.
idea. The
Dude,
thing is,
it's
they
like they
have no
forgot
idea
about
the
him,
luck
or
is already
Karen's
in the
comms
line.
didn't come in.
They
Lovely
think they've already
shot.
cut off all the backup.
15 seconds.
No.
Where is the
Xfero
spike
drops.
going?
Hasn't been able to collect
Oh,
on these kills
no,
just
not
yet,
the
so
melons.
They will be able to
Not the
recall
melons.
in towards Jemkin, but with 9 seconds left,
Not the
it's going to be
melons.
tight. Jemkin has to hold
It's
for these
so
rotates.
close.
That
I think they just
Yeah, I
have
think
it.
He should have it in time.
Oh,
No!
no. Oh
Just
my
barely
god.
by, like,
Just
0.1
melons.
seconds.
Oh,
After
man.
7 seconds
It was
left,
so close.
That is...
What
oh,
a
you gotta be
round.
heartbroken if you're
What a
RRQ. They
wild,
still
wild
have another
round.
shot.
No
Two
joke,
more
at the
shots
same
indeed,
time we had
but-
a duel in both of the
I
spawns.
mean, they had options.
Oh, this
This
Kara.
move was cool, yeah. And then they forgot about the guy
That thing
back
stays
side,
alive
even
there.
though the
Sure,
comms,
Jemkin
I
still
imagine,
cleans it
came
up.
in.
But Lockyer with the
And then
early
they started
rotate,
seeing pings when
that
they got
was
to
big.
here. And this guy's back
Yeah.
aside, wondering why
Just
guys run
the
through B
stuff
main.
that Gen.G throws
And these
out
two have
into
run
the
off,
server
not
is
going for him.
incredible, but I really
That
hate to
was
say it, but
that was
Xfero on these
madness.
lurks
That
has
was sick
not
to
been
watch.
able to give us
It
the
wasn't
presence that we're
great, but
looking
it was
for.
sick to watch.
So it gives Gen.G one more round. 2 is needed for overtime.
So Xfero, the thing is you're waiting for Gen.G to over-rotate. I think RRQ, they're trying to get the read that Gen.G still sticks to the over-rotating meta that they've developed. So what Xfero's really there for is the last line of resort, right? Once you force the over-rotate, then he'll clear the site. They're not expecting Xfero to single-handedly open it up like some of the ciphers have done in the past. I'm fine with that strategically, but one of these rounds, you got to go for the earlier peaks like you are right now. You got to put a little bit extra pressure so that change finally comes through. But until now,
There's the over-rotation.
yeah, I get what RRQ was trying to do.
Forces Gen.G
40
to
seconds.
invest
Honestly,
resources
they're
into
picking
this site,
they're
and
picking the
RRQ
right site at the
could
moment.
actually overwhelm this B site hit right now.
And
Flips
big duel at
waiting
B
for the
main.
flash,
Whoa,
goes
whoa,
in for
whoa.
the
Backside
peek.
has to kill too.
Inside of his poison cloud, actually, he manages to make it work. Now Jemkin arrives
Oh
on
boy,
the crime scene.
that should be
That's
it.
Homicide
Molly
against
goes in.
Karen.
Meech
The
is going
rest
for
of
a
the team
hero
now
play.
from Gen.G
Dude, look at
arriving
this guy.
A little bit late, and Elmimore has the off angle.
Ah, it's
There's the
so,
next player
so done. There's a guy in
13
spawn.
seconds and the spike gets planted.
Viper ult
Elmimore
down.
looking for the
This
next
guy's
one, and this
getting
could
flashed
be
as
it.
well.
This could be
Yeah,
over
there
for
we go.
Gen.G. Xfero from the
Damn
back.
impressive,
Elmimore
dude. Impressive. Their actual
with the
split
swing, the
overall
reads,
looked
the
really
breath
good.
work,
They had a lot of
the
cool
set
stuff.
plays, and
A lot of cool
RRQ
stuff.
makes it a flawless round just to end it off.
What a meaningful victory for RQ.
Yeah, yeah, and
Unfortunately for them,
it doesn't
they
help
won't be
them
able
in
to make
terms
it
of
into
playoffs, but it
they
does help
finally,
them for champs.
Finally get over the mental block that has been Gen.G all throughout VCT Pacific. Gen.G kept them from even having a vision of going to Masters Madrid, and now the answer back
Because of the weird groups,
RRQ.
like they're
Make sure that people remember that
they're
they
technically
will be feared
sixth.
in stage 2.
Like if you put all the
This is a
groups
team
together,
that you
which
want
would
to
happen
keep your
after
eyes on. They've
Shanghai,
always
they're
been
sixth.
improving. They've always been doing so much work.
So it is
Sometimes
a big,
coming up a
it's
little
a
bit
big
short,
game for
but
them.
Otherwise, this proves different. I mean, you're looking at the players, you're looking at the calls and the reads and how they move across the map. Sure, sometimes it's not always perfect, but Jemkin and Elmimore have definitely shown a lot more today.
Yeah, very, very good showings, especially from Elmimore on that Sky. That was a big question mark.
Yeah, and I think it's a
After
good,
that split showing,
a good
really
way
good
to
stuff.
end this split
Estrella
for them as
also
well.
finally
Like
getting
they're
a
still
bit
pretty
more
decent on the
consistent, I think, towards
table.
the end there.
They get a big win
Obviously, Estrella
over one of the
having,
better teams in the
some good
region.
relationships with
I think they
some of
should
the
be,
players on Gen.G as
pretty
well.
happy.
But overall, an absolute meaningful way to wrap up the regular split of Stage 1 here for RRQ, getting over their mental block rivals of Gen.G.
And I mean, hopefully they'll be able to do that much more inside of Stage 2, but at the very least, for Gen.G, you know, still in towards playoffs, they look a little bit rocky right now. What does that mean? I'll toss it over to our desk to tell us why.
A
Yeah, I
meaningful
can show
victory
as well.
indeed for RRQ, finally overcoming that shadow that's always been over their shoulders.
So,
that is Gen.G.
The people that are just like, where on earth is, like, what on earth is going on? Where is everything? This is pretty much it. Sorry if you wanted to see the replay stuff. Maybe I can make it smaller.
Until this day.
There you go.
No, truly an awesome moment for RRQ and their fans. This has
So-
been the team that has time and time again
These are the
thwarted
three
your hopes
teams.
of
PaperX
getting to
play
playoffs,
Talon.
getting into
Team Secret play
international
T1.
events. But this time
But
around,
like
you're at least able
this
to do
means
some
that they are
damage to 'em.
technically above
You know,
T1 in
certainly
the
it's gonna be in
overall
Gen.G's mind.
standings,
Certainly
and it's
even
not
with that
champs
number one
points,
seed,
but
they're
that
not
only
gonna be happy with
champs
this
points only
performance.
matters
So
for fourth
maybe you could
place,
be the team
right? To get
that
into
sent Gen.G spiraling,
playoffs,
keep 'em from
it's the
Shanghai.
top 6 of
Yeah,
one
it's
when
really big
these
as well
groups
because
combine.
They got very close many times, right? Like
And
so
then
many
at the end of
2-1s,
all the
and then this
playoffs,
is
then the
finally
fourth
time they do it. It
fourth
feels
spot
like
that
they
goes to
finally
champs is
have
champs
proven
points.
themselves in a
So
weird way,
actually
right?
getting
Like
this
they
win and
always
being
had
in
this
the
thing in the back
6th
of their mind,
spot
like,
for
oh, we
RRQ is
get so
decent.
close, we're a
They're in a
great team,
they're in a
we
good
have the
place.
ability.
At the
A lot of
moment,
us,
if it was
talents
playoffs
as well,
qualifiers,
we believed in this
and
team.
somehow
We
it
thought,
all
hey, these
stayed
guys are
even,
good, they're gonna make playoffs,
they
they're
would
gonna
go
be
through
able
to
make some
playoffs.
waves, but
or
just weren't
champs,
quite able to do
not
that
Shanghai.
until this very moment.
Yeah, I
so.
lost a lot of Preds.
Yeah,
on
it's a little bit
RRQ
confusing,
getting
but-
into this stage.
A lot
I'm
of
not
us
gonna
did,
lie. Yeah.
That is what
Well,
it
it's
is,
okay.
man.
I lost a lot of Preds on T1 as well. So
Yeah, I did too, actually.
we're in the
Wikipedia
same
has an
boat, but
overall
I feel
thing?
Like, you know,
Oh, really?
RRQ is just
That would
one
help
of
a
those
lot.
teams where we put Gen.G pretty up there in terms of, like, you know, the entire Pacific. But RRQ is just one of these teams that can expose so many weaknesses of Gen.G. And suddenly, when you look at a match like this, a lot of teams might be looking at this and seeing so many, you know, chinks in the armor, so to say.
No doubt. I mean, you can see that Gen.G was often, especially on split on their attacker side, like looking
Stage
for the
2.
RQ players. They didn't know where they were. They didn't have the ability to get that information. Again, you don't have a lot with this comp that Gen.G runs, so it has to be explosive. You have to rely on those contact plays from your duelists to break space open for you. Unless Locke
How many
was doing
teams
great
to
things
champs?
as that
4
Sky,
from each
and
region.
He had some great rounds, right? Like the casters
So
were
16
highlighting
altogether.
The round with the Trailblazer and the Guiding Light and the Seekers. Like that was a beautiful execute on the B. But outside of that, if Lakia dies or if the utility isn't able to find some of that info, it all just kind of comes crumbling down or comes down to them making insane
Yeah,
plays.
this.
That's not consistent Valorant.
I wonder if they're gonna, you know, change this up, especially
This is
since,
the
like,
this
as
is
you
the
mentioned, there was
overall
lack of
standings right
information.
now in
And then
terms
talk about
of
Lakia on the Sky, right? You look at
Stage
Elmimore,
1 and Stage
how
2
much
together.
value
So when
he
Stage
puts
2
them.
happens,
Like, I
this
do
will
remember
look
that
the
one
same.
point where he had, like, one
Just some of these
Guiding
teams will
Light
have
and
some
like
extra
4
champ
Flight
points.
Force.
That's it.
That was, he was able to get a 4K right off the bat on B main.
Yeah, and in terms of just talking about the two teams, I think it's really important in Valorant, especially to identify, okay, there's always two teams,
This is
there's
for
always two
points?
sides to each map, right?
for God's sake, bro.
You look at map 1, Gen.G absolutely dominated them, and it's like...
Now I'm just
everybody
confusing everyone
focuses
out
on
even
how
more.
well Gen.G did, how amazing they were.
Okay,
the crazy
ignore what
plays
I just
they
showed
had,
you.
But also, like, RQ weren't on their game, right? And I think as the day went along, RQ just got better and better, and Gen.G, unfortunately,
Here we
got
go.
worse and worse, and RQ ended up just being the better team, so...
Points.
It's good not to get ahead of
Wait.
ourselves. Like Gen.G had an awesome map.
Okay,
one,
yeah.
But
First of all, I quickly show this. There's so much. There's so much stuff, man. Okay, you guys are taking in all the stats here. Okay, here's some more stats. This makes way more sense.
And now they come out once again and they take a second.
This is actually the stage 2 standings at the moment. So stage 2, stage 2. These are the stage 2 standings. When we go into stage 2, it will look exactly the same as this, apart from these points will be different. Right, so I'm gonna just ignore these for the moment. This is what it will look like, and it will be top 6. People cool? People understand where we're going? Hopefully. Dude, why is it so complicated? Why is it literally the most complicated thing ever?
I hope so. I mean, I really
yeah, we can pretty much forget the groups. All the groups mean is that that's who people will be playing later.
Then they stumbled, so now it's like, okay.
You got more confused?
Kind of,
just ignore what I said then, bro.
Like, end of the run, but I think stage 2, I think they should be back. They should be better. It seems like they're getting more in tune with Jemkin. It seems like
I think that's the easier way, man.
Just talk about the other 2 maps and Elmibor's scoreline on those, but on this last map, very, very good, and that's important because.
Did Gen.G get points for being finalists in Madrid? Nah, you get nothing, dudes. You got 3 points for winning your region, and 3 points for winning Madrid itself. So only Sentinels got points for winning Madrid. But you could argue that the game we just saw there, and people were saying that this game doesn't mean anything, you could argue that that game actually meant way more than any match we'll see at Masters apart from the final. You could argue that. And I think I would probably back it.
Perhaps they need to lick their wounds just a little bit.
But let's not think about that, and let's focus on Masters because it'll be sick.
Top seed coming out of the Alpha group, right? They are still going to come back with a vengeance, especially.
Yeah, and this is what playoffs look like.
They could be very, very spicy. I'm looking at that potential match 4 as well, which we've seen those in the past, and they can be very.
Not even an argument. Is this true? Yeah, I know, but people like to think that Masters still means a lot.
I remember at the top of the show, you and I, Mika, we put Gen.G ahead of PRX and even some other teams ahead of PRX. After today, I'm not sure how to feel about that. I don't know. Maybe PaperX are just the better team. Maybe
PaperX, DRX.
I don't really know how to feel.
But, chat, remember this is singular limb. Singular limb. One of these teams is done.
Team Secret's chance now to, take an upset win over
and then we get into double bracket.
To sneak in. Maybe you were right, actually.
Hey, Team Secret also does have a chip on their shoulder when it comes to Gen.G, so that might.
When is this? Here you go.
What about you, Paperson?
You guys are asking the right questions. Here come the answers.
I mean, I'll look at the other side of the bracket.
Same schedule: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wait. Not the same schedule. Day earlier than it's normally been. I think. Unless it is Friday for them.
So stacked. Those 3 teams are really good right now, so that could go a lot of different ways. I do favor DRX a little bit against Talon, but maybe not so much against PaperX. Depending.
One day earlier, okay,
based on last year's results, but you never know. I mean, that's a
There's so much going on, man. We got formats, we got time zones.
If you can kind of bounce back and
we're running off 4 hours sleep because the Americas games lasted so long. EG, an absolute banging game. Okay, chat, with that being said, I'm gonna go get some sleep. I'm gonna get some sleep. This is the time. We have Americas that is in 7.5 hours, basically. Who do you want me to rate?
That we sometimes see. Talon, how much have they prepped for this? All of those answers are gonna come into
Give me a raider. Give me a raider.
Final thoughts.
Lofa? Oh my god, yeah. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna watch Lofa for a bit.
On any given day, I think this is just.
Let's hope he chat. We need to somehow tilt him a little bit. When this guy tilts, it's the best viewing ever. Lofa HS, right?
Big playoffs is a Talon. All these teams that we expect to go in the top.
Oh yeah, man. Let's hope he's losing in his rank game. Let's hope he's having a rough day. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Yeah, I'll see you a little bit later. See you a little bit later. Let's eat some food. Let's watch him. All right. Peace. Thank you for watching again.
Hello, everyone. Gen.G here down on stage and joining me for the Post-Ascent
YouTube chat.
interview
Thank
will
you so
be
much, everyone.
RQ.
Take it easy. I'll see you in a
Massive
little bit.
Congrats, Jemkin. Took you guys a few tries.